Welcome back to A Corporate Time.
Bone hat.
Chris Gwaltney's here. How you doing, Chris?
I'm good, man. How you guys doing?
Good. Of course, thehumidor.com. Use promo code Tom and Dan when you make your purchases. If you're buying some cigars.
I am buying a cigar, but I'm not buying one from thehumidor.com. I'm going to waste my money, and I'm going to bid on that smoked Michael Jordan cigar that goes up on eBay in a couple days or something.
What?
Oh, he's shaking his head. I knew you'd see that story. Have you seen the story about the smoked Michael Jordan?
Man, come on, man. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Have you seen it, Tom?
No. What?
It's in a little thing, and it's the cigar. It's the one from the infamous photo, is it not, Chris?
Yeah, it's supposed.
Well,
like I said, man, buyer beware. There was some Winston Churchill cigars that he had, partially smoked that went on. I don't know, man. It doesn't make any sense. But I guess somebody will buy it. I mean, somebody bought Ty Cobb's dentures when they went on.
So
they got auctioned off. And
when Chris is coming on, I always go to
that guy put those things in and tried them out.
Yeah. Of course.
Gross.
I mean, I would. It would be impossible for me to buy this cigar and not at least want to hold it and put it in my mouth one time.
Take a picture. Yeah, you emulate the famous
pose.
Jordan cigar photo. How can they prove that was a cigar? Did the equipment manager get it somehow, and then Jordan just discarded it, right? Or did he give it to
Sam,
someone
you
to
might
sell?
have to pull up the story. I was looking at it this morning.
Because he had to have been aware that at the height of Jordan's popularity, he was the most famous athlete in the world. And he had to have been aware that every single sweatband, socks, shoes, anything, underwear, anything that he's worn during a championship game
Hanes.
is worth
Only
money.
Hanes.
And so, he must have been aware that the cigar he's smoking, or do you not even think about that? You're a normal human just
also,
smoking
we
a cigar.
didn't have all the outlets that we have now for getting rid of these type of things, right?
I'm sure if he were around today in the world of NFTs and cryptocurrency, I'm sure he would have thought about it. But I don't really think at that particular time when you're smoking a cigar, whether it's a celebratory cigar in the locker room, I don't think. Think about it today. I don't. Do you really think the guys that were celebrating the Super Bowl, the previous Super Bowl, were thinking about that cigar? What?
Yeah, they're not.
What am I going to do with it? Maybe there's some guys that do, but I'm sure there's ways to authenticate anything, right? I mean, they have people. Sports memorabilia is a big business. Collectibles are a big business, and it seems like today, all of these things, collectible items are catching huge prices, right? Whether you look at cars that were owned by, but it always has to be tied to a celebrity, right?
Right.
Or tied to a celebrity that is associated with that particular item. Now, a cigar smoked by George Clooney probably wouldn't be as valuable as a cigar smoked by Michael Jordan, because Michael Jordan cigars are synonymous. The same thing with cars. A car owned by, Brad Pitt's not going to be as valuable as a car that's owned by someone like Paul Newman, who actually is associated with cars.
Right. You want
or Steve McQueen or someone like that. They have to be part of that culture. But I'm sure there's a way to authenticate it. I'm sure there's a way to come up with. I would be like, man, save your money, get a jersey.
I've never thought of it like that before. You're right.
The cigar, though, is cooler than jersey. If someone had in a glass case.
Oh, they do. They have
Michael Jackson's.
Yeah, but
Michael Jordan.
I mean, the only proof is that this guy says he has a picture of him smoking it, so that's the proof. And it's well, that could have been any cigar.
Right. Yeah, how'd you get it?
He said that he saw him last fall out somewhere, and he put it out in an ashtray, and he went and followed and retrieved it from the ashtray. It's just a fan that picked it up out of an ashtray.
He's emulating.
But that's a random cigar.
Yeah, but he's emulating.
He's claiming that it is the cigar that he smoked, but there's no way to prove it unless he had him on video and he grabbing the cigar after he just put it out.
This is my cigar.
But a rich guy's to have that cigar in a glass case just for the rich friends and be like, I bought Michael Jordan's
just the story.
championship cigar. Yeah. You'd pay. I don't know what he's gonna get for it. What
we'll see.
$5 to $10, maybe $5,000. I don't know.
Yeah.
If that's throwaway money for you anyway, then it's a good story for your rich friends.
For sure.
But my point is, if you're really a rich guy, there's going to be a picture of you playing golf, standing on the golf course with Michael Jordan, you guys both are smoking a cigar, right? So
Yeah.
I think it's going to be for someone who thinks they're rich or is trying to achieve a certain higher level than what they really are.
Sure.
That's the person who's going to buy that. A real, if you're a wealthy enough person, if you're in that category, then you're going to have you're not really concerned about that because, hey, I played golf with Jordan last week, so here's a picture of me and
Chris,
Michael smoking cigars. Right.
Speaking of golf, I'm glad you brought this up because golf seems like a big cigar sport. Like, because you could smoke cigars and play around a golf, and then, I've seen Jimmy do it. It's like, it's a sport you could do while smoking a cigar. You just put your cigar in the ashtray while you're you're swinging. Anyway, there are certain golf courses and certain country clubs that are so for the ultra rich that we don't even know about them, and they're basically there's one in Vegas that basically only you have to be a multi-millionaire or a celebrity
so
to be
many
involved
hoops to get through.
Yeah. And then there's waiting lists and stuff, and if you're a part of this country club, it's considered like speaking of Michael Jordan's a part of it, and all these other
it's like secret almost.
And I feel like all those guys, to get your cigar brand in with them and even have these celebrities, these ultra rich people smoking your cigars, like gigantic marketing, do some of these cigar companies seek?
Oh, you mean like prime the pump?
Or try to get their cigars into these facilities so that the ultra rich and wealthy can smoke them?
Oh, for sure. I mean, you think about it. They do they do everything they can to make sure that their cigars are being enjoyed by celebrities, right? Because that's marketing 101. So whether it's getting into the clubs or trying to get a brand, whether you develop a brand with a celebrity, or do you involve them in that brand or just do whatever you can. I mean, it can make or break you, man. I mean, if a really popular cigar person, a celebrity who's associated with cigars, somebody asks about their favorite cigar and they happen to mention your brand, your cigar. I mean, that's a huge game changer. It's just like it's like we live in a social media world. It's like, think about it. Someone that has 5 million followers takes one of your tweets and retweets and said, hey, here, give this guy a follow. That just made your world right there. I mean, because
it never helps us out.
It's the same thing with
we had an altercation. Well, not an altercation. We had a time when we had Sean Waynes in here or something, one of the Waynes brothers, and he's like, hey, I'm gonna go live on I don't know what he was going
Facebook
Facebook Live or something like that. He's like, you want me to give you guys a shout out? And we're like, it's fine, don't do it. What do we do? I forget what we did.
Well, yeah, that's because we're idiots. But
we're just really dumb.
But I see what you're saying. If you have access to that much audience, then you need to. It would be a financial windfall for you to get your product or whatever you're promoting in front of it. Chris, do you play golf?
Do I play golf? Yes. I attempt to play golf. I go out on a golf course for 4 hours, smoke a few cigars, and drown a few balls. Pretty much what I do.
I think you and I, in order to, and we're gonna need some tips from Chris, but you and I we've reached a time in our life, namely more me than you, where we're old and powerful and we need to start playing golf.
But I'm horrible. We're too old to learn.
You can kind of tag along and wear your hat sideways,
and use
your vape. You can use your vape pen on the course.
More of a mini golf gal.
I've gotten worse at golf.
We'll get better. We'll start playing.
The longer I play golf, the worse I get at it, and the more stiff I get,
and
the worse my swing gets.
We meet early at the club for a couple of pre-drinks. Then we go out to the starter. We start. We have a foursome of guys we play with, namely we'll play with Mo, Gwaltney. Who else can be in our power team? Only the important people. Brian Zimel can play.
Yeah. He's invited me to. Apparently, he does like a golf outing with his friends.
Yeah, with the boys.
And then does he
Yeah.
invited me, and I
Look
was
at some
too
bikini
embarrassed.
photos, like hey.
He invited some of his partners and friends and like people higher up in the mortgage and real estate world. And I was embarrassed to go because I'm so horrible at golf. The only golf I play is charity events. The Co-E golf tournament is coming up here I guess
you better dust off your clubs.
Yeah.
But it's like they all know me and know how horrible I am, so I'm not embarrassed. But if I go out with people that know how to play, I'm hitting the floor. I can't even.
Well, we're gonna get practicing.
It's too complicated, too hard. It takes an insane amount of practice to even be
Now
able
I
to.
see where your boys get it.
Yeah, you're just like you're talking about everything we want to do.
Yeah.
I'm like, we need to better
Too
this
hard,
company.
too much
Like,
work.
nah.
Who's got time to go? Like you're gonna
If
go.
you weren't raking leaves for 6 hours.
Yeah, why are you raking
You're gonna
leaves?
go
How's that
every-
helping your life?
Once a week you're gonna practice golf, and then 2 years you'll be good.
Yeah, in
who's
2
got the
years,
time?
and that's when our business will strike like a snake.
A lot of good businessmen play golf, and a lot of deals are done on the golf course.
That's
Yeah,
true.
you need to get into it.
And I don't see how, because every time I go and play golf, I am shit faced. Sorry, I had to say it because I had to make Chris laugh.
For some reason, when you said that, I grabbed my genitals.
And no deals are getting done. In fact, everybody around me is like, "Oh man,
Shouldn't do business with this guy. Yeah.
this guy can't
This
hold
guy's
his
a
liquor."
lunatic.
And he is horrible at golf and S-faced. And
Who brought their drunk nephew?
and look how sunburned he got. He didn't even remember to put sunscreen
no
on.
sunscreen.
Yeah, and he's
And
got
you weren't dressed for golf yet on sandals. You're taking your shoes off when you hit like little Abner.
And I got a big billowy cotton shirt that I'm sweating through because
yeah,
it's
why
hot.
are you wearing that? Why are
Hot.
you wearing a 3XL Under Armour lime green Monster Energy commemorative golf shirt?
Anyway, so Chris, let's talk Tom Brady for a second.
All right.
Do you think? Okay, there's been a bunch of rumors and people are speculating that he's coming back.
Yeah, where's Gronk going too? He's playing.
And,
Gronk's playing.
And then, from what it looks like, and because also Tom Brady's like producing a movie of some sort, whatever, and the fact that he's doing that, and the fact that we haven't heard anything yet, kind of tells me that he ain't coming back, because I feel like if he was, he's definitely not coming back with the Bucks. And then the rumors being he was going to come back with the 49ers and finish off because
California boy.
Because he said he was going to play till he's 45, and they're like, oh, he said it. He said he was going to play till 45. He's going to go and retire, or at least his last season with the 49ers, his hometown. Like, they're setting up this dream scenario. And then I'm like, if a guy is going to do that, I don't think he's getting into producing movies. I think he immediately, especially at this age, at 44, you immediately have to get practicing with your new team and get familiar with your teammates and do it, because you don't have that much time. The season's starting in September.
Yeah.
There's not that much time to start a new team.
Yeah, what do you think, Chris?
I don't think it's happening. I think it's done.
I put Brady in the same bucket with Aaron Rodgers. I think both of them, if they want a shot at a Super Bowl, I think they're on the team to get it. They have to afford them their best chance, right? I think Brady changing and going over to San Francisco, he's got all the weapons he needs in Tampa. I don't think it's going to happen just because they still own the rights to him. And I think Bruce Arians said if anybody wants Tom Brady, it's going to cost him like 4 or 5 first-round picks or something.
Well,
I just don't see it. I don't see it happening. And the same thing with Rodgers. I just don't see Rodgers going. Rodgers would be a fool. He goes over to the AFC. You start looking at the divisions and the level of competition. I just think he's in a really good spot where he's at right now.
They just offered him a deal,
division.
right?
I mean, you look at the quarterback play where he's at now, and Kirk Cousins is the second best thing going over there, right? And so the competition, I just think he's in a really good spot in Green Bay, a really good chance to get that top seed and be able to host the play. And they've done that the last 2 years, and they just dropped the ball. They dropped the ball against the Bucks year before last, and then this past season dropped the ball against the Rams. So I think not the Rams, but who knocked them out of the first round. They went out.
I've blocked it all out of my mind.
The 49ers got
yes.
them out.
Yeah.
So I just don't see Brady's going to play anywhere. It just doesn't make any sense. And if Aaron Rodgers is smart, he would stay in Green Bay. I didn't
didn't
don't
see.
see
I didn't read it
either
fully.
one of those guys. having a better opportunity anywhere else. Yeah, I mean, you look at teams that are ready to go, but I mean, literally the Bucks were just a play away from going to the Super Bowl again, you know? So, I think San Francisco, and I also think Cincinnati got very fortunate. There's always those teams each year that kind of get in a really good spot and some things happen out in front of them and they take advantage of every opportunity. And I just think San Francisco's a little fool's gold. I do love the quarterback in Cincinnati, but I think they're going to find it much harder to get back to the Super Bowl. I think they missed a really good opportunity to win one, and it's just not easy to get back. But I think Brady's best shot is staying where he's at. I just don't think it's going to do it.
I didn't read it come
he
through,
ain't going back to the Bucks. That's for sure. I mean, he's done with that. So it's either he plays for a different team or never again, which it's seemingly going towards never again.
Didn't Aaron Rodgers get a deal offer today?
Did news happen today with the Broncos?
I don't think he's no. I mean, Green Bay gave him his offer.
Oh.
I think that just came through. I think I didn't look at it, but I didn't have time. I was on my scooter, and it's probably not good to look at that while you're.
The Packers completely control that. The Packers completely control it because he's under contract. It'd have to be a trade, for them to get compensation. They're not going to cut him because they wouldn't get anything for it. I mean, he's under contract. He's not a free agent. He's got a deal in place, and. They're not going and the Broncos. Everybody speculates it's the Broncos because there's no way the Packers are going to keep him inside the NFC. They'll trade him, to the other conference, so you only have to face him possibly once a year or in the Super Bowl when it means something.
Right.
So, yeah, and the Denver makes sense because everybody says they got a lot of things in place other than the quarterback, but I don't know, man. I mean that. From an Aaron Rodgers standpoint, not from a Green Bay standpoint, from an Aaron Rodgers standpoint, I just think you've got your best shot, man, staying home. I mean, you're getting over in the AFC. You go to Denver, look at the quarterbacks you're going to be facing, right? So, I mean, that's a pretty good division. You're going to be dealing with the kid that, for the Chargers,
Herbert.
You've got Justin Herbert, who everybody's in love with. I mean, you've got Kansas City to deal with. We all know what Patrick Mahomes, what kind of player he is. I mean, you're really, and compare that to the division you're in, with who knows what's going on. You got Chicago with Justin Fields, who's going to get a second shot at it. This, had a tough go, but
they've already proven that he can go in there, not be loved, and still win buttloads of games, and it doesn't matter, right? He can look at it like a job. And go in there and play, and it doesn't matter what you feel about him, how outspoken he is, his politics, any of that, and he can still win games. He had that one rough game, remember? And everybody's like, ooh, and then and then he puts it all together, and he was awesome. And it's everybody's like, all right.
Well, what's funny is that everybody is Aaron Rodgers he failed again. And it's like, well, getting to the Super Bowl is hard. He gave him the best chance.
They said that. I haven't heard. People are saying that
in the sports world, the general.
Oh, it's all or nothing. All or nothing.
Yeah, it's
get out of here.
Super Bowl or failure, and I'm like. Well,
he could have gotten the MVP award, could he not? He was there at some point. We were looking at him and we were sad because we're like, "Oh, this guy's a D and he's killing it."
Yeah, no, he did get the MVP this
year.
Yeah,
he did.
And so it's like, they got they're a pretty good team, and he got.
How can they say he failed if he gets MVP award? And they're like, you can't say he failed.
I mean, there's a lot of teams that don't make the playoffs, and their dream is to make the playoffs, just to get into the playoffs.
Your team, my team.
I mean, you could basically write Aaron Rodgers into the playoffs every single year on Green Bay, as long as he stays there and as long as they support him. Which it seems like he just needed to throw a big fit so that they would sign him to a long-term contract and keep him in Green Bay and give him what he wants, because they were gonna turn him around.
His hair, it's so long, it just screams fit. Real big fit. He's got real big fit hair.
So, Chris, what's going on at the Humidor that we need to know about?
Not much, man. Same old stuff, man. Lots of great deals. We're getting into summertime when, obviously in Florida, we're kind of a year-round enjoy cigars outside environment, but the rest of the country is starting to thaw out and be able to spend a little bit more time enjoying cigars. So it's always a good time for us during the summer. So we'll have a lot of good deals. Go check out the YouTube channel too. We have a good time doing all the YouTube videos, try to make them fun and educational, but not, short and sweet, and maybe a little bit of humor here or there, but answer all the questions. And we really do, it really gives us a lot of really good ideas. I mean, the comments, most of the ideas we come up with now are from the comment section, because I've done about every freaking cigar video you can think of. I mean, I can't think of anything else to do about us. I mean, we've covered about everything possible with cigar education, as far as the questions people just come up with crazy questions, man. And they're like, I never thought of that. So we'll do a video on it. So
if you're ever looking or light on material, I would pay to just see you grab that
Mega
oversized
cigar.
mega cigar behind you and just start hitting your staff with it. Just
destroying your
El
office.
Kabong them with a ginormous mega cigar.
Yeah.
The
Diamond Crown Maximus. Yeah. That would be a good one.
Slapstick always wins.
What is that for? Is that like just a promotional?
Yeah. It's just a display piece. That's all it is. Just a giant cigar. It's pretty big.
Oh, I have so many bad jokes I want to make right
Oh
now.
man.
Wowie, that's a big cigar. My
Give it a
God.
smoke.
Give me that, and I'll dress as miniature Bill Clinton and run through the streets of Orlando.
Well, Chris Gwaltney is
20 years too late, 25 years too late, 30 years too late.
Yeah.
thehumidor.com. Use promo code Tom and Dan. Thanks for taking the time with us today, and we'll talk to you next month. All right, Chris?
All right, man. Thanks. Y'all have a good
All
one.
right, buddy.
See you, dude.
Be good, man. Good talking to you. That is Chris Gwaltney and his big cigar, live from thehumidor.com.
Remember when it was, I don't know if this is still a thing, but in the late 90s it was, to roll like novelty mega joints?
Yeah, that's still a thing.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
But it's even more so now. Like now you can buy like plans on how to, like they have like websites. They'll teach you how to do it. Like you can take a class on how to, there's cross joints that people
Yeah.
like. It's a whole culture.
From Pineapple Express. or
Yeah, and
whatever.
then there's like contests, like same as like the Nathan's hot dog eating contest, except this one is like how you can roll the fastest novelty joint.
Okay.
And they're just, anything you
All
can
right.
think of, they got it.
Seems like when you're smoking a joint that is like 2 feet long.
It's too hard to smoke.
Yeah, then like
You're like
it's
holding
8
it like
inches
you're
girth.
holding a novelty submarine sandwich.
Yeah.
And you're, like,
Yeah.
Yeah, I have
It's
no interest in
gross.
that. I have
It's
no
you're
interest
like,
in
how
this.
much weed is in here?
yeah, how do you even dispose of that?
All right. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back with more Corporate Time. Welcome back to A Corporate Time. So my wife tells me the other day, she's like, have you heard about this coyote problem in Castleberry?
Yeah, the Castleberry Coyote.
And
I'm not
like,
joking.
what are you
No,
ta-
people have told me about, like it's a thing.
And apparently,
Coyotes are taking over like all of Central Florida. Apparently,
Yeah.
Like, every neighborhood has
Seminole
some.
County, this is not the first time that I've heard in Seminole County, you guys are very pro coyote.
so my thing is, where are they living?
The
in
woods.
the woods, in the Castleberry forest,
Yep.
as you call it.
No, but I have this tiny. I mean, there are some like.
Oh, now it's
wetlands.
tiny. When you want to brag about Castleberry, it's an endless forest. When you hate Castleberry, it's a tiny patch of woods.
Well, it is. It's tiny in my mind to how much space you would need a family of coyotes to live in.
Coyotes are efficient, bro. You have no idea how efficient coyotes are.
Do they just hang out in small wooded areas? Because there's not a vast, I can understand, of course, the people that live out in the outskirts and have bears in the trash and stuff, there's 500
We look
acres
down on the
near
bear
them or
trash
whatever.
people, right?
There,
Yeah.
well, there's enough woods to support bears and wildlife. There's
There's a whole Facebook group called Coyote Sightings in Castleberry and surrounding areas.
Oh,
That
put
a-
me in that. Let me join that.
crystals,
I bet
apparently
that's a fun group to be in.
she's on the next door app.
Oh, I thought
and
you were
then-
going to say she's on the coyote board. And I'm like, your wife's on the coyote board.
And apparently there's a bunch of Ring doorbell videos of coyotes.
They can ring your doorbells? Oh my God. That's like that woodpecker last night on America's Funniest Home Videos. He was pecking knocking the Ring doorbell.
So they're just living in these small wooded areas, and then just,
You don't think it's
scavenging
possible-
for trash?
You don't think it's possible for them to, if they're nocturnal and they're
They'll
roaming
kill
it?
cats and small dogs too.
Yeah, like
Yeah, like people are like warning their neighbors about the cats because I
Yeah.
guess they
don't let your parakeets out. We got coyotes.
they'll
They'll
eat
get
cats.
them good.
Yeah, like
So they just come. Do they wander
Squirrels.
out into the
at
neighborhoods
night,
and,
just
and
like
eat
your
the cats?
raccoons.
Yeah.
How
And
are
then
they
just
with
go-
the raccoons? Are they friendly? I think they work in conjunction.
They should eat the raccoons too, right? There's just
Too
they're
many
garbage
raccoons.
cats.
Raccoons are too.
Smart.
They are very fierce fighters.
Yeah.
No, but a coyote.
I
can
think so, but
kill a raccoon.
Yeah, but they travel in packs, man.
yeah, they got to roll in packs.
Are
Dogs
they-
roll in packs.
Are they pack hunters like wolves?
Yeah.
Coyotes?
No, I don't think coyotes are. I was talking about the raccoons.
No, coyotes are pack animals, I believe. I think
I thought it was
coyotes.
lone coyote.
Yeah. I don't-
No, a lone wolf.
Yeah, you're right. Lone
Not a lone coyote. Coyotes.
He died.
Yeah.
It says although coyotes live in family groups, they usually travel and hunt alone.
Oh wow, I didn't know that. All right, so it's lone coyote,
so,
lonely coyote.
is there anything about how much wooded area they need to live? 'Cause
How much wood could a coyote?
I guess they'll just deal with what they have left, right? Because
Is that like,
all the
yeah,
new
they'll
developments
adapt.
around.
They'll
yeah.
adapt. I think they
Have
hide.
no choice.
They're nocturnal. You get down in one of those retention tunnels and you hide in there until nighttime. Then you go out and you eat everybody's DoorDash. That's what I do.
Oh, man.
I'm dead serious. Like if I'm a coyote,
Yeah.
it doesn't take much for me. You want the wilderness? F the wilderness. I'm a modern day. I'm a digital coyote, right? Digital coyotes, they stay down in the woods. They wait till you go to bed and they sneak out. And this dude, he's over there ordering bubaloos. He's got all the sauces. I'm just eating all of your DoorDash, dude.
Well, did I ever? I don't think I even told the story, but
There's so much you don't tell.
the last time we were in Miami,
Oh, if you're not a BDM, sign up for my world famous hemorrhoid story.
the last time we were in Miami, we stay at Turkey Leg's house a lot, and
Poor turkey leg. He doesn't ask for that.
and the same thing happens every
As
time.
a grown adult with your entire family, you stay at his house?
Yes,
Oh,
because he's
Just
got.
rent a
And
hotel.
then the Miami people, they are cut from a different cloth. They almost insist that they stay at each other's houses. These people don't know what hotels are. They're always lingering and staying at each
God.
other's houses
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Transient homeless people.
We stay at each other's houses, but
They do.
we like it because we also like to get drunk at each other's houses throughout the night, and then we know we're driving.
And it's weird, but I thought it was weird. I kind of do it myself now. He's kind of taught me his ways.
What, do you sleep on the couch?
You do.
No,
and
no,
you
no,
can,
he-
and then you're cooking
he's
in
got a
their
guest
You're
bedroom.
cooking in their kitchen, your food, but they're cooking their meal. It's
I can't do that. I can't live that way.
it's acquired.
So what happens every time we go down there is we go down there and then we usually we leave on Friday. So by the time we get down there, it's like 9 o'clock or something. And,
All right, time to go to bed. We're here.
And we we get there and
Do
we're
you all have to sleep in the one full size bed in the spare room?
They sleep in the car because
No,
they don't want to
well,
ring the doorbell until the next morning.
but when we get there, we're excited to hang out with friends, and then we start drinking.
Let's get drunk.
And the kids are playing whatever, and then next thing you know, we're hammered, and we want to order some Uber Eats or
Yes,
something.
you do.
And then so last time, Crystal's like, "I'll do it," and she was drinking wine, drunk, and then
Chicken kitchen.
and then she orders pizza, right? She's
Yes.
like, "Ordered," right? Then all of a sudden, we get a Ring doorbell. On,
Oh, it's a
like,
coyote. Where's the pizza?
on Crystal's phone, and she picks it up, and it's the Ring doorbell from our house in Maitland.
No.
Yeah, she didn't
and
change
it's
it.
the pizza.
Oh, no. It's the old 5 hours to Orlando.
Because
Always double check the address.
you got to change your address when because it just knows your home address.
Do you know, fun fact, I have never ordered True Leave to the correct address, ever.
Oh, I stopped doing the order because
They never deliver to me.
No, I order online.
it's more of a pain in the ass.
Every order I've ever done with True Leave, I order it online. I go to the location. They're like, "Sir, you ordered at the wrong location." I'm like, I'll just walk in and see what you got.
when you pre-order.
Yeah.
Oh,
I've
pickup location.
never ordered for the correct location. Always my fault.
How does that happen?
I'm stupid.
So she's like, "Oh no, they delivered the pizza." And, they
God
just
damn
put
it.
it there
Go
on the
get it.
on the floor and
Yeah.
then in front of the door, right? So we're like,
it's gonna
"Oh
sit there
God!"
all weekend.
So
You're
then
feeding the
Well, you
cats
got
in your
family that
neighborhood.
lives down the street, though. You could have just had them go pick it up.
no, but it's like 10
It's
o'clock
easier
at
to
night.
have the cats in his neighborhood eat it off his
Oh,
porch.
my God.
And so So then we order another pizza, whatever it comes, and then all of a sudden we hear the Ring doorbell again, and then she opens it up. It's the raccoons eating the pizza. They literally they scratched open the box, and and then a bunch of them came, and they were just watching on the
Hey,
video.
bro, we got pizza.
It must have been the best day of their lives, right? They get
Somebody
Fresh pizza.
Somebody ordered
two.
Delicious.
Oh,
Oh, they
man.
didn't like the jalapenos
Yeah.
on my they swat their snoots a little bit.
Joke's on you. They're just going to crap up your pool enclosure. There's literally diarrhea off your pool enclosure.
We just sat there for a good 5 minutes watching raccoons eat
That is
the
kind
pizza.
of fun. That is fun to watch, though.
We're like, look, they're eating it. And then we contemplated, but now
Did they tear the box into 1,000 tiny pieces of box and scatter it all over the
no,
neighborhood?
their tiny raccoon hands figured out how to open the box. And
Did they use the
One, they
Papa
didn't-
John's dipping sauce? Or they garlic everywhere?
No, this
Delicious.
was like a mom and pop's one. So
Oh, more expensive.
yeah. Oh, they're eating
$42 in
Great-
Antonellas.
it was expensive. Because you ordered through Uber Eats.
We went
and
mom
they-
and pop last night. Andrea goes, I just spent $52 on pizza. I'm like, we're 3 people, 2.5. How did you do that?
Yeah. You get from mom and pop.
Oh, man. Apparently, mom and pop, they think we don't know what cheese costs. Seriously, they don't think we understand what mozzarella cheese costs.
Yeah, it can't be that much better than the giant koi, right? You're not
It's still
ordering
bread with crap on it.
Right.
Yeah. You're not ordering that good of the ingredients. It may be a little better than the Domino's, but it ain't that much better.
Papa John told me he had better ingredients.
He did,
I know,
but then he yelled the N-word, and I was like, is that an ingredient? I don't know. I do like black people.
What the Papa John?
Oh, he's
Did he
gone.
move on to?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, he's
is he-
redder
what is
than
he doing?
ever.
Remember he said he ate like 40
Yeah.
pizzas in 30 days.
And he thought
or
that by
something.
saying that we'd forget about his racist phone call, and we didn't. We didn't forget about
They
it.
replaced him with Shaq.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no. But I'm just saying, does he?
Boy,
did he
I bet
start
that
a new
stings.
business?
I
or
bet it
something?
stings. I bet it stings to you.
John
You
Schnatter.
look over and you're like,
The people you hate take your job. But he's still rich. Oh, stinking rich.
is he
Oh,
still
I
rich?
wonder if
Oh,
Big
yeah.
Tim got to
He
meet
still
him.
owns
Oh,
it.
was he at the convention here
Yeah,
in
he
town?
was.
Oh, I didn't know that. He's one of those guys?
He was a speaker.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. That's interesting.
Yeah. I mean, he had to pivot somehow.
Yeah, you got to do something.
But he's going to start some other business, right? That's what these guys do. Or is it one and done? Like he got in.
No, I think he's got to start another
gonna
pizza place.
Hit it up with the My Pillow guy, and they're gonna come up with something.
What's his
Yeah.
last name? John what?
Schnatter?
So you should call Papa Schnatter's Pizza.
No man.
Start it again.
Not as
And
good. I wrote the N-word on the box.
Please buy it. Please buy my Schnatter's
some
Pizza.
people will buy that. That's good, but not a lot of people
Not a
are
lot. They'll
put
buy
off.
it, they'll buy it as a novelty. But it's got great ingredients.
Yeah,
I promise.
Yeah, the
Even better ingredients for an even better pizza. That's the Schnatter's promise. Get out of here, you racist fool.
let's do some voicemails.
All right, let's get some feedback on Weird Hobby Wednesday, shall we?
Tom, Dan, Sam, how's it going, guys? Listen, real quick, Izzy here.
Hey.
2 things. For Weird Hobby Wednesday, whatever, I already listened to the second one. And how about we find out what the people's professions are to see what kind of hobby it is, Because that weightlifting guy, what if he was a gym trainer? Well, that's not much of a hobby, isn't it? And also,
Izzy's so cute. Like, he is like the biggest, cutest person we know, right? I want to do a new contest. Biggest, cutest.
Okay.
I think he's biggest, cutest because just the way he delivers things is always with a little bit of whimsy. It's like kind of fun. I'm always excited to hear him. But
Yeah.
he's right. He brings up an excellent point. It's not a hobby if the guy, like, for instance, if your hobby, if we called you up one day, hey, we got Tom Van at his hobby, and what do you do, Tom? And you're like, well, I dabble in doing podcasts. I'd be like, nah, dog, that's not a hobby.
No, we did ask him though. We asked him if he ever got paid, and he said he won like one contest, but that's not what he did for a living.
Izzy continues.
Diana mentioned the sun visors for cars. Let's do some sun visors. Promoting Tom and Dan, you can do that QR code that's really popular now. Some badass design, whatever.
Badass design.
Promote Tom and Dan, Florida, sun, hello, a lot of cars.
He's right.
You can go to China and get them cheap, whatever.
I can't do
What's up, man? Think about it. Mad promotion.
Mad promotion. You got mad promotions, Izzy. I love you.
Well, the problem is sizing. It's not sun visors on cars are not a one size fits all type of deal.
Well,
so
if you
we'd
get them
have
big
to-
enough, you got to get them like prison sandals where you got to cut them to fit, cut to fit.
So Eric Birchman would have to the store everywhere. Like this is a 2000.
What do you got? I got a 06 Corolla. Is that a SE? Is that which? What's the package? SE or Lux? It's a Lux. Sorry. You got the one with a garage door opener on your visor. It ain't gonna fit. How about the retrofit? You got to give me a Dremel in 3 hours.
How many different car visors are we gonna have to buy so that we have all of every car on stock?
You just reminded me of something. I remember going to the auto parts store with my father. This is a dark day in my father's life. I remember going to the auto parts store with my father to get probably wiper blades or something, and they would have a manual. They would have a giant phone book of all the cars chained to where your wipers were, and you'd open the book and you'd go and you'd go down and you'd find 1986 Buick LeSabre. And then you need an XJ5 wiper blade. And there go, XJ4, XJ5. There we are. There's our wiper blade. That's how you would do it. One day, Dad and I show up, and they had replaced the manual with a tiny red digital computer that you would write and type your make and model into. And my dad couldn't figure it out. Dumb man.
There's Matt. He's
out.
like, what happened to the book?
He's like, where's
The book was
the book was fine.
Yeah, the book is fine. You don't have to change it.
You don't
Just
have to
leave
do
the
anything.
book.
The beauty of the book is the book didn't break. People didn't steal the book. They didn't smash the book. It didn't fall off. The batteries in the book didn't go dead. The book was fine. You could have just brought the new book in for the new model. Nope, they replaced it with a computer.
You know, speaking of books, you know what was a D-head move that was in a lot of movies where you look through the phone book to find like some number you needed,
You ripped
and
the
then
page
you
out. I did that. I did that.
Well, like what happened? What if the guy is looking at the next guy
Yeah,
and
but
the
this
page
is
is
you.
gone?
The likelihood of somebody looking for exactly the same thing is like nothing.
Yeah, but there's like 300 names on front and back of
Yeah.
those pages. So like, I mean, if enough people do it, you're gonna have a missing a lot. You look through it,
Really?
like,
This is where your outrage is? There's all these other
It's
things
such
that you do.
outdated. No one
Yeah.
uses a phone book
He
anymore.
gets
No,
mad
but-
about stuff that doesn't happen anymore.
But at the time, this was
like a lot of white people.
Yeah.
But this is the movies in the 70s and 80s when they were using them all the time. It was
Right.
just they'd rip the
It
page.
You're
was
in
a
a hurry.
D-head move,
You would do
yeah.
it in a hurry.
Yeah, but you're a
You'd be
D-head.
like, you
You're
got
an
one?
narcissist.
I'll be there. Hold on. You get the address.
You couldn't, jot it down on your hand or whatever. You
A lot of the chat
No
room,
pen.
a lot of the chat room is saying that we are wrong, that we should do sunshades, that it could be an easy thing for us to do because
It
you
is
just-
one size fits all.
You just got to get them big enough. If they're big enough, they'll
Yeah,
roll
you can always
out. and-
muffin stuff it into something smaller.
Yeah, my wife uses that. I think they're stupid. I don't use them. I just
have
get
one.
I just get into a boiling car. It's not worth it to me.
I misunderstood. I thought he was talking about the visors that go
well,
on.
certainly not all of our listeners live in Pearson, Florida.
That I thought he was talking about the
Visors you would put on a Ford Bronco 2
Yes.
1989.
Yes.
You're the dumbest man in the world.
Of the plastic visor.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
No.
Because Izzy's
Sunshade that goes
Sunshade.
inside the windshield.
Izzy's Puerto Rican.
You're right. You're right.
Just
On brand. On brand. It's on
I see
brand.
where you did the racist math.
Yeah, I did racist math.
You did racist math, and it works out.
Yeah. The sunshades are for
Yes.
middle-aged white women.
Yeah, I hate them.
Hey!
I mean, I don't, Andrea,
My wife uses them.
I got a novelty one,
it
though.
takes
And I'm mad at
too
it.
long.
Yeah, I have to put down the
It
visor. I'm like,
takes
what
too
are you
long.
doing?
And then it's not that. I go with your math, and you'll be proud of me. I might even get a hug out of this. I can't, for what it does, what is it, 5 degrees cooler? It's not enough. If I got in there and I was like, whoa, this is an ice box. I feel great.
yeah.
It's chilling my muscles. It's
Yeah.
not.
If it
It's
was some portable AC
it's not-
unit you left running and you got into a cool car, I'd be like, wow, this changed my life. And
Yeah.
this is just slightly not
It's
hot.
nothing.
Not as hot as it
in
would
fact,
be.
I can
It
just
helps
put
when
slightly.
you have leather seats to not have
oh,
them burning up
humble brag.
in the goddamn Florida sun.
I just put all my windows down, and then I just let it just put two sit through, and then you're good. You,
No.
you drive
Burn
3
my
feet.
back of my thighs.
No,
Crystal
man.
swears by it.
So does
And it's
Andrea.
like, this old meemaw, this is embarrassing.
I get in Andrea's
And
car,
then
I
she-
pull it down, then she's like, roll it up and put the Velcro on it. I just punt it in the back. I'm like, get the F out of
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
I hate it.
I've never used one of those.
I think Andrea's dad got me one for Christmas one year, and I remember that morning I punted it directly into the trash. I'm like, not using this.
I've never used that or an umbrella.
I'll use an umbrella.
I'll run to 7-Eleven every single time.
You know
never.
what I did one time, and now it's made me feel like I want to carry like 10 to 12 different umbrellas in my car. Is I did the move where I pulled up next to a lady who was standing waiting for the bus, and she didn't have an umbrella, and I had an umbrella in arm's length, and I put the window down, and I go, "Here, take the umbrella," and she's like, "But you'll need it back," and I'm like, "I'll never need it back. I'm a hero," and I drove away. Right, I did that thing, and I need to do that more.
Give umbrellas away?
Yeah, the way to do it is you go to churches and you go to like Publix on rainy days, and when you're walking out without an umbrella, just grab somebody's who set their umbrella at the front. You steal it. That way you have an umbrella to give away for the hero part.
I like that. You know, the worst part about rain to me, because I wear sandals all the time.
This is where the show's gone, guys. Welcome back to the worst part about rain with Tom and Dan.
Like when I park and it's pouring, of course I have no umbrella in my truck, but I'll run out and I'll get wet, and my shoulders and head will get wet. But the worst part is my sandals and feet will be soaked because I'll have to run through puddles.
And then they get activated.
And, well, not only that, the smell, but
it activates them.
I hate walking through Publix with wet, squeaky sandals.
Squish, yeah.
Oh, I don't even notice.
Yeah. No, it's just I'm sliding around and it's cold, and then that's the worst part is the wet feet, not my shoulders or
You
head.
gotta wear shoes.
Well, that's a whole different story. I can't.
When do you think you'll wear shoes? Because you know you can't be a
Never.
really old man and wear sandals, right?
I've
thought of this many times, and it makes me laugh. He can't be in his 60s and 70s and wear sandals.
I think
you
he
can't.
can.
No, can't do that. Old men can't do it. When's the last time you saw a really old man wearing sandals?
Usually it's the beach guys.
They don't do it.
Here's what the Middle East has taught me.
That's
There's
another
racist
show.
math again. Hold on.
That's another
Hold
show.
on.
I said, but you can wear sandals till you die. Middle East.
Yeah, but you're not in the Middle East.
I know,
You're
but
gonna
it
be
proves
wearing
to me
those
it's possible. I'm just saying.
No, you're going to be wearing
if
those big black Velcro shoes that old men wear, where they stuff their war feet into those old black shoes.
There's place
Velcro.
in the
Or
world.
is he just going to go to boat shoes?
No.
No?
But I
Because
can't.
your feet are going to get more disgusting, and your wife eventually is going to want you to cover those up, even if you're going to a seafood dinner.
Well, I wear shoes when I go out to dinner, but my day to day, especially when I retire, like it's sandals forever.
No.
Like
You think that, but that
Well,
ain't going to happen.
I will tell you that.
Or no shoes at all?
No, I have to wear because if I wear no shoes for too long, my feet hurt like crazy. And that's
Really?
oh yeah, like if I'll kick
Well, he's
off.
done too much damage.
Well, from like if I walk around my entire house doing yard work all day or whatever, going in and out or whatever,
Yeah.
and I'm barefoot, my feet hurt so bad.
That's
like,
weird.
I just need.
Isn't
some
that the
sort-
way you're supposed to walk? Like,
Yeah,
isn't walking
but,
barefoot supposed to be better for your feet?
Yeah, but your feet aren't used to it. Yeah, it's better for your feet if you do it every single day for 5 years. Your feet will adapt to it. But my feet have adapted to sandals to the point where if I put on, like, I had to dig again.
You put your digging
Never
in.
not digging.
And then I had to put my digging shoes on. And
How many different pairs of shoes do you have?
It's all
he
mud
doesn't
shoes.
even know.
Inside flip-flops, outside flip-flops, digging shoes.
He's the only guy I know that he's been digging for like 25
His
years.
news
I feel like.
shoes.
New shoes have been retired. We'll never do the news again. We made that. We said that.
Now they're inside edition.
Anyway,
No, we said that after Inside Edition, no more news.
my feet and my toes have spread out. Where now
Yeah,
when
you
I
got monkey toes.
when I put them inside shoes,
like a closed-toe shoe.
it smushes my shoes,
Yeah.
and then
it
I get
fans out like
you
a
gotta
peacock's
get wide
feathers.
width, bro.
Yeah, you gotta
Well,
get wide width.
I get blisters on my
Rockports.
toes if I wear shoes now because my feet or my toes aren't used to.
Yeah, your
being
wife's gonna
smushed
want you
together.
wearing sandals with toe blisters out there. You're at the seafood dinner, you got blistered toes. That's gonna look nice.
Anyway,
I mean, they already don't look great.
yeah.
But you know what? I've never seen Samantha's feet.
I don't have toes.
Yeah, I don't even know if she has toes.
I think she's got some sort of weirdo thing going
I think
on.
so too.
Yeah.
I think they're too
Hide
long.
it.
I think they're long. Or
Purple.
or her toes got like butt cracks or something.
No,
like
you
something, I don't
wore
know.
open-toed
No,
shoes here. Haven't
never
you?
seen
No?
them. Trust
Maybe
me.
not here, but I mean on the cruise and the beach
Yeah,
parties
yeah,
and
yeah.
stuff.
I still have
I've
a
wore
couple
sandals.
photos of your sandals from that. I mean, you wore sandals shoes.
I will tell you that some people have horrible feet.
Yeah, our old boss used to have dragon feet.
Yeah.
They're like
no
amount of
offense, but we
moisture.
did this on the air. But SBK's feet were real bad.
Yeah, well, he made it a point to show that toe off.
Yeah. But all it was the worst thing ever. I mean, it was rad. It was real bad. I was like, oh.
It sounded like you said it was rad.
He did at first. He misspoke.
It
was real bad.
shockingly bad.
Really bad.
I didn't think it would be that bad, but it shocked me.
Took your breath away.
It was like, oh no! They looked
Looked like a medical emergency.
Yes,
Needed
it
to
was a
happen.
medical
or
emergency.
something, or no? Like
It was all infected.
The toe was nail was yellow.
Oh, my
like,
Lord.
thick,
Yeah.
and then there was crust. Anyway,
Oh,
Crust
God.
there.
Okay. Bye. Welcome back to A Corporate Time.
So I gotta go today to the snowboard store.
Wow, they have a
store.
snowboard store in
I
Florida?
mean, it's like I'm
Is
going
it played
to
against sports?
no,
Yeah,
I'm going
he's
to Ski World.
That means he's going to Craigslist.
World.
When you're in Florida, the snowboard store.
and to get boots because I've told you guys that.
And so did Butler when he was here that your snowboard boots were, what did he say, too small?
tight.
too big.
Too big.
Oh, was it too big?
And it was too small. That's why I lost my toenail the last time I went
Ooh.
skiing. Anyway, so I need two different boots because my feet are two different
So you're
sizes.
going to buy two
So-
sets of snowboard?
Well, I already have one, but they're like it fits my right foot, but my left foot is squishes in there. Hence, I lost my toenail, so I need one size up. We tried to order them online, and then I put them on, and they were still too small.
Weird.
So
So you got one Mambo foot, and you got one little flipper, like
It's
almost like a
small.
Finding Nemo.
So I just got to go to the store and then try one on that fits my left foot. And
Well,
then,
they're not going to match, right?
No, they'll be different. Like a
Yeah, it doesn't matter. I mean,
yeah.
I don't care about that. As long as they function correctly, right?
Yeah,
as long
yeah.
as you're snapped into the boots and safe.
Here's the problem. I'm going by myself.
Ah,
and
that
this,
is the
don't do
problem.
that.
yes,
Just
I
stop
know.
right there.
I know.
Yeah.
And this is
You know what?
Do you need me to chaperone you?
No
Maybe.
need. No need.
You
I
got
talked
him?
to
You
him.
got him?
Things are good. Things are popping off at Tuffy's. Butler's going with him. They would make me happy. Those old adventures when you guys would go off on your own, I loved it. I'm like, oh, here
It
they
was
go.
a disaster every time.
There
They run
they
out of
go.
gas.
Even
They
Butler,
miss
I think
exits.
Butler misses it too.
Yeah,
It was
yeah,
fun.
yeah,
It was
yeah.
fun because
We,
he's
we
fun.
can't
He's
go
a
there.
Hitting
fun-
parked cars and parking lots.
Yeah, he's a fun guy. He's that's
drive around. We're
Oh,
both don't know where we're
so
going.
fun.
Where we can't use the GPS. Anyway,
So you're going by yourself. Why? Do you need me to go? I'll go.
This is the problem.
I'll go with you. I got nothing to do.
And
Can you run me by Truly?
yes, I can.
All right.
But this is the problem.
Deal.
And this is why I had the Stooge for so long, and I'll explain.
Her name is Crystal. My God.
It's because when someone asks me, "Is this fine?"
You can't be truthful.
I don't. But it's not even that I can't. I
What
just
do you say to your doctor?
Nothing.
Oh, I say, no, I'm like, it's fine. And they're like, how you
Everything's
feel?
fine.
I'm fine. Say, every day, Michael, our trainer, asks me, like, anything hurting? Nope, fine.
No, but he's supposed, like he asked me, he said, he makes fun of you for that. He's like,
Yep.
well, I'd never really know unless he fell out of the machine. And because he asked me, he's like, what's this morning? I saw
Everything's
him.
fine.
He goes, how are you? I go, my back is jacked. He's like, okay, well, I'll be making some adjustments there. I mean, it's a science.
Yeah, he doesn't want you to get hurt.
No, I'm fine.
Everything is fine.
Yeah, like, I'm fine.
He also
And I don't
says
even
your
know
motto.
what's
He
supposed
also
to be
says,
fine.
I found out all the tea this morning at the gym. I should go to the gym during
In the
week.
mornings?
I also heard that you have a contest with your wife, and like if she gets 15 and you have to get 15, and you're both like dedicated to it, and you would literally like blood tulip your beehole in order to always
Oh.
get 15. You'll never not get it,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
and you'll
No,
kill
I-
yourself.
Yeah.
That's not me, buddy.
I'll be stronger than my wife by
Forever.
tenfold.
Yeah,
I'm not
more
even,
than
not-
tenfold.
Not even a little bit stronger. I'm
Yes.
saying I got to be tenfold stronger.
Stronger than her, yes.
Anyway, so the Stooge, why I had the Stooge for so long.
And that was let me explain to new listeners. Tom had a haircut for the longest time that was shaped like the male organ. It was a poof of
A
hair on
D-head.
top. Yeah, it was a D-head haircut.
Yeah, it was kind of like a bowl.
Mushroom top.
A
Okay.
mushroom, like, but
And
it was
it-
like a Caesar.
It was a Caesar mushroom.
It
because it was
was
straight
a
across.
puffy
It was the
Caesar.
Mo.
The puffy
it was the
Caesar.
Mo from Three Stooges.
Yeah.
It,
Poofier, though.
it was a little. It had
Because he didn't put product in it either.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
like a disheveled bowl cut.
Yeah. And every single time I would sit at the
They're
hairdresser or
they're
whatever.
putting it in the chat room. Pictures of it in the chat.
Oh
room.
yeah, you'll see. It was horrible.
Oh, man.
And and then the lady would cut my hair, and then it'd turn into that, and she'd be like, "Is this fine?
Well,
Is
she
this
would
good?"
comb it originally, and then you would just leave it, and then it would
Yeah.
just grow into this D-head.
But I never knew what was supposed to be good, so I was just like, "Yeah, it's good, it's good." Like, but I don't even know. So this is the problem with going to buy these boots today is that when I'm going to be put on the boots. And then I'm
the
going to
key
stay
is for it not to be squished.
And this is what happens with most things with me. The person's like, "Hey, walk around, see if it's supposed to," and then they give me an explanation that I don't quite understand.
Well, you're too afraid to ask for clarification.
Right.
No, but they're like, it should be. You should feel a tiny bit of pressure on just the beginning of your toe, but not your toe to be squished, but not there shouldn't be a gap. It should just be.
Yeah, it needs to be a little more definitive. I see what you're saying.
And then I'm like, well,
I think it's good.
I'm like, I think this is good. I think this is what you're describing, but I don't really know. But then I'm like, I think it's good. It's fine. And then toenail falls off. And then I'm like, God. And then I don't understand what they're asking me because and I'm like, I don't want to be a pain in the ass either. And I'm like, I think this is kind of what you're saying, but I don't want to be like, no, let's try the other one. And let's keep sending them back.
Let's go back.
That's their job.
Yeah, it is their job.
Yeah, but they don't want to do this. And
yeah, you don't want to be a pain in their ass. I get it.
So then I'm just like, this will work, and it never works. So this is why I'm afraid. But my wife will be a bitch about it and send the person back.
Bring out all the boots. My wife will do that too. Yeah. And I bet you Crystal does this move, and I hate this. Andrew will do this. She'll be like, "You're gonna be here a while," and I'm like, "Don't say that. Make it sound like we're gonna be like we're the easy breezy cool people, not we're the old stick in the mud."
I have like a disorder where I do not want to be
you don't want
pain in the
people.
ass for people.
Yeah,
like whatever.
I don't either, but I'm also not gonna buy expensive snow boots if
I know.
they're not going to fit either.
I mean, they're $300 or whatever.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like, it's too expensive to mess around with.
Don't mess around with it.
But I still... Like,
so
I'm going to put them on and be like, I think it's going to have toenail
so
fall.
You need me there.
It's going to happen. It's going to happen. Whatever decision I make will be a wrong one.
So you need me there to basically go like, hey, we don't want to be a trouble here, but we got to try 2 more pair. This one's still a little too tight.
Yeah,
I can do that.
He needs a chaperone.
I could do that with you.
It's like when my wife goes with me, she just does all talking, and I'm like a
child,
like a child or like a special needs.
I like that.
Adult.
I like it when people look at me, and then I think they look at me like, well, obviously he's so smart. He's like Elon Musk. He can't be troubled with the small menial tasks like ordering his food at a window.
But then I also, when my wife is like, "Oh, can you try to?" and then I'm like,
I'm like, this bitch is crazy.
yeah. Then I get to pass
you
the
got
buck.
It bad. I got to deal with this every day.
And then I pass the buck. And I think a lot of, although when I see other people do that, I'm just like, oh, come on, do your own stuff. You know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
But it's easier because she can tell the person like, oh, this isn't right, as he feels weird, and I'm never gonna tell him. I'll just be like, it's fine, and then toenail fall off.
Yeah.
So I'm going to. There's no other option.
It is amazing you've made it this far in life, but. You do have a life chaperone, your wife. So,
but if that fell apart,
if
something
happens to her, you're screwed.
Will I learn? I feel like I'll learn.
I don't know. It might be too late to learn, buddy.
Like I feel like
you're 40 because you don't know how to take care of yourself.
We were talking about a medical thing that you had years ago. How do you even get through any of that without having your wife go with you? Because those are times when you're having to step up and you're having to execute something that is uncomfortable. You're having to be a trouble, right?
I could because it goes back to my confidence where I'm confident that I could do anything.
Yeah.
Which I can't for sure.
Okay.
But I'm confident that I can. So if you present me any task, I'll be like, I could do it.
Yeah.
Even though I for sure can't. So I'll just go off in the world or whatever. And I'm not getting all the information at the doctor. I'm lying to him. I'm like, it's fine now. It's fine. And then I just leave and I tell my wife.
Are you still on this medication? Yeah, whatever. I don't care. Just tell me I'm fine.
I don't know the names of my medication except for Adderall. Like the other one that I take for acid reflux. Every single time they ask me.
Omeprazole.
There it is. I forget every time.
Look at that.
And then I have
she just gave me a cool wink too.
It's the most generic one.
I'm on this other one that starts with an O, and then they always know it, and that's all I do. And then I can never remember it or commit it to memory.
I've been on so many different pills that they go down this list. They're like, "Are you still on this?" I'm like, "No." "Are you still on this?" "No." "Are you still on this?" "No." "Are you still on this?" And they're like, "Oh wow."
I'm not on any medication.
That's great.
I might need to be.
Do you fill out?
I want that Adderall.
Do you fill out? You can get it.
I'm gonna try.
Yeah. Just to start saying you're like absent-minded and you look up the symptoms of ADHD.
I want to get on that.
TikTok
tea.
has told me I have ADHD, so I believe it now.
Yeah.
I want to get on that tea.
Yeah, get on.
My goal, the last look I want, because you settle into a last look. My final look, I want to be Big Papa Pump.
Well, I'm convinced I don't really even have any sort of
Any
ADHD.
testosterone? Oh.
no, or like,
No.
like it's just taking a little bit of amphetamines will help everybody.
I've literally, you definitely have it.
No, well, there it goes. I mean, it's better than
I mean,
just
I've seen the
abusing
difference
it.
of when I got hired here initially, and I
Yeah.
was like, dude, because you were driving me nuts.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
still
yeah.
do. Like, you'll still
But
go
it's
on a
just
bunch of different
fast nuts.
tangents, but
It's
it's
fast
not
nuts.
as bad, and you make more notes now, and
Yeah.
you can refocus quicker than you used to.
It definitely. Although I feel like if anybody took a little bit of amphetamine,
Sure.
they'd be able to function
little
better.
sharper,
yeah,
yeah.
a little sharper. Like
I want it.
That's
Yeah, who
it's not
doesn't?
really treating. It does treat my ADHD or ADD or whatever the hell. But I feel like if anybody took it, it would make them a little bit better or faster or sharper. Or remember,
Bigger, faster,
or
stronger,
Yeah.
Kanye West.
Same thing with testosterone. Like if your testosterone is 900, you're doing good. Like,
Yeah.
You're gonna be hornier. Your muscle,
I don't,
more
I don't know
muscle.
that you guys need to be hornier.
Yeah, I'm wondering what the tea would do to me being. I think because I'm.
You blow it out of the water.
Yeah, well, it'd be a problem.
Yeah.
Then
You
it
couldn't
wa-
control yourself.
Then I'd have to say, I'm sorry, I cheated. I'm on the tea. I apologize.
Blame it on the
I
tea.
ruined my family.
Andrea will forgive you.
I don't think she will. There is a limit to how great. I mean, she's amazing. Don't get me wrong. Like, I love her with all my heart, but it only gets so good.
Well, my buddy was on it. He had to excuse himself at Olive Garden and go
That is
rub
ridiculous.
one out. He said he couldn't. He had to, or he was like,
Or what?
I don't know.
Or he's
I don't
gonna
know.
punch through his tour of Italy.
Right, exactly.
He said he was forced to.
Was he surrounded by his family?
He was there with his family, his
Yeah,
kids.
This is
It's like a
ridiculous.
birthday party. There's
couldn't
Mylar
help it,
balloons
yeah.
everywhere. It's like, excuse me.
That's how horny it made him.
How long was he in the bathroom?
He
That's
said it
big
fast,
one.
fast
That's big
because
one.
it was like
Yeah, it's a
Oh, it was an
purposeful.
emergency.
It's
yeah, it was an
purposeful.
emergency
Yeah.
situation. Anyway, I don't know. He's
right.
probably on it. It was like his Miami doctors. They'll just get he probably had 2,500.
I don't think my
testosterone.
doctor will give it to me.
You go to a testosterone. Like again,
Yeah, I got to go to a
you gotta
specialty.
Go to the weed doctor if you want weed. Go to the Adderall doctor if you want Adderall.
My weed never mind. Do you want to do a couple of voicemails, buddy?
Yes.
Let's do a few. I was going to start with, let's go with this guy right here. Chick-fil-A.
Hey guys, I just wanted to comment on the Chick-fil-A thing. I tell my kids,
What was that noise at the beginning? I'm sorry. It I just want to go back to it. What was that?
I think that was you, Tom. It sounded like you in the radio going, hey, hey. Maybe he was
No,
listening to the
what?
podcast,
Is that like,
right?
hey guys, I just wanted to comment on the Chick-fil-A thing. I tell my kids that Chick-fil-A was my favorite job ever and still is my favorite job ever, even though I own a successful company. But at Chick-fil-A, if you didn't say my pleasure, the managers would tell you to say my pleasure. They would correct you. Never seen anyone getting written up for it, but who knows. Also, at the Chick-fil-A I worked at, the guy that owned the Chick-fil-A / the managers, they worked all the hardest positions during the lunch rush. So they really showed you how to work through respect instead of just telling you what to do. And I think therefore you get a lot better productivity out of your Chick-fil-A employees. It's just my 2 cents. Have a good day.
Yeah, he, and I've seen that. The manager, remember the guy that came out? He's like, I've had 2 double bypass. And like, remember that guy? He's like,
yeah.
It was lunch rush, and he was working the hardest job, a hairnet, gloves, a whole nine, and he's working while the kids are back there doing little things like putting lemonade into a cup, putting nuggets into a box, but he was running the orders, and I'm like, I don't want to do that. I
No.
want the kids to do that. I want to be able to yell at the kids.
There's got to be something that they're doing because Chick-fil-A seems like they are emerging the number one, and this has nothing to do with sales or anything, but it's like number one fast food place in my head when it comes to service, like even quality of food, right?
Yeah, they
like
put
popularity.
They put time in.
Dude, the Chick-fil-A in Castleberry, there is never not a line.
It pumps.
I've never not seen a line except for a Sunday, but it so that place is rocketing through. I mean, there's a line there 24. I mean, I don't, how long are they open? They're not 24 hours, right?
No.
Yeah, but it's like from open to close, there is a
Bumping.
line. And it seemed like, when's the last time I went into, when we got done like riding at Croom Forest this year, we were leaving, we packed up all like the RV and whatever, and we were tired as hell and we're dusty and whatever, and then we're leaving, it's like lunchtime and we're starving and there's a McDonald's across the street. And Crystal's like, let's just get the boys some Happy Meals and then, get a Big Mac or whatever. I'm like, fine. Because I hate, it's
gross.
I want to eat. I'm hungry and I don't want to eat McDonald's.
I don't want to eat crap.
But it's there.
It is
and
what
we
it
just
is.
need it.
Yeah.
I'm starving.
It's car food.
Convenient.
So because we have the RV, we're towing the RV, the travel trailer. I pull up into the far parking lot and I go in there to get the order, the Crystal that ordered, right? So I walk in. And there's some sort of chaos going on, like employees didn't show up.
McDonald's, yeah.
Yeah. There's some sort of chaos.
I've been to multiple
This is the
McDonald's where I thought
Brooksville
people were being
McDonald's.
murdered.
Yeah. And then the customers, there's chaos going on.
Yeah, there's always a fight in McDonald's.
And they're mad, and the
There's
people
like a
behind the
homeless
counter
person throwing like one of the cashiers.
and they're the employees that work, they look miserable. like the most miserable people I've ever seen, and the manager is at its wit's end, and the customers are all mad, and I'm standing there, and I'm like, get me the hell out of this. Is the whole worst situation. Like, I'm going to walk out of here. Leave the damn, whatever the hell we ordered, just drive.
Just
mad
leave.
drive. I almost
McDonald's
did
is the
it.
only restaurant I
And I'm
ever
like,
walked out of.
this is horrible.
McDonald's is the only restaurant I've ever ordered something at the drive-thru, and then I'm out of here. This place. No, I'm not doing it.
It's not the company. We were at a time, and this is, back last November. So it was like it's like there's no employees to work here. There's like the prices are out of whack.
Yeah.
Like the food chain, all this stuff. Like everything's working.
all bad.
Everything's working against like most fast food places. I imagine with the supply chain,
Yeah.
the lack of employees, like the changing tides of culture, not wanting to eat. I don't know. A lot of bad things are happening to fast food places, and they are struggling.
Well, Chick-fil-A doesn't seem to be. Like,
No,
they always
I know.
have a plan. They got tech. They got like kids out there with iPads. They got like the one up here in Colonial has kiosks that are under a fanned like a pavilion. So before you even get to the box to talk into the recorder, like the little microphone deal, they have like a young Christian child with an iPad out there that's like talking to you. And then their door, when you come around the corner, is a full-size door. It's like our door. And the person walks out and gives you your food so it can be faster.
Yeah, it's a well-oiled machine.
Yeah, it's like, and then they wrap it around. They do a lot with a little there. It's weird, man. They do a good job.
My wife takes the boys to Dunkin' Donuts every once in a while, and this reminded me because we saw an ad for they're offering an item. I don't know, like sometimes these fast food corporations, they're offering an item at Dunkin' Donuts of like a toasted piece of bread with guacamole spread on top.
Yes,
with like
avocado toast.
Yes.
Yeah, but avocado, but then with like fresh tomatoes laid on there, and then a spoon with some seasoning. And they're like, look, we got it. I'm like, it ain't gonna look like that. I know for sure.
You're gonna look like baby poop.
You're gonna go to Dunkin' Donuts and order avocado toast with like. Are you insane? So Crystal goes to.
She fell for the avocado.
No. We were laughing about who.
I saw it too because I was like,
who's
that's gonna
ordering
look
this
like
garbage?
poop. It's gonna look like baby poop.
And because at the one that Krista goes to, because it's near the boys' school, like she'll reward them with a donut every once in a while. She'll pull up, and she says it's always the same stressed out guy that comes to the window sweating, and he's like, "No one showed up for work. It's only me." And then he has to leave the back door open, like the dumpster door, for whatever reason. But it's
for deliveries or what?
I don't know. But the dumpster door.
I gotta leave this door open in case the murderer comes back. So I
What
can
the hell?
And it's him by himself, and he's stressed out, and there's no employees.
Oh, he should quit.
Well, that's why he left the door open so he can run out of
Run for your life, sir.
I'm sure a lot of people that work there or work at fast food places are experiencing this, right? Like,
Andrea ordered at Boston Market one night. We got something because I'm trying to look for anything that's not a hamburger, right?
Yeah.
And I'm just like, get a rotisserie chicken. It's a mac and cheese. We'll call it a night. Andrea went up there and the lady was like, I'm sorry, we're in here trying to figure out how we're going to restructure. We should be open in a couple of weeks when we can find enough humans.
Yeah, none of them.
And it was like a manager, and they're like meeting with like 3 people to see how they could rebuild the chicken empire that is Boston Market.
Yeah, like they have to, like Chick-fil-A figured something out. Like they can keep employees.
We ordered Boston Market on their app online. It was like it was around when we were off. I can't remember why we were over there, but I was like, we haven't had Boston Market in forever. Got the notification that said, hey, your order is ready for pickup. Drove all the way there. The Boston Market was closed. Nobody there.
Yeah.
It was closed the whole day. So who got my order?
They've been having that same thing happen to Andrea. She tried to order online, and the conversation we had, they said that within this area, every Boston Market's ordering system was
Their
fried,
app's messed up,
and it was going to all rando Boston
We're
Markets.
like, how did they send us a notification saying our food was ready when nobody's here?
Man, I used to F with a meatloaf carver. When I was in college, you give me a meatloaf carver with some cheddar cheese on it.
Quarter piece dark meat, the rotini mac and cheese, and the mashed potatoes. That's all I wanted.
So there is something with those food delivery apps where they're like when it says the order's
ready. The Wawa
ready,
app sucks too.
Yeah, and there must be, and like I'm sure some people know internally how this works, and Crystal literally mentioned this weekend because we ordered at a restaurant, and then she's like, oh, and then we pulled up too quick, and then she got a notification. She's like, oh, order's ready. I walked in to get it, and it was half an hour later. It was ready. Like it weren't even close. The lady said like, oh, we're still making it. So I'm like, and apparently I think the app sends you, like it estimates the time and it just sends you your orders ready without the restaurants telling them it is actually ready. Like
they need to get together because Truly's got it down.
Yeah. It estimates.
It's possible.
Yeah.
Well, the old
Something
man
like
at Publix will call me when they're at a mojo pork. It's Daniel, and I can't make your sub. Call me back. Like that poor old bastard.
Like we're at a weird time, I think, in society where we're transitioning into full automation and there's glitches and things that are not working right. So we still appreciate the human being and being involved because the computers don't have it right yet.
Yeah.
But it'll soon be, 10 years from now, they'll get it, like the computer programs will be good enough and then the automation will be there, right?
Yeah, I think so.
But it's not there yet.
I might come back to Wawa. Walked into one with Andrea over the weekend. They got self-checkout.
Mine doesn't have self-checkout yet.
I saw self-checkout. I'm like, all right. I might give you a try.
The first time I did like a lot of groceries at Publix self-checkout, and it was better. Like I did fruits and stuff, and
it's easy.
Avocados.
They've made it so easy. Oh, dude.
Walmart's way easier. Walmart was ahead of the game.
Yeah.
So their weight thing doesn't mess up like Publix's
Dude,
does.
Walmart's is dialed in because they had those trash people testing
for
that
while.
stuff for years.
Yeah.
And it's like you do. I'll pay for one for me.
Yeah.
And there's like Walton family be fine.
Let's try this one right here.
Tom, Dan, Sam. Tell me if this is a chirp. The other day I stopped at Publix to get a few things. I get into the line to check out, and the people ahead of me buy gift cards for the cashier and the bagger, which is a very nice gesture. However, as I'm next in line, I ask, how do I follow that up? And makes the cashier and the bagger laugh and whatnot. And so we just had a brief conversation about receiving complimentary things or verbal compliments from customers and whatnot. Tell me if that's a chirp. Is that a chirp? Question. Thanks.
Yes.
You were, I guess it really
That's an
depends.
amateur chirp, because
to Sam maybe, because Sam, if she's behind you, she just wants to get through the line with you.
Correct.
You should stare straight down. You should not look at anybody.
Have your card ready to swipe.
And you should be as fast as humanly possible and sprint to your car and get the hell out of it.
Yes.
Here's why it's not a true chirp. A true chirp comes from silence, and there's no initiation whatsoever needed.
Yeah, you're right.
So Daniel, a true chirper,
comes from my core.
Yeah, in fact, they'll like the pleasantries have already been exchanged, and like, hey, how you doing? Good. And then the true chirper, like Daniel, will start the conversation. You witness something.
I also contend it's
Y'all
only
playing
a
Elden
chirp.
Ring?
It's only a chirp if you're also not engaging with another extrovert that likes to chit chat and chirp as well. Because then it's just a little chirpy conversation.
Yeah.
A true chirp is you are forcing someone to engage in a conversation they don't want to be a part of.
Yes,
right?
you're right, because I've seen other chirpers at Publix. And
there's some of the people that work there. They love to chirp.
And then Daniel's like, "See, she likes it."
But it's like, yeah, but they
that's
are
a chirper too,
Yeah.
and then of course they like
Chirp
it.
on chirp grind.
Yeah. It's the.
I like that you guys like try to S on the chirpers. I mean, just because you guys
we're just
like
trying to define the chirp.
Yeah, well, look, I think it's completely unfair and a little ass backwards to have people that don't truly understand chirping being the ones that are writing the definition for it,
We
right?
get chirped at all the time.
No. That should only be penned by somebody that knows their way with the craft. I mean, you guys, of course, are going to look at it negatively.
Yeah, what this gentleman did is he saw
It was a mild chirp.
and he also witnessed something that was confusing, and then he's
Right.
asking about it. That's,
See, I'd never ask. Not my business. Don't care.
Also, that I've never seen someone buy a gift
either.
card and give it
That
to
is
the.
nice, though.
Do you do it to your teachers and stuff? Like, we all do it for, like, teachers, right? You do that.
You know, that
Uh-oh.
was a thing that I
Or you don't do it,
I
okay.
was, no, I
Well,
think
after the
Crystal
White
does
Claw
it.
basket he left at the elementary school, I don't think he's
I
doing
do it,
anything.
and let me just tell you, it works, so...
Yeah. No, Crystal gives them gift cards for Christmas and all that stuff. And teacher appreciation.
Yeah, you
she
gotta
does,
do it.
She does it, but I remember I talked all that S about bribery and how it works and stuff, and I was for certain I was going to actually, give them $100 gift, like go above and beyond, so
I
they
do.
treat my kids better.
I do.
So you do $100?
I do, yes.
Okay. I don't.
I do big boy Target gift card, yeah.
You know,
I mean, if anybody deserves it, it's the damn teachers.
God, working their butts
Yeah,
off.
for nothing.
Here's what changed it. Tommy and Max too good. So that's true. I don't feel like I need to
Wait till their grades actually matter, then start slipping in the hundos,
maybe. Well, I look at it like if I had maybe like a kid that was overactive or hyperactive or like running around or chirp or
It's
whatever.
like handing out gummy bears before your newborn gets on the plane. I've seen those people do it.
Tommy doesn't say anything. He sits there politely and never say a word. Don't bother anybody until he has to go to the bathroom. So why am I going to tip the teacher? Like you won the lottery with this kid.
Right.
He's the best kid in your class. He's not going to give you any problems. And Max is, not as good as Tommy, but still doesn't give any problems.
Yeah,
so I'm just like,
none of our kids are problems.
What do I need to tip you for or bribe you?
I just feel like, I don't know. I look at some of the stuff that they have to come out of their pocket for, and I feel like even if I'm helping out for that other bad kid, I feel good about it. It's like, oh my God.
Oh yeah, what I'm saying.
Your job is terrible.
Crystal does the standard, but I thought I was going to do like a huge amount. Therefore, they're going to treat my kid better, but don't need to.
Gotcha.
Because the kids are too damn good.
Let's try this guy.
You guys were talking about incorrect lyrics, and my wife might have the best one of all time. She was singing a song one night, and I heard her, and I said, "What? What did you just say?" And she repeated the line. And now I'll repeat what she was singing. It's a Green Day song. It's, my shallow heart's the only thing left beating. Sometimes I wish a mother bear would find me. A mother bear would find me. That is what she thought the lyrics were. And I asked her, I said, what do you even think that means? And she's like, oh, I don't know. I thought it was like an analogy for like a motherly figure. Dumb! A mother bear would find me.
He's so mad. He was
What
so
are the
mad.
actual lyrics?
So mad.
It's
That's my caller of the week, by the
sometimes
way.
I wish someone out there will find me.
Yeah, I don't normally start the week with a caller of the week, but dude, you win because you were mad at your wife or girlfriend.
I like that.
Mad. He goes,
But
what?
yeah.
What did you say? A mother bear?
Billy Joe does have that weirdo fake British like
Yeah,
so
you can
I
barely understand.
sometimes he's kind of hard to understand. but
wish I was your mother bear would find me. Another turning for the fork stuck in the road. Mother Bear.
They've quietly made a lot of money.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Green Day.
Oh yeah, they did the whole Broadway thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They,
His son's making music now.
They
Not bad either.
Like, how much is the drummer for Green Day
Trey
worth?
Cool.
Trey Cool. Like
20 mil.
20 mil?
Maybe more?
Like more than Exhibit?
Woo! More than Exhibit.
Yeah. Oh, man.
How much?
She just went
55 mil.
Wow,
Whoa!
that's well done. Well done. But Travis Barker, what's he worth? If you're going to go and
way
drummer
more.
well.
Yeah, but it was like Trey Cool, he didn't even have to talk.
No.
Yeah, but he always did. And you were like, shut your mouth. Hey, what's up, guys? Oh, shut up, Trey.
But like, imagine someone told, like, you're watching.
Yo, Travis Barker, only 50 million.
Trey Cool wins.
Trey Cool wins by 5 million.
Yeah, that's at Broadway. Oh,
Yep.
man, when you can go mainstream,
Really?
you crush.
Trey Cool has made more than Travis Barker?
I believe
so
it.
far.
Like, Travis Barker had his own reality show and all the stuff he did with, like, that.
But
He probably didn't make a lot back
it's
then.
fame
though.
versus money, right? Who's publishing and who's famous, right? Travis Barker is the famous star. Trey Cool doesn't care about really as much of that, but music-wise, he's played more, produced more, got in earlier maybe.
just bigger band.
I think he
like
would.
Green Day
I think you have to say Trey got in earlier, right?
probably has a good deal. Like maybe it's a split with.
I think they're on Warner Brothers. So, yeah, that's. I saw. I thought you would find this interesting. I wrote it down since we're talking about music. Did you see that last week? John Mayer said he's not re-upping his Columbia Records contract. He's out.
So what's he gonna do? Go
He's
solo?
doing independent. He's
Yeah.
going to do it on his
Well,
own.
he probably is
I've
like,
never
of course you
heard.
can. You don't need any record.
But I've never heard of even like your legacy artists are still linked, and they want to. Most of them want to stay linked. It was very odd for me to see. Like, I mean, he's my age, so you got a guy that's like, I'm turning my back on. Columbia has all of that. That'll be their thing.
God, Trey Cool's
Or
a
Warner
high
Brothers.
school dropout worth $55 million.
Yeah, good on him.
Yeah, but I guess what good does it do to even be associated with a record label anymore? You have enough social media presence, and
You can
I
do
think
anything
once
you
you're
want.
that big, who cares?
Yeah, you
whatever
can do anything you want.
You can negotiate anything yourself.
I think it used to open doors for you, but he doesn't really
Right.
need that because he's bigger than the record company, right?
I guess
In a weird way, he is.
yeah.
Definitely doesn't need it.
In as far as promotion or distribution, it's all through the internet. So what else do they like? What could Columbia even say to try to keep John Mayer? Like, what could they do for him? Nothing now, right?
Nothing. I find it odd that you still have artists that are still. I don't know if they're. If you're seeing a mad exodus of mainstream artists like that, I always put him in the same category as like a male Taylor Swift or like a. Like he's up there. Singer-songwriter type.
Now-
And, she's had her battles with locking down her music, re-recording it so she can own it.
Now, here's the one thing I could see is like, all right, the record company has a team of a promotional team and like different teams of people that you could utilize.
Yeah, he'll
right?
have to build his
So you have
own.
to hire your own
Right.
people. So that's coming out of your own pocket or your own business.
Yeah.
So now, that's a pain in the ass. And now you got to keep on track of those the team members and make sure they're doing what you.
But
you
it
know.
also means you can move laterally a lot easier. Like
Faster. Yeah.
being able to collaborate. And I think that's what I picked up on when he announced it.
You can do what you want.
He said, I'm looking forward to making my own music and collaborating with other people. And it sounds like he's going to get the opportunity to do stuff and release music with other
Because
people.
sometimes record labels
Yep.
won't let you do like features or
Yeah.
stuff with other artists on other labels
Yeah,
or
yeah.
even tour with them.
And
you
he
know?
loves blues. Imagine if he's got like, let's say like Keb Mo.
I bet that's what it's
and
all
then
about.
somebody else over here that they won't allow him to work with because, you're on Interscope, but, I'm on Columbia. Nah,
Yeah.
that doesn't work like that. But it's going to be good for music. I think it's going to be ultimately good for him. But just something that I saw and I go, wow, that's interesting. You don't think of a lot of your legacy artists backing away from companies now, but music is changing.
And I guess, I used to say the same thing with like terrestrial radio people and DJs and people that have built an audience. I was like, well, why would they stay working for the company nowadays when they can do everything they're doing
Easier.
themselves? And a lot of it is like, well, the company has a sales force, and if all you have to do is show up, Monday through Friday and do what you do on the air, and then book out of there and leave, and then the rest of the company has the sales and the marketing, and then going out there, finding new clients for you. You don't have to worry about any of that. Then that's the advantage, right? And if they pay you appropriately. But for sure, you could just go out and do it all on your own. More work, though. A lot of people don't want that, especially if you're getting paid what you think you should be getting paid.
Correct.
Then you're good. Why not? Well, hell, if I said that, like some terrestrial radio, if iHeart wanted to buy this podcast and pay us all good amount of money for a guaranteed amount of time, of course, then you just do it.
What if you did that, but under the umbrella of like you could only have guests that they pre-approved to book. You could only talk about certain subjects.
That's what it would be like.
Certain control over like
I wouldn't
all
want
of your
that.
content.
I wouldn't want that.
It would.
Then I'd be back where I was.
It would be deal
Because they also
dependent.
like John Mayer could write like 30 songs that he wants to put on an album, and they're like, well, we want you to put out these 15 and that's it. And then he doesn't, well, I'm not going to say he doesn't, but a lot of times like it's up to the label what songs get put on the album, which sucks because it's your music.
Or the amount of money that they want to put behind it.
Right.
He said that before in the past of other albums that he wanted to be bigger, but they didn't feel that they needed to be bigger,
Yeah.
Because they have an opinion at that point. So when you're releasing your own stuff, you can put 100% into it,
Who's John Mayer dating nowadays?
I don't think he is.
No, like he hasn't been linked to like a big time movie star or like.
I think it's Jeff Ross.
I think
he's been spending all his time with him, right?
I think that guy is a weirdo, and because he's hyper talented, right? Like extremely like a virtuoso on guitar, and not a bad singer either for a guy that I don't even think singing is his first love, but I think he got so much bad heat. That one period of time when he was like the womanizer, the Jessica Simpson interview, the what's her name?
I know what you're talking about.
Jen Aniston.
Yeah.
Like all of that. And then everybody kind of came, and then Taylor Swift coming at him, and everybody coming at him and like, you are a womanizing POS. And I think he pulled back.
That he's dating Kiernan Shipka. Because they were seen out at dinner together and hugging a couple weeks ago.
I don't know who that is.
Let's see who she.
But I think he's pulled back.
Actress Kiernan Shipka, 22 years old.
I think he's pulled back from
And
a lot
he's
of that
44.
and kind of trying to take it a little easier because
oh man,
he appears to
She's
be
she's the
spicy
actress.
man.
She's in the Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. That girl. If you're familiar,
okay. Yeah.
And apparently he was getting trolled pretty hard because of the age difference.
Yeah, he always does. But at some point when you're an older man that likes younger girls, you have to put your Twitter down. You got to put your phone down and
you're 44.
love your life.
And listen, of all the obvious advantages to dating a 22-year-old, there is just so much time difference. Like I look at 22-year-olds
as kids. That's how I look. I'm sorry.
Not the kids is like where it's like anything gross, but it's just such a young person that they're so far away from me that it's like they are like kids.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But not like in a gross pedophile way. I just mean like just
maturity,
20 years younger,
and experience.
Yeah, but no, just
Cannot relate.
So tight.
Yikes!
I almost threw up.
I mean,
what?
He ain't wrong.
I'm just saying how I feel inside.
Yeah, it's your core. I've learned that. Speak your truth, sir.
Yeah.
It's fine.
I was going to say bye-bye, but
no.
Now we got to awkwardly sit through another voicemail.
I'll help you.
And I don't mean that.
Guys.
The whole, it's all tighter.
Yeah.
The
whole relationship
from the head
is
down.
tighter.
Head down.
Yes. Tighter scalp is what I mean. That hair's in there good like a fresh doll.
But and the other.
Yeah, the downstairs part, not the bulldog cheeks.
Hey guys, the Barry Joe here. Y'all were talking about being able to throw on a particular style of speaking, so to say, in a recent show, and reminds me of my mom and my dad a little bit too. That's how they met, actually working monorails at Disney back in the day. Before they had recorders and recordings that played, stand away from the doors and keep your arms away and, all that blah, blah. She would have to do it in English and then Spanish without any, paperwork. She just did it off of memory, and then she would do it in Spanish. And we used to, love doing it as a party trick. She'd be able to turn it on and, hello, welcome to Monorail Purple and Disney World, blah, blah, blah. I don't know, just thought it was pretty interesting, little factoid there, pretty cool stuff. Yeah, if you ever have any old school
I
Disney.
mean, it's cool to you, I guess.
She learned one phrase in Spanish and
She
it's
just
pretty
repeated
cool.
it.
They're like, hey,
guy-
say the thing you know in
This
Spanish.
man, okay, hold on a second. I'm not
How
going to let
cool
you
is
be
that?
mean to this
Well,
guy.
it's DeBarry Joe. To him, it's cool.
DeBarry Joe is proud of his mother, and you're being mean.
Everybody in Miami I grew up with knew English and Spanish fluently.
What, do you know the monorail?
Yeah, well, but I'm just saying that how cool is it that you knew how to say stand clear of the door in Spanish to keep your arms and legs clear of the door? It's not that cool. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, like, this guy's never going to call back now.
Your mom knew one phrase in Spanish, and you're like, hey, do it at the party.
Hey, turn on your party train.
Also, I'm mad at Disney for not making that a recording sooner, and you made a human do it every single, I mean, how many times a day?
Well, they didn't put
500
radios.
times.
They didn't put radios in those things, right? Like, there was nothing in there.
Well, hold on. The person was talking through some sort of amplified.
Yeah, like
speaker.
when they opened in the 70s, they're not rolling, or 60s rather, they're not rolling like a digital recorder on each monorail. They had somebody announce it outside.
Yeah, but they had the ability to record something,
Sure.
right? Like we had that ability. So if I was working there, I'd be like, hey, can't we just hit play on this thing?
Well,
and
they still do it on a whole coaster, though, so you'll still have them there like,
Well, that's because they have to actually point out something in real time. I'm saying the same phrase, keep your arms and legs inside
Right.
the thing. If it's the same, just have
they
a
still
recording
do,
of it.
they still do it on the tram, right? Mm-hmm. On the people mover that gets you to the park, they still have a person saying it,
Yes, they do.
and the person in the back is doing it. So there must be a reason they continue to do it versus, I'm sure it's the ease of being able to change how quickly they can change the instructions maybe.
And also, is there some sort of a customer service part of it that they feel like, because those people talk, I feel like as they drive, they'll say other things.
They'll spiel a little
Yeah,
bit.
yeah. Like same thing with the rides. They give them a little bit of artistic license to, it's a different park.
On
but
the
like
monorail?
No, but like
the
John's-
people mover deal.
Yeah,
the trams.
With the tram that takes you from the parking lot, they'll let you kind of
Yeah. You can riff a little bit.
like,
Yeah.
make some comments you want it, like obviously
They're like,
appropriate.
oh, I like your Donald Duck hat. Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe that's part of the customer service. But I'm just saying the monorail, you should have a recording from the very beginning if they had the ability, not make the person say it every single GD time.
I bet they didn't know how safe it was going to be. I bet they built that thing and they're like, have some people talking and stuff in case something goes wrong. You're like, get step back, it's on fire. And now it's been going for like 50 years or 100 years or whatever. Like, it's fine. We'll record it. It's good.
It's like the airliners. They put all the safety instructions in a video. They don't have the
They
person.
didn't always, though. They still get the person up there doing it.
Well, they have the person that does the seatbelt.
I feel bad for that person mimicking the dancing video from Virgin Atlantic or whatever. Like they get like a dancing video and then that person's up there still doing the thing. Sad.
But at least they have the video where they don't have to have the person literally do the same thing. Although it's not as often. It's during takeoff and once every how many hours.
Those will eventually become
monorail.
like muster drills, right? Where we don't do them.
I feel like no one's paying attention now.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't.
People don't. They're usually falling asleep.
I
There's
put
a
a
guy put the
podcast.
blanket
Yeah.
on.
I don't give a damn. I'm like, what are the chances of me having to know this? And I feel like once we're rocketing towards the ocean, so I'll be like, hey, where's the things? And they'll tell me, like, and then someone's listening.
Just look around you.
They're like, it's under. What do I do?
Where are we? We crashed. All right.
Someone will tell me. Anyway, bye-bye. Welcome back to A Corporate Time. Our lawyer, Mo DeWitt's here. How you doing, Mo?
Doing all right. How are you guys doing?
Good. So we've got a couple questions for you. One concerning pop culture. I'm not sure if you're if you keep up with celebrities and
up with it possibly better than we do. I think I've seen his videos. Very hip.
Do you?
He's on TikTok all the time.
Yeah, like he's
Yeah,
always
yeah,
on
you're
there
right.
navigating.
Old TikTok.
And I think he's navigating the space correctly,
Yeah,
right?
he's
Like
busy. He's got 10,000 things going on.
yeah, but
his
unlike us, he
business-
doesn't do everything himself. He can delegate.
No,
We don't really
yeah.
delegate. We just end up going, I gotta do it. I gotta take the trash out.
So, are you familiar with Kanye West?
I've heard the name before.
Okay, all right.
Yes.
So there's been a lot of controversy with him and Pete Davidson, and I still am.
You're dead
convinced
set on
that,
thinking everyone's involved in it, right?
that this is just what these people do for promotion, and they're just playing the entertainment media and getting themselves a crap ton of promotion for free, basically. And Pete Davidson is not maybe 100% in on it, but he understands the deal, and Kim Kardashian definitely knows the deal, and Kanye West has been doing this for a long time, and so anyway. But there's been a lot of talk about Kanye West's video and whether or not it's considered a threat or not. What was it exactly, Daniel?
Well, I guess the song's called Easy, right? I think that's My Life's Never Been Easy as a song. And it's been out for a minute. So Kanye releases a video, I think, last week. It's basically kind of a crude claymation video of a figure that looks sort of like a Kanye West claymation.
Like Celebrity Deathmatch.
Yeah, it does. That's great, though. It does look like Celebrity Deathmatch, but there is an artsy part where Kanye plants rose seeds, and then it grows a big, ugly Pete Davidson head with roses all around it, and then Kanye's trimming the roses. I guess he decapitates him. I guess he kills Pete Davidson and then buries him alive. And then at the end, the video says, and they all lived happily ever after, except for Skeet, which is the word that he calls Pete to make fun of him, which is ejaculate. And then at the end, he goes, no, just kidding, he's fine. And people are saying, hey, there are lesser or people that are just like Britney Spears, just like any of these other people that we have deemed in the media or with our own personal opinion court. We've said these people are crazy, and then we end up locking them up or they get locked up. And now we have this guy that's basically making videos that are threatening to kill his ex-wife's boyfriend in a video, and we're all like, nah, it's fine, it's just art, it's cool, no big deal, nothing can be done.
So
that's pretty decent.
Yeah,
right?
that's a good summary.
Fairly accurate.
That's pretty decent.
So what is, it's probably super subjective, but the difference between art and actual threats. Now, I had heard just from back in the radio days that you could do anything on the air and it could be considered art or sexual harassment, all the basically you can say
that from?
I don't know, it was swirling around. Management may have alluded to
the other way.
I don't remember ever
Bubba
being
Whoop
allowed to, but that might be accurate.
Okay.
I don't remember ever being told that we could make threats. That was that was an area where, and I'm sure that's where we're gonna need Mo here to help us maybe understand what is a threat, what isn't a threat, and how the law can determine such.
Yeah.
Yeah, freedom of speech is obviously pretty broad.
Sure.
Right? So, you do have a right to voice your opinion and things like that. Now, is this a criminal threat? Not really. For a criminal, assault or something like that, you have to have basically be pointing a gun at somebody and say, I'm going to shoot you. You have some means of carrying out the threat. So this would go towards more, could Pete Davidson get a restraining order against Kanye? Probably, based on this threat, because it's a threat that he's put out there in the public. He's, clearly threatened to kill him or whatever you want to call it.
Claymation.
Well, he even said, and there's more evidence than that. Even within the song, there's a part that says, God save me so I can beat Pete Davidson's ass. That's a butchered quote, but there's a line in there where he's rhyming, that I'm going to beat this guy's ass.
By the way, this is ridiculous. These are all adults, and the claymation involved, and
I actually enjoyed the claymation. I'm a sucker for it, man. I really am a sucker for claymation. It got me when I was a kid. I still got the fire for it.
So you could make the argument that he could get some sort of restraining order based on this, but anything more than that, it probably falls in the realm of art, and it's hard to prove that this is serious or anything like that.
Right. Now, if he does something in the future, obviously this could be used as evidence of premeditation or something like that. But if there's no follow-up, then he could probably get a restraining order. Otherwise, it's freedom of speech, and you can kind of say what you want to some degree.
And unfortunately, in male culture and in hip-hop culture especially, it is not cool to get a restraining order for a guy that is making videos about chopping off your roses or your head and burying you alive. In that culture, it is in no way, shape, or form acceptable to be like, you know what, that's the sensible thing to do. I have a crazy person this guy's a lunatic wearing trash bags and wearing rain boots, and he made a video where he's going to chop my head off with some scissors. I think I'll get a restraining order. Now, that sounds feasible to me. If you came to me and said, I'd be like, you should probably get a restraining order. But if you do that, then you look like the P word, right?
Yeah. Plus, Kanye West's not gonna do anything, and also like it's all ridiculous. And
I
Pete
don't know.
Davidson.
Kanye's a little crazy.
Yeah, but
Kanye's a little crazy.
He's not going
He
to
also has
attack
influence with people that
Yeah.
are his fans that will
Well,
also do things
that's-
for
That's
him.
the real risk.
That's,
Yeah.
that's
yeah,
the risk.
One
yeah.
of his crazy nutso fans
Yeah.
could
Then
harm
you have a
Pete
Tupac
Davidson.
or Biggie scenario on your
Yeah,
hands
yeah.
where you have the influence of the music, the
Right.
art, influencing other people
Yeah.
that appreciate it, thinking
That's
they're
happened,
doing
yeah.
good because they're under that influence, man, or that fame, or that, man, I'm doing Tupac good by killing Biggie, or whatever you want to,
Yeah.
however you want to frame it.
So Mo, let's move to some more real world problems here because this Kanye West thing is nonsense. There's no way.
And you heard it. You heard it. You
So-
heard it from Pop.
So, golf carts have been the new popular thing
Yes.
to own, especially in more affluent neighborhoods and like
Also in extra poor neighborhoods.
yeah,
it's one of those
poor.
rich man, poor man.
yeah. And then I've seen it, in the good part of my neighborhood, and then Baldwin Park, and then over on the beach. Like everybody's just getting golf carts as a form of travel, right? And the law is apparently as long as they're street legal, and there's a whole process you have to go through with the windshield and the like stoplights and turn signals,
Right.
that you can travel on any road as long as the speed limit's not above 35, right?
Right.
And so that's basically the general Florida rule. And some neighborhoods are golf cart like allowed. You don't even need to be street legal. Like they're allowed in the neighborhood without license plates and all that stuff. So as long as it's like, I guess, or maybe that's not true. I thought there was some.
Oh, I like the maybe not trues. I've
My
never,
point being-
I thought that like there are kids around here, and if I'm ruining it for somebody, I am. I don't care. But there are kids around here that ride them, and they got nothing
Yeah.
on them. They're literally just golf carts.
I think in Baldwin maybe within
I've never heard
the
that,
community.
dude. I
you know,
always
maybe-
thought.
I think it's just people looking the other way scenario.
Oh, okay,
Nobody really cares
I
because we have
don't
them in our
complain.
neighborhood too. But
Yeah. And now, but like, even if they are street legal, I would imagine that most people don't have insurance on their golf cart, and maybe that's part of the stipulation. If you get them street legal, you have to carry insurance.
Well, you have to. Yeah, they have to be listed on an insurance policy. So you have to have the bare minimum coverage, which is $10,000 in property damage, $10,000 in PIP or no fault coverage. But usually you're going to be adding that to your existing policy. But that's the real issue is they're uninsured vehicles on the road. So if someone gets injured on them, if your kid's driving, falls off, or his friend falls off, breaks
Oh my
their
God!
arm.
I've heard you say this before in your commercials. You're freaking me out, bro.
yeah. Then what this happens because golf carts, they seem like no big deal, and you can let your
Oh,
kids
man.
drive them and stuff.
Right.
But they're driving on the roads, and then if a car sideswipes one of them,
Oh, God.
people are gonna go rocket. There's no seatbelts.
Well,
they're gonna go rocket out.
A couple of years ago, it was okay because it was always dad driving kids in golf cart. Then a couple years later, it was old teen driving kids and dad in golf cart. Now it's just kids in golf cart driving all around. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's like you can see the progression of how comfortable we've gotten with it. Where a mom or dad, and I'm not even saying it's bad, and I'm not even saying that I wouldn't do it with May because she's super responsible. You know what I mean?
Oh.
Like, hey, yeah, you want to go over to your friend's house on the golf cart?
Right.
Go ahead. Go be my guest. She could totally do it, but I've seen some things around here lately that I'm like, man, those kids are going to end up getting hurt. Like, I mean, I don't care if they're doing it, not my kids.
Yeah.
But they're going to get hurt.
And then what's going to happen is one kid's going to get hurt. Their parents are going to make a big deal out of it, and then it's going to be shut down for everybody. And they're going to start enforcing the
God!
regulations.
Yeah, that's what happens.
One person's going to ruin it all.
Why does that one person
That's-
ruin it all?
Gotta be Max.
So I guess my point being, with all the new golf carts on the road, and let's say the majority of them not having insurance or the bare minimum, is this going to cause a problem? And like, what should you do if you do own a golf cart and you're riding it around? Like, is the bare minimum enough? I mean, I know you're not an insurance agent, but what do you think legally?
Well, you want to probably have similar insurance to what you have on your car. So, if
God,
you're
that's
looking
gonna be
at your...
expensive,
My
Mo.
God.
Well, usually you can tack it on for a fairly low amount because you're not driving the golf cart every day. So you just want to make sure it's covered on one of the policies, whether it's your homeowner's policy or your car insurance policy. You want to have it on one of the policies. Typically, it's going to fall under your car insurance. But we had a case up in North Carolina where a lady had... This was one of those like souped-up golf carts, like the ATV things, the side-by-sides. And She went to pick up her friend, and the lady driving was drunk, and the friend didn't know about it. She hopped in. The lady flipped the ATV over, or side-by-side over, completely shattered the lady's leg. She had to be airlifted by a helicopter out of there. God. And there was no insurance on the vehicle. Well, it fell under the homeowner's policy. We found out later and got the homeowner's policy. But you want to make sure there's some coverage in case something happens, because otherwise they can take your assets possibly, you know?
Wow. So even if it doesn't happen on your property, your homeowner's insurance can still cover some things?
It depends on the policy. So this was kind of one of those cases where it was a fine line, and depending on the definitions, it could have been where there was no coverage at all. But because this was solely a work vehicle, this was more of a farm-type property up in North Carolina.
Okay.
So therefore, it fell under the homeowner's policy. Here, it probably wouldn't. It would probably have to be under your car insurance policy.
Gotcha.
Interesting.
You said we got a question in the chat.
Yeah, it's kind of detailed. I'll try to give the details perfectly. What is a landlord's rights if their tenant committed a crime on their property? A friend's neighbor was arrested for some really awful things, and the neighbors would like him booted, but don't know their options. And it is a very dangerous activity, given it was to children, and all the neighbors have kids.
Oof.
Okay, so
wow.
We got a landlord whose tenant's doing some bad things, and they want
Right.
the tenant out, basically.
Yeah.
I'm going to try and make it through. My allergies are going nuts.
No, you're good. You're
We'll
good.
let you out of here, Mo.
Yeah.
Oh my God, we're keeping him hostage.
Why are you forcing him to do this, Tom?
And we have that. And we have that drip behind the wall.
I can
with
answer
all
the
the
law
law
questions.
Oh, this is gonna be bad.
Mo, if you want to
Yeah.
leave, I can answer the rest of the law questions.
Yeah.
I feel like I've been
got
around
faith
you
in you.
enough. Okay.
Like we've been saying, we're injured on the go, just called mold, which is our new. And we're all coughing and
yeah,
dying. We have a
yeah.
leak behind the wall. We're gonna need you.
It's a mold
fine.
monster.
We're gonna need
We
you.
tell the guy, and he
wanted
doesn't care.
Sam told us yesterday to cut a hole in the drywall, and then Tom was right. Tom's like, if you do that, you'll let the monster out.
He did do that,
That's a
yeah.
quote.
Oh, yeah. Leaks every day now.
So
I wish that wasn't true.
I know.
But the listeners are going to put all these pieces
It's the
together when we're
tapping.
dead. Yeah, it's like, you can hear it. It's like,
And we're like, no. And then I
Sometimes it's fast.
I record it,
And
and
you
then I send it to the landlord, and
and then
nothing.
he's like, if it's not the blood dripping, it's fine. That's what he said.
it's good advice. So you have to look at the lease, basically. So a lot of leases will say if you're convicted of a crime, convicted of a felony, they can kick you out. If it violates any of the terms of the lease, I don't know exactly what the crime was that they were doing or how it was affecting
Sounds
people.
pretty bad.
Yeah.
It does sound pretty bad. So you have to basically say that they violated some provision of the lease in order to evict them, typically. Or that they were doing something illegal on the property. That's usually grounds to evict them as well. So you have to go back to the lease and hopefully it's a
You'll find
well-written lease.
something. Yeah.
But that's usually the place to start. If there's nothing in there, then you have to go to the Landlord-Tenant Act and see if there's any violation under statute that you can evict them for, essentially.
There is one other way, and I haven't done this in a minute, but I would be willing to dress up like a small girl and try to lure him into a crime where you could
Chris
then
Hansen style.
Yeah, then you could evict him. I haven't done it in a minute.
Mo, one last question. And I saw a BDM post about this. His neighbor's kids were on their playground or some raised structure, and they were just sitting there.
Oh my God.
looking
This is
at
my
him
nightmare.
over the fence, right? And
Yeah.
now-
He has a picture of it. It is the cutest picture because all you see is
Little
this
head.
tiny little. I mean, the tiniest little head and two little eyes looking. And he says the kid talks to him constantly, won't shut up.
Now
It's like
knows his
amazing.
name.
It's a little chirper up there, just chirping him good.
Yeah. And my sons, like I have a playground next to the fence, the neighbor's
But yours
fence.
is like right next to the fence, so I can jump on the bikini women that are in there sunbathing.
And my sons have been up there, and my neighbor will be working out in the backyard,
I've
and
seen
my
him.
sons will be watching them.
Yeah.
And then I yell at my sons, like, "Squint watching the neighbor, look the other way."
watch him.
No. And
like watching you work out, sir.
and I imagine he too feels uncomfortable about it.
Maybe he likes it. He's like, I can't wait to go home and let the kids watch me work out.
Yeah. So, what recourse do you have? Do you have an
You tell
expectation?
your kids to stop watching the guy work out.
Well, what if the neighbor, if it's my neighbor, wants to do something about it, or this BDM wants to?
Oh, you mean what if you get call the cops called in
I
because
don't
your
know.
kids are looking at him?
Do you have an expectation of privacy? I mean, how big of a structure could your neighbors have where they could be looking into your backyard? How does that work?
So, I mean, there was a case about a year ago where it was clearly a neighbor dispute. I think it started over, cutting trees down or something like that.
Uh-huh.
And the neighbor put up a a camera like 20 feet in the air directly aimed at the other neighbor's backyard.
Oh, yeah.
And it went to court, and basically eventually there was an injunction where the other neighbor had to take down the camera. They said, no, you can't do that. That's an invasion of your expectation of privacy. So
Okay.
I think it depends. It's more factually specific. It's going to depend on the extreme circumstances of each case. Now, I think your kids probably have a right to play in their backyard on a normal size play structure.
We like to watch men work out. And we have a right to
There you go.
watch that. We're the bad
constitutional
boys.
right.
That's what I
Nobody's
told
taking
him.
it. We like it better than iPad. Nobody's taking away us watching guys do CrossFit. No sirree. It's America.
So, I mean, that's probably permitted, but if you mount a camera aimed directly at your neighbor's yard and
Get
are
those ladies'
monitoring their
numbers up.
backyard the entire time, that's an invasion of your expectation of privacy.
Gotcha. So it has to be more egregious than the
I would
kid
think
playing
so.
on a playground
Yeah.
chirping at you. So
They don't talk,
Prisoner
though.
in
I
your
know
own
your
home.
kids don't say anything to them.
can you build as big of a fence as you want? Like
No.
No, there's a
Code enforcement.
There's,
Yeah.
what's the limit? I
I
guess
think
it
it's
depends.
6 feet.
I
like
think
in our
8 feet in
area.
the back, yeah, but anything over, I think
8
6.
feet in the back.
Yeah, you have to be able to see your house from the front.
I thought this
really?
was America. I want to build a 20-foot tall fence.
I remember my dad had it was like he got in a fight with our homeowners association in my mom's old home because he had his travel trailer on the side of the house, and they're like, sir, you have to have that behind a fence, and he had like a 6-foot privacy fence. So he went and he bought like another 6-foot privacy fence, and he had it professionally installed on top of the other privacy
Yep.
fence. So we had this ginormous monstrosity anybody that knew me growing up knew, like, if you looked to the right of my house, you would see my white trash
12-foot fence.
it was a white trash castle hiding our camper. And we had you remember it had double gates that would
Yeah,
open
yeah,
up.
yeah.
And
No,
the
I
only
know.
reason we did that is because they put a lien on our house.
Yeah.
The homeowners
HOAs are the worst.
Yeah, the homeowners association put a lien on our home, and my dad, in order to comply but also give him a middle finger, just doubled the fence. Not my proudest
Hilarious.
not my proudest thing, but yeah.
I guess we'll end with Castleberry Coyotes.
Don't make it
Oh,
God.
Castleberry Coyotes.
Mo, I know you don't deal with this in your part of the neighborhood.
He has
but,
coyotes. They're way different.
but in Castleberry, apparently there's a big coyote problem, or as we call them, coyotes.
Yeah.
And they're on Ring doorbells, and
You got coyotes?
and the neighbors are on Nextdoor app are complaining about them, and they're putting up videos of them wandering around. I guess they scavenge.
It ate my chihuahua's wet food, and it had her blood pressure meds in it.
So if this problem is known, and obviously on Nextdoor, and people are talking about it, right?
Yeah, smoke them out of the woods.
And the city of Castleberry doesn't do anything, and then
You got to take it upon yourself. Vigilante justice. You got to smoke them out of the woods.
and I have no idea if
You're
they're
coyote
protective,
commando.
But if the Castleberry coyotes eat my cat, or
You don't have a cat.
No, I know. I'm just saying I'm a cat lady. I feed the neighborhood cats, and they're all
Oh,
my
this might
pets.
help you out. You have a cat problem on your street. What you need to do is lure the coyotes to your street and let them feast.
How do I lure them? I'm like,
You need a flute.
Roadrunner?
You need a flute.
And then can I sue the city or whatever for not taking care of their infestation of coyotes?
I doubt it.
All right.
Yeah. All he wants to do is get his allergy meds and get the hell out of here. You're like, all right, let's talk about
You're
coyotes.
dying over here.
That was a stupid question, Mo, and I apologize. Of course you can't. And why
the best
are
thing
there
you've ever-
coyotes? Where do they live? They live
Yeah, do you
anywhere
know-
in the woods, just
do you
in
know where the
an
coyotes
acre
live?
woods.
How do we get rid of them?
They just chilling in there. Like if I walked in the woods, do I scare a bunch of coyotes away?
You know, we did
Are they?
we did the trash pickup, the side chicks trash pickup over the weekend, and there were sections of the woods that when I walked past it, there would be a Yeti cooler with ice cold beer in it.
Oh yeah, they party out there.
Yeah, and I'm just like, what is this? And then we open it up. There's ice cold. There's Miller Lights in there. There's snacks. There's some Jack's Links in there.
Why
There's
do
some
they-
chips. I'm like, who's living here? It's better than my house. This is awesome in here.
Sorry, Mo. We'll let you
You're
get your
good.
allergies taken care of. If you're injured on the go, just call Mo. justcallmo.com. And if you're injured in a motorcycle accident, call Mo. Indeed. Him and his team can help you, right?
Yep.
I have increased my riding. It is motorcycle weather, man.
It is. It's bike week this week.
But wear your helmet. I've seen the pictures. Cactus Steve is our correspondent. He's down in Daytona taking all the inappropriate photos. Steve, you got to ask, bro. You got to ask.
Well, if they're a promo girl and they're at a beer tub,
I feel like you point at the phone. You got to ask. Cam, a picture?
I mean, is there an expectation of privacy at the promo tub?
I don't know. We just talked about that.
Anyway, so whatever.
The chat says the cowboy can take care of your coyote problem.
Yeah. Me and the cowboy, we go into the Castleberry Woods, and
I think you're going to hold him back. I think you should just let him handle it.
Well, I go too. I have an old rusty revolver. I mean, the cowboy.
I want to play cowboy.
Blows his toes off with his own revolver.
I'll tuck that in my butt ass. We'll go to the woods. I'll bring my one wheel so I can travel fast.
Digital cowboy.
Chasing a coyote.
We got a digital cowboy.
That's the last we'll see of Tom.
He's
the cowboy will come out.
On, he's one wheeling around in the woods. Come here, coyotes.
Oh, you still got that XR, Mo?
I do.
All right, I'm in the market for.
I thought you wanted the GT.
Yeah, but
retro.
Yeah. And maybe I can make a deal with Mo. I'm still working on it.
No, Mo is no. I'm surprised Mo even comes here.
We'll be right back. Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. Our producer Sam is here. Hello, Sam.
Hello.
Prize wheels. We got to get one. But you don't want to build one. You want like a nice one, right?
Yeah. Professional prize wheel. What else could you get in
a light? Can we get the lights on it? The big
novelty
vaudeville, the big screw-in bulbs, the ones that you see at those fancy bars that make you the cocktails that take too long to make, where they burn the orange and the guy has on a leather apron.
Well, let's talk the business of marketing.
Okay.
Because we are partnering with Sanford for a lot of live events that they're doing. One being this huge, it's called the Sanford Food Truck Fiesta.
Okay.
It's the second Sunday of every month starting in April, right?
Okay.
So we're going to be sending Eric out there, and Eric's going to be setting up the tent, inflatable arm tube men, the whole thing. And for the purpose of promoting our show.
Okay.
Right?
Yes.
And now I don't know if these things do anything. Like, I'll be dead honest, but I imagine.
What do you mean, like boots on the ground, like us at the event?
Yeah. Like, I don't know how that translates to more listeners or more BDMs. There's probably no way to really quantify it, but just basic logic tells me.
I get a lot of, you guys are still doing that?
Yeah.
I get a lot of that, which that's not very promising.
No.
Like, seeing our logo and our tent at events, it does something positive, right? For exposure and marketing.
Does it do that to you with other businesses? Like, because you keep referencing. Okay, I'm glad to hear you say that. You keep referencing going to the villain event. And seeing the tents and seeing the prize wheel, this prize wheel that you saw at the villain event. And I too was at the villain event. And I promise you when I tell you I can't remember any of the tents I saw. I can barely remember seeing you and getting a coffee from Mark Villain.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, it's one of those things where it's been a tried and true thing for a long time, being at events and getting brand exposure at events and setting up tents at events and vendors at events.
And you give away like a keychain.
Giving away stuff,
koozie.
takeaways and things like that. I mean, it's been going on for so long, I have to imagine there's something to it, right? It can't be nothing. It's something. Because nothing
but
is
it
nothing.
Something enough to be a something? What if it's
just
something enough to be something to do, but it's not something enough to promote? What if it's something to do? Yeah, it's something. But as far as promotion goes and the return, it's a nothing.
Well, that's the gamble. And all marketing is really a gamble. Except for our marketing. If you want to market with us, it's 100% slam dunk.
Yeah, it really is. It's a boom shakalaka. We call it the boom shakalaka.
Yeah.
Call Tom and ask for the boom shakalaka.
Our sponsors make more than they pay, which is insane to happen in any other marketing.
We don't, but they get rich, our sponsors.
But anyway, so regardless, we're going through with it, and Eric's going to be out at events and handing out stuff, right?
Yes.
So
you're hoping this is going to generate more boom shakalaka slam dunks.
exposure. More people would like see us and like see us at events, and maybe that generates a couple more BDMs. More people get reminded to listen if they haven't listened. A lot of times this happens. I mean, we've had.
I still hate it.
We've had almost double the amount of current active BDMs at one time sign up for a BDM membership and then let their membership lapse, or like, so it tells me that people like they come and they go. This happens with everything,
for
right?
sure. That's how subscriptions go, man. That's the way of the game.
So maybe you're at an event, you see the Tom and Dan tent, you get something for free, a pair of glasses, a koozie, some other stuff that Eric's giving away.
I don't know what people like anymore, because it seems like everything that's like the old school giveaway is played. Everything.
Sunglasses are pretty decent, especially if they're nice. Like
Okay.
not the cheapo radio ones that used to get like plastic kids glasses, like branded sunglasses. I got some White Claw
I like
ones.
giving away Persols, Ray-Bans, Oakleys,
just because
Spy Optics.
having a cheap pair of like black Ray-Ban style plastic sunglasses.
And we learned our lesson. You guys don't want the one with the bottle openers because they snag your hair. You just want a cheap pair of regular Wayfarer sunglasses.
It's always nice, especially for free, to have in your car in case like you forget your sunglasses. It's just
in
like
your glove box.
that. It feels like that's worth it. A koozie, I guess they're a dime a dozen, but it's like if you have a
Where are we at on
beer-
koozie as a society? Is it still okay?
Yeah. I mean, you still
Some people collect them.
Okay.
like I have
Keychains. People don't use keychains anymore, right? Or do they?
Depends.
I hope so, because we got some.
Yeah.
So anyway,
We just got some new ones yesterday.
Oops. Not good at marketing.
back to prize wheel, right? So
Yeah, but the chat room is looking for us. I've been looking. Sam's been looking. Dude, do you understand how expensive these
Yeah,
prize wheels are?
I did not realize they were that pricey.
God almighty.
what are you
They're
talking
like $3,000.
No, I saw one for $250. Right?
No,
like $250.
We want an automated
I mean,
one.
I can get you one for $80 on Amazon. It's not that big, though.
No,
No, we want a big one. It's got to be
Not
like
too big.
4 feet in diameter.
Eric has to lug it out there and
Let's get the vertical one, like
Let's get a high strike.
Ooh, high strike would be dope.
No, you can, like test your strength, and then
Yeah.
wherever
Let's
you,
get a-
if you hit the bell, you get the hat.
Let's get
Yeah.
a golden tee. And just set it out there with a full generator, snow cone machine. Let's
Everything.
do something
Dunk
great.
tank.
What can we get out there that people want? Like people prize wheel. That's stupid. They want to give them something good. Get a Mortal Kombat video game machine, unlimited plays. Form a line right here, Tom and Dan. Who's giving you unlimited Mortal Kombat all day? Tom and Dan are. Old Mortal Kombat, the whole first generation.
Well, that goes back to
Pinball machine.
Let's talk
Could
about
borrow one from Hourglass.
So clunky and hard to drag around. Poor Eric sweating his balls off trying to set this thing up.
Well, it goes back to the old tent hints or hits that we used to do at the radio station, where basically they set up the tent, they set up a table full of garbage, and then you stand there and people come and meander through the garbage and then like
Hey,
look
what you
through,
got here?
pick up the
You got a copy of What Women Want, Mel Gibson. That's good. That's good.
you look at then you look at it and discuss. You put it back down. It's free. You don't even take it.
No, you don't take
look
it.
at it and you put it back, and then you
What's
walk
this,
away,
a
right?
pass to see Seth Rogen, the Green Hornet.
And it does nothing for anybody. So my whole thing is that if you had a prize wheel that people can walk over to and spin, and then it lands on a koozie or sunglasses or whatever the hell, and maybe
It's interactive.
You put some good things on there. People want to spend it and then take the item instead. They end up walking
just
by our
walking
tent.
by. You're
Yeah,
right.
because they don't know what it is, and they're like, they see a Tom and Dan tent, they're like, what's that? The stuff may be for sale. The guy behind the counter is
okay, I
gonna,
see what you're saying.
Gonna be like, hey, you want to buy this? And it's awkward, so I'm just gonna
it's
walk
an expensive
I mean,
icebreaker.
we could steal Mo's ideas and just give out like useful things like sanitizer, sunscreen, lip balm. Like he has all that stuff.
I know he's got more money than
That's
us.
true.
Yeah, he
Because
does.
he can get-
He can give out like Walgreens
Yeah.
prizes. Oh, here's a nail polish. Oh, here's a condom. Here's a
Yeah,
COVID test
sanitizer.
kit.
Ooh, Tom and Dan condoms. We tried that.
Yeah,
at
we
Fairvilla.
did try that.
we still have. I think they're still
None
there.
of our listeners use condoms.
I
Only
know.
Butler did. Didn't work.
I gave them all to him. I said, Godspeed, my friend.
So is there anything else besides the prize wheel
Toothpaste.
that like
Toothbrush. Let's do what dentists do. Toothbrush, maybe a finger monster.
Well, the toothbrush thing, it makes sense. You're a dentist. You're giving out free toothbrushes.
Well, we gave away earbuds one time,
We
but they were
did.
expensive and they were crappy.
The earbuds themselves were crappy, but the actual holder, they looked cool.
Yeah, the
They
case
just
was
weren't
cool.
great.
We sold those. We didn't give them
No,
away.
we did. No, we gave them away.
We gave 'em
Yeah,
away?
It was Johnny's event. I was handing them
Yeah,
out.
it was a BDM prize.
Yeah, it was a BDM
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, but that was for BDMs that were paying.
We've done everything, dude. We've
Well,
done everything.
This is a free event, and this is just for promotion.
Somebody said Bic lighters in the chat room. We've done
I
Bic
have those.
lighters. Yeah.
I got some burn pest lighters if you need some.
Yeah,
let me
we
know.
did lighters, Tom and Dan, but then we couldn't ship them anymore. We could give them out at
Right,
events.
I won't ship them.
We can't ship them.
Maybe lighter is a good idea, especially for like hurricane party. People needed a good lighter, and then it has like Tom and Dan brand on it.
we
and
bought
you
Bic.
carry it around.
We bought white Bic lighters.
They're expensive. They're like
They are.
$1.50.
You gotta
or
get
something.
the cheapos.
No, I don't like the crickets. Those are terrible.
Oh.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. It's all about cost. If we're giving them out for
give
free.
them the Bic. Give them the good one, man.
Well, it's free.
No,
and
I don't want your the one with the metal piece falls off and then you get a blowtorch.
Yeah,
I don't
you
want
get
that.
the crack flame.
What actually would make someone check our show out? Or
$1. You do that move that Nielsen does. We hand them an envelope. It's got one crisp dollar bill in it. It's
And
like,
you
give us a try.
force them to download one episode
Yeah.
for the dollar.
Yeah. Give us a try. $1.
Or maybe we have something where we say like download our app and then have one of these free items, and it could be a lighter and some other higher quality.
Oh, we make them do something.
Yeah. It's like show me you have the Tom and Dan app, and then you can get one of these things.
You can get a teddy bear with a Tom and Dan T-shirt on it. Or spin the prize wheel for a koozie. This is super complicated. I like it.
I said I'd never do a prize wheel. It's so corny.
Well, wait a minute.
Why are you doing it then?
Why are you,
Because it.
what does Eric want to do? Does he have any?
Well-
Have you even asked him if he wants to? He may be. Anti-prize wheel.
Well, we're paying. It doesn't really matter what
he
Eric
may.
wants to do. I'm just saying. I mean, we're paying him
if
to
I
do
were
this.
Eric, I wouldn't put it up. I'd go on the thing, and then when I'd show up, I'll leave the prize wheel in there. It's not cool.
Well, that's what
I'm not putting the prize wheel up. This dumb Tom asked me to do it.
That's what the radio station we used to do at the radio station. The curmudgeon.
Sometimes I wouldn't set the table up. I'm like, don't set the table up.
Oh yeah. Remember they want us to set the PA up and play rural radio
Yeah,
out
I'm like,
loud.
oh,
I'm
God.
like, don't do that.
Yeah, like, don't do that.
I would tell the
I'm like,
promo
what's
person
playing right
no
now?
one matters.
And they're like, it's a paid show. I'm like, oh, don't play it. Do we have any CDs? What do we got in there? Oh,
just don't play anything.
Yeah.
It's like this is a
let's just sit here in
2-hour time
silence till
kill.
it's over.
Yeah.
I'm leaving 15 minutes early.
So anyway, I don't know what exactly is the best idea, but there's something better than what we're doing now.
Okay.
And that's
Fair
all
enough.
I'm saying.
You got
And-
an email, Sam?
Sure.
Let's jump into some emails here.
Mr. Beast. Hey, Tom, Dan, and Sam. I am bored at work again, so I thought I would send you another email to make it look like I'm working. You guys have talked about Mr. Beast a few times and have kind of essed on him, and I wanted to come in his defense a little. When I first saw one of his videos a few years ago, I didn't get it. Dan, we are the same age, so I figured it was an age thing, screams an old man voice. These young kids today. I thought for sure he was full of it. How can he possibly be giving away all this stuff? But I kept finding myself watching. The dude is legit. He makes tons of money from sponsorships and gives away most of it. He's given lots to his friends and lots to random people, but 2 years or so ago, he started trying to make a difference in the world. He has given multiple fully furnished houses to homeless people or people that are down on their luck. He has bought all the cars at a small car dealership multiple times and then gave the cars away. He buys out grocery stores and clothing stores of everything that they have and then gives that stuff to homeless shelters and food banks. He has now even opened up his own food bank and started a channel called Beast Philanthropy that's all about his charity work.
That's great.
I get it. The guy has a very punchable face. I think he understands that too, but he's doing good things for this world. Anyways, I don't really care
That's
that
great.
much. Like I said, I just need to look like I'm working.
No, I mean,
Also, I heard he was on Rogan this week.
Yeah, I'm not anti the guy really. It's just
No.
I'm not into his videos. I mean, like I don't know the guy, so I
Yeah.
don't like his teeth. I look at his teeth, I'm like, oh god, I hate
It's
your teeth.
the
But
content.
he's fine.
Yeah.
He's fine.
Also, the content I think is for a younger demo right? I mean, we could all say
think
that.
so,
You know, it's like
yeah.
this content's probably not for 40 plus. Although I do watch it every once in a while. It goes through TikTok.
I've never watched one of his videos.
I never watched the whole thing in the TikTok version, or super condensed and just like a little highlight. So I imagine he probably has longer YouTube videos and there's longer content out there. And we're not hating on him. We're just questioning how is giving away all this stuff a business move? You know what's interesting? And this is funny, and this is a sign of the times of generation. So I saw on TikTok Steve-O sitting in some sort of, it looked like an RV studio, but he was sitting in some sort of podcast studio, and the host was some sort of newer podcaster or social media influencer. I had no idea who he was.
Gotcha.
And Steve-O was talking to him about, apparently this guy was kind of probably emulating Mr. Beast with the amount of stuff he gives away, and he's just throwing away tens of thousands of dollars in different ridiculous ways as content, right? Yeah. Which is seemingly what Mr. Beast is doing and a lot of other content providers.
Sure,
right?
yeah, it's like a style of video now.
And Steve-O was asking him, and there was a smart question. He's like, hey, I just want to know, is there a plan to this? Do you have a business plan with I'll give away this much as part of my content, but it'll make me back more? I'm like, or is this a totally reckless thing? Or because Steve-O was like, I'm concerned that you're giving away too much of your money and you're not saving for the future. Steve-O was talking sense. Yeah. Steve-O was talking sense into this new 22-year-old
what was the guy saying?
Influencer.
Just out of curiosity.
Saying something dumb, or at least dumb to me, where he's like, I just believe in myself and I'll just bet on myself.
As long as I believe in myself, yeah.
And then he's like, so I don't care how much money I'll give away because
I'm on a winning streak.
If 10 years from now I look and this is a mistake, then I failed because that's how much I believe in myself. I'm betting on myself. And there was no real true answer that led me to believe
toxic positivity answer. Moving on. All right.
And then I was like, well, now I'm sure Mr. Beast is different because the guy's an obviously brilliant businessman through some of his other business ventures.
Sure.
But me and Daniel were just questioning, is it possible that he is making so much money that giving away millions a year is part of the plan, or is it a lot more willy-nilly than we think, or whatever?
I think it's a little bit of both, I bet.
Yeah, it's there's no exact, plan. I'll give out $3 million this year, but I'll make back $4 million.
Yeah, because he may not even know how his little experiments are going to go. Who knows?
But I would imagine that he's got a huge team and accountants and managers now, and other people that are salespeople and.
I'll have to listen to him on Rogan. I think that'll answer a lot of questions. I just haven't had time to listen to anything.
I question the content, and this is an old man thing, but. When I'm listening to audio content or whatever, I like to learn something, right? I like interesting conversation.
Sure.
I like,
and you don't think that Mr. Beast is interesting?
Well, it's.
I think it could be, but I understand what you mean.
It's all game show style, who can win this Lamborghini, and how many Orbeez can I do in this? So, a lot of just kind of fluff content,
sure.
Which I'm not necessarily interested in. I like information or interesting stories. That kind of thing.
I kind of checked out after watching the boxing videos where he was buying, unboxing videos rather, not punching people. It was more the crates, the loot crates that he was buying, the massive ones. He was buying this crate's for $10,000, this crate's for $100,000, and then they'd open up and see what's inside of it. And it was just so disgustingly opulent and weird that I'm just I don't need to watch that.
To me, that's a nothing.
Yeah.
What am I getting out of watching some guy unbox some opulent
something
gift?
I can never afford?
No, it wasn't a jealousy, though. It was more of a disgust. To me, it was more of because he seemed to not care. He's opening a crate that he purchased, a wooden crate that he purchased overseas for $100,000, and seemingly he had no... he didn't care at all about what was in it, what value it'd have, and what he purchased and what he was going to do with it later. And to me, I just found that attitude kind of weird. The
waste of it all.
Yeah, it seemed wasteful. It seemed weird. And I could be totally wrong on that, but I'm just going on what I saw, and I was like, ew, that's yuck. That's kind of gross.
And he could be donating all that stuff, and who knows if he actually bought it or it was given to him as promotion.
Yeah,
because
that happens a lot.
There's a lot of that stuff. I mean, all the stuff on the old school game shows were all donated. In fact, not even donated, but the companies paid for them to give away these prizes as promotion. So there could be companies celebrities that are paying him to give away something super expensive as promotion for that item or whatever because his audience is so big.
Somebody in the chat room says, I could be wrong, but my 7-year-old watched one recently and he gave away an island, but the person who won the island couldn't afford the taxes. I don't know if that's true or not.
Well, most people, yeah, of course they couldn't because you can't just give, you know how many, like you give someone a $1 million island and just the property taxes in the Bahamas they couldn't afford, so you just sell it immediately. So essentially they just get the cash, or he's offering some deal where like he'll just give them a cash equivalent or whatever minus the taxes or whatever. He'll take a payout of
where does
half
it
the
end
money.
or does it?
I don't know. Well, it's interesting on how long this can survive or this kind of content can survive. And there's no like history of these content providers failing after a certain amount of time for us to even know. Like same thing with our show we talked about forever. Like how long can podcasts go for before they eventually die out? The answer being, I guess, as long as the owners or the creators want to keep doing it.
Yeah.
Now, there'll probably be a peak of how much potential advertising or revenue they can make. And then the rest is like, well, okay, how long do you want to continue to do this for how much money?
Right.
I mean, people do it for free. I mean, celebrities are now doing podcasts for free and content for free. So I don't know. But like Mr. Beast, I imagine he could do this forever or for the entirety of his career. But maybe there's a arc that either has happened or hasn't happened yet.
Well, and he'll
but
change as a human and through age and everything else too, right? Like his interest will change and
old Mr. Beast. I've had him at 45.
That sounds terrible, by the way. Old Mr. Beast. I hope he doesn't go by that.
But you're right. He'll at one point he may be conservative Beast at 52.
Yeah, you never know where he's gonna go. Yeah,
I don't know. It's interesting. We'll see it play out though. Like we'll see if these things are maybe the trends will change. Like people's consumption of social media will become more small, and the fact that like TikTok will be too long for people, and there's something else, a new social media will come that's even shorter.
Where the trends will go.
Yeah, it was like these TikTok videos are too long. I want my information in 10-second spurts. Something like that.
It feels so good to get that. There it is.
Or the pendulum swings back, and we want longer form, more quality information. I don't know. Because I feel like I think maybe what we're doing is antiquated to a certain extent.
Oh, yeah.
Like we're doing too long form shows.
100%.
And people don't who's got time to listen to a 3-hour podcast?
The beauty, though, that is one of the only ways, though, that radio has succeeded is that it is a pop-in media form. We bag on radio a lot, but I'll give it some kudos here in the fact that, it's casual in the idea that you can pop in, pop out.
It's
and
the
if
original.
You missed something.
It's the original Instagram story, right? Right. If you're not listening to it, it doesn't exist after.
Correct.
Like if you listen to it live, and then it's gone. Although they all have podcasts because they're all trying to catch up to So
yeah, but if you had the chance of listening live and going back to yesterday's broadcast, for me, now this is just for me, I'm going to go live. I'll just see what they're doing now. I don't need to catch up.
Yeah.
That's just me though.
Although you'd be listening live through something like Twitch or another platform rather than terrestrial radio. No,
Unless I'm in the car, but even then I'm probably streaming.
Through your phone, yeah. So although I go back to who cares if it's live? What are they doing? Breaking news or is it a sporting event? If it's not, then who the hell cares?
Well, sometimes it's just about loneliness, and you'll never understand that.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just about being like that person's working and doing their job while I'm doing and working my job. So there is a connection there that we're doing it live.
It's unexplained. Yeah.
You want to do another email? Let's do one more.
It did look like the guy that won that island was one of his crew, like his friends or whatever, and he ended up selling the island.
Okay.
I think maybe because he couldn't afford the taxes.
Good for him.
So at least he got some money out of it.
Yeah, but then also it's like he gave it away to someone one of his own employees. That's
right.
Weird.
Yeah.
So how does that benefit his audience?
Well, he had two of his friends on the island, like doing like a
challenge.
A challenge, and whoever.
Oh man.
Yeah.
I love how
just not
kids love a damn challenge, right? But they're not. I mean,
Unless you challenge them.
This is dumb old man though. But man, they love every challenge except real challenges.
And again, if I were like, I'm not telling Mr. Beast how to run his,
I don't
his
think you
company
need to
here.
because he's doing quite well.
He is,
Yeah.
but could he be doing better? Like all this money he's giving away or wasting. Could it be better spent building his company?
Maybe it is, and we don't know.
Yeah, I think he's already got so many other investments and stuff. Like this is like literally throwaway money for him.
I think we think that,
Yep.
but we don't understand the scope of how much money he's bringing in.
Yeah, but any company shouldn't have throwaway money. Every dollar should be allocated
Only
towards
if your business is throwaway money, though.
Right.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
is the business model.
You know, I mean,
Is throwing away money?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're trying to argue against it with using our tried and true handbook of this is the way business is done. It's like no, you can do business if your job is throwing away money, then you have to throw it away in order to make more of it, right? If he's not throwing away that money, he's not making
There's
any
no
videos.
show.
Then
Yeah,
that's the
his whole
content.
And
content.
that's it. So without that, he's nothing.
Yeah. It's all interesting.
We're throwing away money on prize wheels.
Yeah. Well, that's that.
Yeah.
I'm asking if that's a investment we should make if it's worth it.
Let's
if I was
ask Mr. Beast.
If I was Mr. Beast, I'd just be buying the most. I'd be buying the Price is Right prize wheel.
Oh yeah, the real one.
And then giving it away at every. You know what I'm saying? They're just wasting money, but then that's the content. Hence,
Correct.
All right.
Yeah. You got it?
Okay.
Next email.
Future of games and lap steel guitar.
Oh.
I've got a tidbit of info for Tom and one for Dan. First, Tom was asking about the future of game consoles, and it's actually no consoles. Cloud gaming is already a thing, and it'll only get better. Right now, you can get a Google Stadia controller, pair out to your Chromecast or Google TV, and play games wholly over the internet. As for Dan's love of steel guitar, check out the American roots blues country duo Lark and Poe. It's two sisters who are equally amazing, one on guitar and vocals and the other on lap steel. Here's a link to one of the songs if you want to check it out.
Very cool. Much appreciated. Where are we at with the Fortnite debate? Man, that's a hot topic. A lot of dads weighing in, a lot of moms too, saying that they think you're okay. If
They
you
say
wanted
as long as you play with them,
yeah,
it's fine.
as long as you're playing with them, everybody's
and limit the chat.
seeming to say that that it could be really fun for you.
That's the emails I got, and people are like, "Oh, you should play with them, play with them." Here's the problem: is I can't play with them all day,
Right.
or every day.
Well, they get an hour, right?
Yeah, but I can't play with them an hour every single day.
It's too much.
Do they get an hour a day?
Hour a day.
Oh.
And then, so they're going to always be, because I imagine if we do it one time,
Yeah,
they're going
I
to
see
be
what you're saying.
hounding us, like, play Fortnite with us, and then it's going to
Oh, it'll
become,
be,
Well,
Yeah.
what if you do like
Fights.
Fortnite Fridays? So you only do it on a Friday.
Oh, okay, like it's a specialty.
Yeah.
That's not a bad idea, Sam.
yeah, well, 6 and 7
Naturally,
year olds,
pretty good at this stuff.
don't, like, they will be hounding us for other days constantly forever.
Fortnite
If
Monday,
we-
Fortnite Tuesday,
Yeah, like,
please.
can we play Fortnite this week? And then, like, I'm going to break at one point, and they'd be like, fine, you can play it. I'll play it with you next time.
Sounds like a you discipline problem.
Yeah. That's most of the world is.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you could write down rules and they'll look perfect on paper, but actually
Enforcing
executing them,
them. Oh, it's hard.
yeah, that's where like an idea. Ideas are great. Yeah,
I mean,
implementing
make
the
a-
idea.
I mean, they follow a curriculum at school and rules at school. Do they not? No rules at home. No rules besides the 1 hour. They follow the 1 hour day.
No, he's not.
I'm sure they're
worried.
hounding you for more hours.
He's
so.
not worried
They
about them
ask, but
going
It's
against
just annoying.
them. Yes.
Yeah.
See that? Yeah, that's the difference. Is they're gonna have Fortnite Fridays and it'll be fine and they'll never break it and they'll not touch it or do it and they're not gonna do anything nefarious behind his back. But they are going to ask
Constantly.
him 3,000 times a day, every minute of the day. And then Tommy's going to do it, and then Max is going to, and then they're going to do it together, and then it's just going to wear you down. I get it.
And they're going to be constantly disappointed
Yeah.
that I say no every time,
Yeah.
and then
Or
it's
would
going
they
to be.
just be excited they get to play with Dad once a week?
No, it doesn't work like that.
Well, they will be excited on Fortnite Fridays, but then they'll be disappointed on regular
other
Saturday,
day.
and then they'll just be like,
Nah,
Fortnite.
they'll be fine.
It's just how it because their kids aren't disciplined and kids don't like. And I know this is part of teaching them that, but 6 and 7 year olds, it's hard for them to hold like
Different time,
give
man. This
restraint.
would not hold up in my dad's household.
Yeah. Like, I mean,
My dad never played a game with me either, though. So
Yeah, you know, my dad didn't really either. I mean, he'd look and see what I was playing.
Yeah.
He'd watch for a little bit, but not his bag. email, please.
Like,
oh.
But then also, like, they'll be super excited, and I would be excited to play Fortnite with them and be happy. But I worry that once I allow them, then it's going to be a nonstop. Can we play for the next 5
I think it
years
will be, yeah.
until they can play by themselves? Which I'm too weak
Be
and
easier
too
to
undisciplined.
wait. Yeah,
I'll be 2 months of being hassled, and I'll finally just play whatever you're
you're
busy.
right. You're right. You got to be careful how you introduce it.
It's also hard to be a good disciplinarian. Like, it takes work, and a lot of people think it's easy, where you're just like, yeah, just tell them no, and then that's it. And who cares? Like, easy. And it's like, not that easy. Like,
yeah, it doesn't really work like that.
They're constantly, asking for it,
or they'll reason with you. Sometimes they have like actual
Yeah.
like definitive reasoning for why this would be good. Like Maisie will hit me with well, I've got dance on Saturday, so it would be actually smart to give me my iPad now because I'm not going to get it on Saturday, and that's not fair because that means I'm only getting one day. And I'm like, oh my god, you make a good point.
Yeah, you bring up a good. Yeah, and then it's like, hey, I did this. Can we have Fortnite for half an hour? We won't get on the chat. You let us. You played it. It's not that bad. And then I'm like, it wasn't that bad.
And then you get pulled into
Talk
it.
a minute.
Yeah.
And so maybe I just don't do any of this until a couple of years.
That
or
makes sense.
A
Yeah,
year.
push it away.
6 and 7, maybe 7 and 8. I don't know.
Yeah, you got a year. They'll see you in a year. It's like going to the butt doctor. See you in a year.
2 weeks, I'll have it. Okay.
Changes in audio acceptance. Hey, Tom, Dan, and Sam. After hearing you all talk about how podcasting in 2022 has changed since you started in 2011, as well as how comedians doing press is never going back to how it was, I wanted to get your thoughts on changes in audio acceptance. The pandemic forced both content producers and content consumers to accept virtual interviews over Zoom in place of in-person interviews. Hell, it's even replaced telephone interviews. Because it was a pandemic, we as consumers accepted this, even though the quality of the interview is noticeably worse from an audio perspective and from an interview perspective with things like delays in the conversation. We understood this was necessary if we still wanted to hear the interviews. What I think some content producers, radio, TV stations, etc., believe is that we as consumers will just accept the decline in audio quality, and those producers will continue to prefer the convenience of Zoom interviews. I, as a consumer, hate that because the conversation is more organic, and the quality of audio is way better when people are in the same studio.
That's true.
Now, will enough consumers do something, such as fast forward through interviews, enough to force a change back to in-person interviews? I doubt it. But it is sad to think that we've kind of taken a step backward in quality in exchange for convenience. I'd love to get audio perfectionist Dan and Sam, as well as businessman Tom's perspective on the shift.
I mean, I don't think it's going back. I wish, though, that I hope what he's saying is kind of true. I hope there's a little bit of pushback so we can, keep in-studio interviews and phone interviews. I mean, the Zoom interviews are fine, and if it gives us the ability to interview somebody that, we would have never had the opportunity to interview before Zoom, then I'm all for it. But like Les Stroud, we had Les Stroud on. We've had multiple comedians that we probably wouldn't get.
If they have like a nice mic, I mean, look at Tuttle. Like, Tuttle sounds perfect. He sounds like he's in
I was editing that
studio.
yesterday, and I'm like, it sounds like he's here.
Yeah, and Tuttle's not rich.
Good internet. Yeah, he's got decent internet. He's got a good microphone.
People just need to do a little bit of research.
Yeah, and
I think it will get better.
I imagine that more people will at least get setups like Tuttle that is inexpensive, that therefore their interviews sound like they're in studio. That will help. But on the business side, to answer this guy's question, the problem is that your listening audience, if you go to big media, right?
Yeah.
The way that they even collect the data from their listening audience is antiquated and old and ridiculous, right? And also, they're making all their money through advertisers, and their advertisers aren't analyzing the numbers each week and seeing, there are like shows that if you're number one that matters or blah blah blah, but for the most part, like they're not like, oh, the listening numbers were down this month, so I'm paying you less. They're under contracts, like, so it's not going to affect them monetarily,
Right.
which usually money moves the needle
Sure.
more than anything. So if it doesn't affect them monetarily, they have no motivation to change.
Correct.
And so if their audio quality's down and it doesn't affect them monetarily, they're moving forward.
they're not
It
gonna
doesn't
do
matter.
anything, yeah.
And then even for us, it's like hard to even tell whether a bad audio interview affects us that much or makes people turn the audio interview off or whatever. Over enough time, I imagine people will move on to something different because they can't stand listening to bad audio.
True.
That's happened to me before.
Well, that's why we try to make our audio decent, at least decent.
Yeah.
At the very least.
But then, even further, we've shifted towards a environment of infinite information and infinite shows and infinite content and stuff where it's everybody's just putting stuff out as fast as possible,
Yeah.
moving on
It's
to the
crazy.
next thing. So I imagine since no show is special and no show is considered like, oh, I'm going to put a lot of time and effort to make this sound perfect because I just got to do something tomorrow anyway,
Yeah.
that it's just going to be degraded to the point of there's going to be bad audio
Now,
mixed
there are
in with
some,
good audio. I don't know.
the ones like Serial, the one like I'll just name that one. There are some
Super
shows-
produced.
I enjoy those. Gimlet Media very early on years ago had started doing like almost like these podcasts where it was almost like you were listening to a sitcom or a documentary or something. I really enjoyed those. Dan Carlin's Hardcore History. The ones where it seems
It's always it always sucks when you find a really good podcast where like the person, like I'm listening to one where it's an investigative reporter that's doing the Murdoch murders.
yeah.
Which is a super crazy story, by the way. But it's like she's like, look, it's just me and my husband. I'm not a podcaster. I'm an investigative journalist, and I just want to get this story out here. Like, so like the audio's not great. It's not terrible. I've heard worse, but it's like, man, this would be so much better if you had some money behind this to like, or if you knew what you were doing to produce it better. She's just sitting at her kitchen table. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and then there are the companies that know that have gone in and found the person.
I'm sure that's going to happen soon.
There are some guys that are able to pull it off, like, and you'll be surprised because there's smaller companies where they have like a really good audio engineer, and they'll set up like a guy in a shack. Let's just, for instance, it's just like a farmer and he's doing like a podcast about farm equipment or the history of tractors, and they'll set it up like in his barn or whatever, and the audio is so good you can hear every creak, you can hear the dust on the floor. It's so good, and they're just throwing all of that beautiful microphone NPR recording knowledge in the field, real world live audio recording knowledge. It's crazy good, man. I love those kind of shows.
And also the good thing is, as technology progresses, microphones will be better quality, iPhone audio will be better, and we'll so that's only getting better. So just through technology change, audio will get better.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not going to be real bad for that much longer. You know what I'm saying?
It's like growing into
the
your
person
clothes,
has to
right?
care too,
Yeah.
right? Because like
Yeah.
notoriously, Bill Burr had the absolute worst audio quality, and it's not even good now.
Doesn't even care.
Yeah, he would just record it into a phone.
That's his thing.
And released it.
Yeah.
It's like they have to care about the audio quality too.
But then once iPhone gets a podcast app, you can spend $34.99 on, and
it does it for you.
And then it compresses your audio, and then lets you call up people and do interviews with them, like all through the app, and then it'll just convert it to the
It's getting
ease
there.
and technology.
Yeah, it's getting there.
And maybe you have to plug in a $30 external mic to the phone, and that's it. I mean,
Right.
you could already do that.
Yeah, you can do that now.
Yeah.
But so it'll just get easier and easier, and quality will get better and better. But then as that gets easier and easier and better, more content will be spilled out there.
But it has to level out. It's like growing out of your clothing, right? Like you're going to get some bad audio because you're going to have to wear high waters for a little while. You know what I mean? In that period where you're still getting your feet wet, even though the quality of the equipment and the programs, the software you're using are fantastic, you're not good. And then you have to, that learning curve, you catch up, and then everybody levels off, and we get pretty decent audio until new stuff is put out there, and then, like you said, it'll spill back over with garbage again.
I'm glad you brought this up because we'll end with this. So Fat Mike from No Effects.
Have you checked it out?
Started doing a podcast.
Did you listen to it?
I've only seen clips on social media. I think on TikTok or whatever.
He gets some famous guests, man.
He does get famous guests.
Well, he's famous. We forget how blank and famous that guy is.
He stole my logo.
Yeah, he really did. The more I look at it,
so damn close.
And the more I look at it, like at first somebody had talked me out of it. They're like, that doesn't look like Sam's logo. And I'm like, yeah, it doesn't look like Sam's logo. Now it looks like every time I see it, I get mad.
And he is a smart dude.
He is very smart.
Here's the problem, and no one's really brought this up, but it's super logical to me. But anyway, so all these people have started podcasts, Fat Mike and everybody else, and everybody. Comedians now, certain comedians, they have some experience maybe with talk radio.
Sure.
The point being is like Fat Mike. He's a great punk rock frontman, right? Been doing it for a long time,
many years.
But he's not a podcaster or talk radio enthusiast, or he hasn't been practicing. He doesn't have any reps.
I thought he hated podcast and radio, actually. So when he was doing a podcast, I was like, why is this guy doing a podcast? I think he would hate me.
So when I'm watching it, it's amateur hour. As far as being a host and being
I got you. Yeah. This goes back to your reps.
Talk radio, because he has no reps doing it. So when I'm watching it, it's a little disjointed.
What if he surprises you, though?
I watched it and looked amateur hour. You know, not that I'm saying I'm better. Well, I am saying I'm better than Fat Mike at.
I agree.
At podcasting and at talk radio, if you want to put that in. So is Daniel, so is Samantha, because we have the reps, right? And he's better at a lot of things than I am,
but
because by playing bass and being a punk rock and owning a record label. All the ones he knows how to do, he's better than me at.
Yes.
So when he tries to do podcasting or these shows, it shows that he's an amateur with it, and it's not that the audio quality's fine. Everything, he gets great guests.
I haven't heard anything
good. The
good.
flow of the show is not that good.
Gotcha.
He can have conversations with other punk rockers about it, and it's interesting, but as far as putting together a complete show,
not the same.
He doesn't have the reps.
Gotcha.
And a lot of people don't have the reps, and so it's going to show, and it's kind of diluting the art of what we're doing. Because,
I like that argument.
Well, imagine if punk rock is as popular as podcast and everybody just started a punk rock band, how much garbage would be out there and how pissed off he'd be.
Well, but
right?
But are we supposed to be pissed off, or are we supposed to be confident enough in what we do
I'm
to think that it wouldn't matter? But no, I'm with you.
Yeah.
Comedians have done the same thing too. Like, we're not comedians. You know, when we started podcasting, we started a podcast.
When I went to go see Greg Fitzsimmons like 4 years ago or something, and I had a Tom and Dan shirt on, and he was asking me about it, and I was telling him that I was on the podcast too, and he's like, "Oh, so you're a comedian?" And I was like, "No."
Yeah,
because he's a comedian with a podcast,
and every comedian he knows
think
has
they have a podcast.
Yeah, we're weirdos.
Now, certain comedians have had enough years of reps that they've actually gotten.
Oh, Mark Maron's like one of the best podcasters,
and it's not like what we're doing is hard. And these guys are going to be way more talented than I am, or funny and whatever, and they could get better than I am at it faster, but nothing will substitute reps. And if we have 10,000 hours of reps of doing shows, we're going to be better because there's a lot more tiny little details in putting together a quality program than a lot of people even realize. And a lot of it comes with just minute, tiny things that we're changing or we're recognizing, we're knowing
what not to do sometimes. Knowing what to, because there are plenty of times when I know that the thing that's going to come out of my mouth is either going to stop everything we're doing, or I can choose to, you know what I mean? Like, you don't necessarily want to be throwing out the stop sticks all the time and killing the conversation.
Of course. Yeah. There's improv involved, but there's also more in this particular genre involved.
Does Fat Mike have a live feed on his podcast, or is it all pre-recorded?
Yeah, I don't know.
I have no idea.
I don't even know where to find it. That I'd like to watch,
feel like
but
whoever's because I don't think he's in charge of it himself, but they probably would because he's said some things that have gotten him in some hot water live at his shows.
Pretty hard, I bet.
Yeah. I'm gonna look into it. Yeah. I'm gonna give it a shot. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna like it, but I'm gonna try.
I'll give it a shot too. I haven't had time.
I know I don't have time
to listen to anything. I got friends that have podcasts. Peter, all these people I know that I'd love to list their podcasts. Sorry, guys, I got no time.
Well, that's the thing. Is too much out there. Anyway, let's take a quick break. We'll be right back with more Corporate Time. Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. Samantha, our producer's here. Hello, Sam.
Hola.
Very good to see you. And we have a very special guest, this gentleman.
Before we introduce our guest, no, I just wanted to promote this weekend, St. Patrick's Day party. It's on Saturday.
Yes.
It's downtown Melbourne. And if you're looking for something to do,
Food
it's
trucks.
free.
Yeah.
Food trucks, vendors, and they've got stuff all day long.
A fun run, a parade.
Yeah, it's literally starting at 6:30 a.m.
If you've never heard of the Elevators, if you've ever heard them play, fantastic reggae band you can check out. All free. Awesome.
They got Irish dancers. They got
Bagpipes.
a bunch of different activities. Plus, Eric Merchman will be out there.
Yep.
And if you want some free Tom and Dan gear, he's been giving out promo items and then a couple of hats and things for sale. But it's all happening at downtown Melbourne, so you could check that out.
Indeed. Swing by there and say hi to Eric. He will be out there. You ready, buddy?
Let's do it.
All right.
Jack! Nerds! Jack! Nerds! Jack! Nerds!
Jock, nerd, jock, nerd.
Jack!
It's Nerd Jock with EJ. What's going on, EJ?
Hi, nothing much. Did you get a prize wheel for the weekend?
We're working on it. We're working on a prize
I can't
wheel.
get one that quickly.
I
They're
think my wife
expensive.
ordered one. Actually, a real one, not the one that we used a couple years ago that you guys were giving me a crap about.
Did you get it?
I think she did. Yeah,
Did
it
she?
looks pretty nice. Yeah.
Well, Seth has one too, right?
You got one
Yeah.
first.
Yeah.
Karate.
We
can-
It says-
we can borrow his.
Seth's
But he
is
cheaped out.
I think
Oh, did he?
Seth's is kind of small.
Yeah.
I didn't see it.
I saw
He's a
Seth's-
cheapo.
Yeah, he is a
That's
cheapo.
true.
And
Was
his,
it like
I think-
smaller than a pizza kind of
Oh
shape?
no, it's like a personal pan. He bought it
Oh,
off
no.
Alibaba. It's got like a tiny easel you set it on. It looks like a
Oh, because he's
kid's-
not spending money on himself.
Well,
so
it looks
he
like
has
a
to
kid's science
cheap out on it,
project, and
right?
trust me, he's got to shave as many pennies as he can.
Yeah.
On that place.
We want to be the Mr. Beast of podcasts.
We do.
All the
Ooh,
ways.
biggest. I want a prize wheel so big it takes 3 of you and your friends to spin it. That's my Mr. Beast impression. Even though he's not British, just everything when he says things, he smiles a lot, and it's irritating.
What do you want to start with today?
You know, let's start off with the news story that just broke a couple minutes ago. Aaron Rodgers just signed. We'll start with Jock. Aaron Rodgers signed for 4 years, $200 million, so $50 million a year
To stay.
to stay
To
in Green
stay.
Bay.
Yeah.
And
I
they
like the
just-
story. I
all-
like that he whined and complained.
All this BS.
nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, guess what? $50
worked.
million.
It worked. It worked.
And Adams is definitely going to get the franchise tag because of that for
Yeah,
sure.
everybody's like he was waiting until Aaron Rodgers signed, and then
Oh, the deadline was 4 o'clock today.
Oh, okay, that
That's
makes
why.
sense.
Yeah.
So, in all of what I've heard from all these different people smarter than me and knows more than I do about the NFL, everybody was saying this was basically his only option if he wanted to actually compete for a Super Bowl because of the situation in Green Bay was better than any other situation he can go to.
Because the other choices were like Denver or the 49ers, and those guys are still a couple years off if they really want to do it. So
Yeah, and plus he's familiar with the team, and there's just so many different reasons why staying in Green Bay would be the best for him business-wise.
And I like
people
that there's
just didn't
so
know.
much bad blood and weirdness there, and I like that he signed. I think that's cool.
Yeah,
They'll work through it.
They brought in like a is a QB coach that he really liked.
I think so. And I think they gave him a little bit more like ideas with the GM. Like he has a little bit more sway against the GM's decisions now.
Yeah.
So in other words, like I think they're going to draft a receiver this year for sure.
It goes to show you that leverage means everything in any business.
Oh, yeah.
And the fact that he won the MVP again back to back,
yeah.
they had to throw everything they could possibly throw at him, and
Because it looks bad if you don't. Like
Yeah.
you're going to let the MVP get away.
yeah, and now you look at his age, and
He's
you're like,
38.
can he play as long as Tom Brady did?
In this
You
league,
shake your head, yes, but
in this league, yes, because the quarterbacks are so protected.
And
Yeah.
he's more mobile just naturally. So, yeah, I think he can.
I mean, the evidence to me seems that he can, but what Tom Brady did has never been done before by any human. So it's kind of like, can another human do it in another 4 years and play at that level? We'll see. But I guess. And do you know if like Aaron Rodgers had the same crazy regimens like that Tom Brady
No,
has?
I don't think he's as disciplined.
He doesn't
as Tom,
look like
for
he
sure.
does.
Well,
doesn't.
then
Just
that's
based on his hair.
Yeah, he's growing it out, getting shaggy.
to
He
me.
did that for a Halloween costume.
He's
though.
in that awkward stage.
I don't know his training regimens, and I know that he's like he does crazy fasts and stuff, so he's into his health and body. But
Yeah.
I don't know if he's into it as much as Tom Brady. And is that what you need to do to last till you're 42?
Well, everybody's
43?
different. I
Yeah.
mean, I'm sure
Well,
there's
'cause-
some Italian guy that could play quarterback and
Yeah.
smoke the entire.
Yeah, there's that story about Russell Wilson spending $1 million a year on his body just for that reason.
Yeah.
So
Most-
maybe.
QBs spend a lot of money on their body and trainers and extra stuff to help them. But yeah, this
And he's not a troublemaker. He doesn't cause any problems, and he certainly shouldn't be punished for anything he's ever done. And he's the greatest, and we should give him the most amount of money, and we should pretend like the last season and all of his kicking up dust didn't happen, and everything's fine.
No Jeopardy talk.
It's
none
all
of that,
fine, right?
yeah.
Everything's fine.
Well,
We're
he-
all back to normal now.
he got a lot of BS for what he did, but look at what it got him. So you can't argue that much about
Yeah.
how much of a diva
Results,
BS
yeah.
like because
No. I'm just saying.
Yeah. No.
No, the other
he didn't
thing.
make
I know
it
what he's talking
easy
about.
to follow COVID protocols.
Yeah.
You know, within the like it or not like it.
Yeah.
I don't care where you stand on it. It's just like you didn't make it easy for the company to do, and you made everyone look kind of like stupid.
Well, maybe he knows it. I mean, it was BS because now they do nothing.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, and there's not that. So
Right,
what? And
right.
6 months later, now it's nothing. So
Right.
maybe he was
Yeah.
right, and he was like, "This is all BS, a dog and pony show to begin with," and he knew
Doing
it.
the Governor
And-
DeSantis thing, yeah.
Yeah, because now it's like 6 months later, NFL's like, all right, no more nothing. It's like, all right,
Never
well,
happened.
you made a bunch of BS about me not doing it, and now 6 months later,
I
nothing
know.
is still happening. Anyway,
Well, yeah.
so, and it also goes to show you that this is what you have to do in giant corporations to make them pay you, because all they do is want to pay you as little as possible.
Yep.
And
Well, he had to be willing
forced
to
their
walk
hand.
away.
Yeah.
Right? He had to be willing to either go to a different team or not play, and he was. And if you are, you're good.
Yeah.
You just have to make right with that.
So good
That's
for him.
leverage, yeah, for
Even
sure.
though I'm not really happy for him because all the media has made me feel like he's a D-head, so I don't really care.
I don't let the media manipulate
I don't
it.
care. I'm not a Green Bay
You're
fan.
not a Green Bay fan, so
I
it
don't
doesn't
give a
matter to you.
damn.
Yeah,
much,
I'm
yeah.
not a Green Bay fan, so I don't really care. I take him or leave him. I don't know him personally, so I can't speak on who he is, but I will say that I hate his haircut. And based on that and that only,
You don't like the man bun?
I don't like the man bun.
And entertainment-wise, you can make an argument that it would have been more interesting seeing him play for another
Correct.
team, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
He's always played for Green Bay, so
Yeah.
it's, I'm like, all right, we get again. So
Yeah.
who cares?
Yeah, it doesn't matter to me. Like
Yeah,
I
I would like to see him,
enjoyed,
yeah.
even though I know it hates other Falcons fans to hear this. It was fun watching Brady play on the Bucs. Okay, I said it. I've said it a bunch of times. I get a lot of heat for it, but it was a better story watching that.
Yeah,
It was
entertainment-wise,
Yeah,
yeah.
entertainment-wise. Watching Aaron Rodgers go to, like, let's
Denver,
say
anywhere.
Denver would be amazing.
Yeah.
And then him, and then everybody having to react to that. And then what's Green Bay going to do? That would have been more fun for me.
I
But
was
we didn't get
hoping that it would be a fight between Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady going to the 49ers. Like, both of them want to go play for the 49ers, and that become an issue.
Okay,
That would-
now you're just
that would've
writing
been-
comic books. but
Yeah,
that would
that'd be fun to
awesome.
watch.
That would
Yes.
be awesome.
By the way, we talked about this already, but I don't think that's going to happen.
No.
I think
No,
Brady's
Tom
done
Brady's
now.
done, yeah.
But where's Russell Wilson going? Where's Jimmy G going?
Yeah.
Like most likely they're trading him.
Where's Calvin Ridley going?
Oh, that's the next story I had. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely got to talk about Calvin Ridley.
Do we really have to talk about
yes,
Calvin Ridley
yeah,
and how
you have
stupid
to.
my team is?
Well,
No, I understand the whole story because
What is
okay,
the IQ of the entire Atlanta Falcons? I think I'm smarter than the entire team. Maybe not Matt Ryan. He's
Now-
pretty smart.
No, but your front office is good compared to the Dolphins and the Browns.
Okay, that's true.
Yeah.
and it's half and half because I
I feel bad
hear
for
a lot.
Calvin Ridley, though. I thought this was going to be a year.
It's either you're super smart or really,
really
dumb,
dumb.
and there's no in between. Seriously, because I
Can
think-
you be super smart baby man?
Yeah, because you've been coddled your entire life.
That's
and-
what I think it's
Yeah.
baby man.
And a lot of it's not even their fault because all they've been doing and
It's
spending-
pushing FanDuel
Well, no,
on
no.
the league. The league's been saying, "Hey,
Well-
this is our official gambling sponsor," and that's who Calvin Ridley used. And it's like, wait a minute, I'm not allowed to use our own sponsor, and I'm a member of this thing.
It's possible that somebody could be told bits and pieces of what they were doing and then do something like, I don't know, get on the air and say that the Golden Cakesters are peanut butter because they didn't understand the entire promotion and then sacrificed an entire year of football because they didn't fully understand what the hell they were doing.
Well, he was already off for a year. He was already off because since
mental health.
Halloween's.
Who knew that gambling is just code for mental health?
Well, it's
he says he doesn't have a problem. It was only $1,500.
That was my favorite quote. I tried to get that printed on a shirt from Grift and Jess for you, Calvin Ridley. I do not have a gambling problem, and then for you.
Well, $1,500 to him is like gambling $10 for me.
Yeah.
That's true. It's nothing.
But
it's going to cost him $11 million for this year, which is oh my god.
So I read
supposed to be a year.
Yeah, if it was mental health, I would say I had a mental health problem. That's the reason why I gambled. Why am I getting punished?
And how does
for
this affect where he was possibly going to go? Because I had always kind of made peace with the fact that we were probably going to get rid of him.
Yeah.
So I read this story, and there's two things here. Because I wanted to understand it, so I read a lot about it.
I figured you would.
Because it had to do with gambling. So apparently he did gamble $1,500, and he's forthright with it.
For the Falcons. So he did the Pete Rose.
He was betting for the Falcons.
But the problem is he has inside information knowing the team.
No.
But he does know the team, and there's possibilities that he does know insider. It's like insider trading.
So
knowing a little bit more, it puts you at an advantage, so you shouldn't be able to gamble if you have that much of an advantage.
He was betting 4 and 5 and
They were
18
parlays,
parlays, which is some donkey bet. It doesn't even matter. He's putting the Falcons in with 4 other teams in a parlay. He's never gonna. That's a joke bet. That's what. Anybody, that's what that's what Dilly
very Daniel.
That's what every dilly dad bet. So there's no
$20 to win like 7,000. That's worth at least trying.
So okay, two things here. He's not strategically betting on inside information on the Falcons based on what he knows about like player props or things like that. He has inside. He's betting parlays, which is ridiculous. So you can throw all that inside information out. So, second, what's super hypocritical with the NFL is how much they punished him. Because if you look back and you see what Ray Rice got suspended for,
2 games.
Before
I said the same.
It was 6 games total, but
at the beginning it was only 2 games.
Before the video came out, like he punched his wife, not to deal with Dave Chappelle, with full strength in an elevator and got suspended. Like eventually 6 games until the thing.
Yeah.
Also, Myles Garrett took off old Rudolph's helmet and El Kabonged him with his own helmet.
Smashed him with it.
On TV in a game, 6-game suspension. Ridley gambled $1,500 on dodo parlays and gets an entire year.
They were bad bets.
But
that's why he's getting punished.
The other side of this is the business side, and here's the reason why they came down harsh. Because the NFL makes a lot of money off gambling, right? They partnered with FanDuel and DraftKings, and they're planning on getting bigger and bigger. They have a lot of money into fantasy sports and all stuff, and they cannot let someone and there's a huge rule in
protect
everybody's
the shield
contract.
Is what Pat McAfee was basically saying.
Right.
You got to protect the integrity of the league, because if there's any question of the games being rigged,
then it's over.
It's over. You lose your whole thing. Yeah. And Congress gets involved and NFL gets shut down.
Not even that, but there is a problem with the relationship they have with DraftKings and FanDuel, because if the public perception is the players are betting on these games, now here's
it changes everything. Yeah.
So
you better control that fast.
I know a lot about gambling. There is no possible way any NFL player would ever risk throwing any game or getting involved into any basically betting on a game and then
like
having
throwing a game
and having some sort of influence on the result.
Point shaving.
There's no financial reason to do that, because the NFL salary is way more than they could ever bet on one single outcome in a game. I know about gambling. There's no amount of, you couldn't get enough money down to make it worth risking your career, right? In the NFL, it doesn't. You can't get enough money down.
It would prevent you from doing that.
Plus, the only player that could really have a serious effect on a game is a quarterback, maybe a kicker. But even if you got to a kicker and you said, "Hey, miss the game-winning kick, and I'll pay you $1 million." That means it's worth $1 million to the people trying to bet to get $1 million on one game.
Yeah, you got to put so much in.
Then you'd have to risk, and there's a chance that the guy's not going to hit a game-winning kick. That's rare too. So You put all the math into it, it doesn't make any sense
Right.
for any NFL player to ever throw a game or have, now referees, you can make an argument. I mean, it happened in basketball.
Basketball
But the thing
does,
is, basketball is easy to point shave because it's minute points here
one
and
little
there.
foul, ticky-tack foul.
And-
It could be called and not called.
So it's a lot easier to do in basketball. The NFL, you throw that out the window. No players are going
There's too many moving parts for it to affect it.
But they don't want the perception of their players or coaches or any staff betting on games because it affects FanDuel and DraftKings because then their customers
Your integrity looks bad too.
are like,
Yeah.
hey, I don't want to bet
Yeah.
because these
I don't
players
trust
are
you
betting,
guys,
yes.
yeah.
And then it's all a money game. So
Yeah.
they had to suspend him for a year because they had to put make
the
an
big
example
kibosh
out of
on
him.
him. Yeah, for sure.
He's the guy.
And
Yeah.
what a dodo betting. He knows the rules and he knows how serious the NFL takes it. And,
Yep.
How can you not?
And so to risk his $11 million salary on some stupid $1,500 parlay bet, I mean, he's mentally unhealthy to begin with because he took time off saying that he was. So it probably plays into all that.
Now, see, I thought they were going to come back later and go like, and the reason we said that is because he was gambling. That's what I thought. Like,
Yeah.
This is what I thought,
No,
and I
but-
could be terribly wrong on this. I suffer from anxiety, depression, whatever you want to call it. But now that I know that he was gambling, I don't feel like those were. I'd like for them to go back and clarify is what I'm saying. I'd like for them to go back and be like, yes, those are still mental things he was dealing with. Or go back and say, the reason we said that is because we were probing him. You know what I mean?
Oh, I think he took the mental health time himself, and then while he was off, this is when this happened. He made some FanDuel bets.
It was like during a
He's
5-year
bored.
period in November.
Yeah,
they were saying.
some
Being crazy
parlay
gets
bets.
boring. Trust me. I want to
Which
bet all the time.
He used his real name, which is how they got back to them because all of a sudden, like Calvin Ridley, you have to set up accounts and stuff, put your social security
What if he
number.
won? Like, let's say he wins that parlay for $1,500 and it's like $100,000 and he can't afford to pay it. The bookie just says, well, I don't have to pay you because you're breaking the rules in the first place. And that even looks even worse.
And FanDuel and DraftKings.
Yeah, you're not even supposed to be gambling.
Well, they don't gamble on. You basically put in the money and then play
Yeah.
it. So there's no owing anybody.
Yeah,
They don't give you credit. It's not a legal bookie operation,
Right.
Where they're gonna start hunting you down. Plus, he's a multimillionaire, so he can afford the money. But
It's an interesting story for sure. But
Right?
we knew
Yeah.
this was going to happen at some point, right?
Yeah,
just wish
for
it
sure.
had been another
With this
team.
much gambling around football and how it was like totally wrong in the past like 12 years before this.
Coulda used
and
it-
now it's like gradually getting like we're gambling now.
Would have preferred it be the Dolphins or another team.
Nah.
The hypocritical part is the fact of the suspension doesn't on the surface meet or equal the crime, and we all look at it like, dude, you suspended. I mean, Tom
It's a
Brady.
pretty easy fix. All you have to do is when women get punched by players, you just need to up it up. You need to penalize them as much or more, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
That's all you have to do.
DUIs.
I have another story about crimes and how you get away with it if you pay for it.
Right.
On the other side.
I like Plaxico Burress shot himself
Took in a limo.
There's
the guy that killed the lady drunk driving in Las Vegas. That was just tragic.
that is he's in jail and they'll never go play. But I mean, there's been lesser suspensions. I mean, Tom Brady. There's proof that he had knowledge that and told equipment managers to deflate the football a little bit. Now, whether that is a big deal or not, it can be argued. But still, he broke the rules directly. They proved it, and he got 4 game suspension. And that seems a lot worse than betting $1,500 on some parlay when you're not even on the team.
The game right there by deflating the football. So,
Exactly.
yeah.
So you're fixing a game and you're proving it. Now, deflating a football, again, how much does that actually matter? But he did
how much
something.
did he actually matter? I mean, if you made that
a lot,
argument, right?
But Calvin Ridley wasn't even at the game. Like he was
yeah.
at home,
Yeah.
so he didn't have any effect on anything. So it's kind of ridiculous, but I see the NFL has to set an example because they cannot have their
You gotta
players
protect themselves, yeah.
or getting into gambling. And not even really for
Because the sad fact is they can have their players get into minor human altercations and domestic issues and still function. They can't with the betting aspect of what they want to do to their business and with any validity. You're right.
It affects their revenue.
Their
it's
bottom
all
line.
about
It's the
money.
bottom line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all money.
Yeah.
And the NFL is all money.
Yeah.
They do not care about anything.
that's
They
why
don't care about humans. They care about nothing but
Yeah.
money. Just everybody should realize that, and then we move on. We're like, this is a greedy company that doesn't care about anything but money. And that's how it is. And they looked at this like it could affect their relationship with DraftKings and FanDuel in the future, and they can not having it. Goodbye for a year.
What else you
the
got?
next greedy story I have is Major League Baseball and the lockout and how they're planning on doing some of the rule changes. Have you heard about the new rules changes they're thinking about implementing?
All I had heard is that it will be an abbreviated season, and they're not even going to make up the games.
They're still trying to go 162 games is what they're saying.
Oh, I heard them. The last I heard, I was watching a YouTuber, Adam the Woo, our buddy Adam the Woo. He was pretty sad because the rest of his spring he had planned to hit all these famous ballparks.
No, really.
And I was going to try to get him to
Was he
come
gonna do
back.
a spring training thing?
Yeah, he's going to hit them all, like the famous ones, like Fenway.
Oh, yeah, you
and
can do.
Wrigley.
Well, no,
and,
no, it's the ones around here. It's like Palm Bay and Palm Beach. All the
I
ones.
think
There's a Florida league and there's like an Arizona league.
I think he
and you
already
can hit all
does
those
that.
really fast.
Well, he was saying that
spring training.
they were already saying that we're going to have to abbreviate the season and we're going to make a shorter season. It's just going to be a shorter season. But I didn't hear any updates.
Well, they were talking about the rule changes because usually they have to give like a year advance, and they want to do like a 45-day advance. And they're thinking about doing a pitch clock, like a shot clock in basketball, but pitches. And they're also talking about what was the other one? No shifts. You know how they shift the players to all to one side if a guy only hits to the right side of the field or the left side of the field? No, you're not allowed to do that anymore. And then bigger bases is the other thing they were
bigger
planning on
bases,
doing.
like jumbo bases.
Yeah,
like,
bigger
like
jumbo
my dad.
bases.
When my dad would read a book, he'd get a
This
magnifying.
is going to get more boring of a game.
Yeah. Well, they're trying. Like they're all greedy, and that's the reason why the baseball's having a problem.
They
right
just
now,
wanted
too.
to speed it up a little bit.
Yeah, they're speeding it up and then increase scoring by
Yeah.
not letting shifts and making the bases bigger, harder to guard.
You'd be able
and-
to get on the base faster.
Yeah. And so all
shorter
the,
distance between bases
you-
by like a couple inches.
You know what? Like, it seems like baseball, they're so ingrained in tradition and such an old game that they are slow to change rules. And the NFL has actually done speaking about the greediest sports franchise, but they've actually done a good job in changing rules that like from year to year that don't make sense, and they do it fast.
Their new plan is to use the XFL, right,
as a development team,
as a development league. I heard that they were going to start using that to even test rules. So if they decide like, hey, we're not going to penalize you, X amount of yards. We're going to try this for a while, and they can try it out and see how it affects game play.
They're talking about changing the overtime rule again, which I think is good to be able to like automatically give both teams a chance.
Yeah, not just having a coin flip, but making it happen.
Yeah, and they changed it not too long ago to add in the if you kick a field goal, the other team gets a chance. Now
to even it up. Yeah.
Now they're looking at what else they can do, but I like that. I mean, change the rule if it doesn't make sense, and it's like, all right, this didn't work out. This seems like it. The Bills and Chiefs should have had. Equal time. It would have been more entertaining for us. And they're like, all right, we'll change it. And I'm like, good. That's what every
I would like
franchise
longer
would do.
games too, because even in overtime, those are always exciting. If it goes to overtime,
They are pretty fun.
Making a longer overtime would be more exciting.
Yeah, and
even in the playoffs or in the regular season.
So, but baseball and their fans are so. Yeah, like they're such purists too that they push back hard at any rule.
No
change.
metal bats, no.
But the problem is that makes a game antiquated and old, and
if you can't evolve, you're going to have problems.
Yeah. So I don't know what they
like
do.
within your own universe, right? Like you can keep it closed circuit, and what I mean by that, you don't necessarily have to gain any influence from the outside your baseball world, but within that world, you should try to give things that are revolutionary, maybe spice things up, speed things up, or at least listen to your constituency and what they have to say. And if they're saying, a little boring.
Yeah.
Kick
Well,
it up
like
a
putting
little
the
bit.
3-point line in basketball, increasing the points scored. The shot clock made the game a lot faster,
Yeah,
too.
it did.
So, because you could spend all day on one side of the court and not do anything in basketball back in the day.
I remember when I first fully understood basketball as a kid, it was like one of the first times I realized I had an anxiety problem because the shot clock. Man.
Yeah, I
Like,
can
you better
imagine
get
that,
that thing
yeah.
out of your hands, boy.
Oh, you better get 10 seconds across the line. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Interesting.
The problem is all baseball fans are purists, so they're gonna
They'll push back.
I'm not
push back on any changes.
See, I'm your guy then, because I'm a new baseball fan that just recently got into it. I'm not fully in, and and I'm not in it enough to even care about the rules.
Well, I like the pitch clock because it takes forever for the pitchers to do that. Just throw the ball. Come on. I don't have to have your little routine that you're going to do all day.
So you're going to piss off the fans that only watch baseball. Like all the fans that watch baseball are purists, and they want to get new fans. But the problem is, by changing the rules, you're going to piss off the only fans you have.
Yeah.
It's a hard dilemma there.
It is. Yeah, no, that one is interesting. We need to get Adam in here, somebody that like is
Adam
younger
really knows it, yeah.
and really into baseball, because he also follows multiple teams. And he's definitely into it, but he also knows, because he's always talking about forever on his YouTube channel about how, I know you guys hate this, but I got to give you the update. And it's just something that he very much enjoys. But anyway, I'm looking forward to it.
If they change it, but it's likely that they don't change that much because all the fans are going to...
Turning a cruise ship is what they do. Yeah,
exactly.
Okay,
what else you got?
Going to nerd stuff.
Right.
We're talking about how if you have money, you can get away with stuff. Anthony Starr, the Homelander from The Boys.
Yes.
You heard he got in trouble in Spain. He punched a guy twice and then broke a glass on his face and was supposed to get a year sentence.
Wait a minute, I fought this guy in drunken bar fights.
Oh my God. We were just talking about Spain because they're having their first Pokemon Go event. I just got
Seville,
the email this morning.
Seville has a safari
One
zone
of our listeners thought it'd be cute to sign up my official and professional email address that I use to talk to John Morgan. They signed me up for Pokemon
Go
emails.
Oh, there you go. Yeah,
but I did. I told Tom, if you ever want to know if Pokemon
you send
Go
me
is
over
still
there, I'd
popular,
be happy.
That was my idea. I said, dude, we can never ask if Pokemon Go is popular again because they're having an event in Spain expecting 100,000 people.
They do have huge events. But like I was saying, he went and he was supposed to get a year in jail. But in Spain, if you pay the restitution within 72 hours, it's only like $5,500 scot-free. So Homeland, and while he was doing this, he said, "Do you know who I am?" When he punched the guy.
I like that.
This guy's ballsy.
So he thinks he's Homelander basically in real life.
So
or he just has an alcohol problem.
Oh yeah, he was really drunk.
Wow.
They said, he was really inebriated.
So the $5,500, does that go to the victim
Yeah,
or
it basically
the government?
pays for his hospital bill because of broken glass on his face. You have to go to the hospital for, so that's why I had to pay off the hospital bills. For that.
It's got to be kind of embarrassing.
Which is
to
not
be
that
the
bad.
Payoff guy,
No,
right?
hell no. $5,500, like you're almost above the law. You
Yeah,
can do
here's
whatever you want.
$6,000. Here's a tip of $500 on top
He
of
also
it.
got a suspended 12-month sentence, so he's going to spend some time.
No. Because he paid that within the 72 hours, he doesn't have to spend that
They
year in jail.
suspended his sentence.
They basically
so-
commuted his sentence because he spent the money on it.
I'm seeing he's got to do both, but I'll check my other sources.
It seems that's what I kind of read because it says like he's not going to spend any time in jail.
That's
for
crazy.
It says he
Yeah.
was given a 12-month suspended sentence and ordered to pay restitution of $5,464 within 72 hours.
As long as
yeah,
he
so
doesn't
that
do
means
it, and
they
he doesn't
suspended
break
it?
Yeah.
Oh, then
and then he doesn't break the
gotcha.
law in 2 years. That's the other thing. That's the other stipulation that he has.
Yeah, and he sentenced under 2 years. Yeah,
Or he's
Yeah,
getting the hell out of Spain.
Yeah, I would never come to
Yeah.
Spain for the next 2 years.
Oh, but he was planning to go to the Pokemon Go thing.
Yeah, go to Seville.
You know, this reminds me of that something
shiny Mantine.
that I really like.
Was this when you paid off the Mexican federales because you and your friends went to see the Donkey Show?
No, yeah, I like that. I like bribery
Was
in
that the
general.
grenade?
Yeah.
You were the original Homelander.
I did the same thing after we won this the Rose Bowl. We went to Tijuana and looked for a donkey show.
Everybody,
It's what you do.
every white
Yeah,
does.
Zorro Rojo.
Everybody
It's
thinks it's
the Red Fox.
Disneyland when you win something big. It's not. It's Donkey Show.
And then I ended up buying like a sword, like from Mexico.
So
Coolest thing you've ever done.
I don't know if this is still a
Tijuana
thing
brought it across the border
because
that was a little scary.
The internet has opened up so much more information and the exchange of information. But I remember back in the day, a lot of my friends had warrants out for their arrest in different states.
Holy crap!
Damn.
but they were for stupid things like they get a park or a speeding ticket, like driving through Mississippi,
And just
they-
let it
Oh, and then you
Never
don't go back
come,
to the
yeah.
and
court.
they just
Yeah.
they never paid it,
Yeah.
and then
Failure to appear.
Yep.
eventually
That's where the
failure,
warrant
and then
comes.
the warrant, and so it was all dumb stuff, but it was failure to appear warrants, and then they just say like can never go back to Mississippi.
Yeah.
And like my buddy had
Then it's
a
a
warrant
tunnel scenario
in New
It's
Jersey.
seaweed sandwich.
And I miss it. And I was like, can't go back. Or if you do go back, you can't get pulled over because there's a warrant out. And I liked having different states where you can't go back because there's a warrant out here. I don't know.
Is
I
there
don't know
any
if I
place in
like it.
town that you're not allowed back?
No, not in this town.
Yeah.
Like you're banned from?
Yeah, or you
No.
guys banned from
No.
I remember you used to have the story from
I,
Wet n Wild.
I was
right?
banned from Wet n
Yeah.
Wild. That's the only one I had. That was an accident.
Is Wet n Wild still open?
No,
it's
they tore that
gone.
down a long
Yeah,
time
it
So
was
ago.
gone.
awesome.
Like them and Skull Kingdom both gone at the same time.
Yeah, there's no. Although I probably have some. I remember I got a ticket with Bushy driving to the Super Bowl. And,
you got a warrant somewhere.
Yeah, I never paid it. I never paid it, so I'm sure
How
there's
do
a
we
warrant out
find
somewhere.
that? Can we find that?
I guess we can
What
go
state
to
was
What
it?
state was it?
Well, we went through
Because you got to go through Alabama and Louisiana and Mississippi, a little bit of Mississippi.
Yeah. All those. So it could be in one of those. Either that.
Because they usually get you on the bridge on Lake Pontchartrain because there's nowhere to go.
Yeah. I mean, there's like they target basically
Out-of-staters.
and tax the hell out of them
100%.
with
Oh,
tickets.
George is known for that, for sure.
Yeah. All right, what else we got?
Oh, well, speaking of, did you guys watch The Boys Diabolical? The on my break on Thursday it came out. It's a bunch of cartoons, and each person's a different. Aquafina has the weirdest one.
No, I haven't seen any of it.
There's one. It's like a Looney Tunes episode, and there's one that's like a Rick and Morty
Are
episode.
these promotional?
They're all like short cartoons, maybe 20 minutes long, and it's about the boys. Like one's about a little kid that has laser eyes, and then there's
Are they adult cartoons?
Yes.
Okay.
Don't watch it with your kids for
Okay.
sure. Yeah, because
Is this on HBO?
It's on Amazon Prime because it's The Boys.
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah.
Aquafina has the weirdest one. I'll just give you.
And these are promotional videos for the boys.
The Boys, yeah.
Okay.
It's like little bits of the universe. Like the Rick and Morty one is about all the rejected superheroes. They got horrible powers and they want to find their parents and kill them because they're mad their parents did this to them.
Okay.
So they're just like short
They're
cartoons.
short cartoons, probably 20, 25 minutes long.
Just added content.
And it's added content.
Okay.
Yeah, like there's Homelander in one, and there's one with the Deep in it. But Aquafina's one has an issue. It's basically all about poop. Like, I question Aquafina's sanity because the way the story's about.
Was it a parking violation?
No, it was just
Okay.
we got pulled over for
Why, you
speeding.
find
Samantha's fighting all his
There's
illegal
a
activity.
Thomas Van that has a parking violation in Georgia.
Oh well, that could be me because we
Depends on where it was.
Yeah,
we spent
yeah,
a lot
yeah.
of time at Ludacris's old.
well, I was up there for Tuttle's wedding, and then I was
This was
up.
2009.
Yeah, that would have been it.
Oh man,
No, yeah, that's me.
Ew.
That's
Uh-oh.
you.
Yeah.
You might
Don't
wanna
go to
pay
Georgia.
that. Yeah.
Thomas
Ah,
Chisholm.
parking violation.
Yeah, that's a parking violation on St. Simon's Island. What are they gonna do?
Speaking of parking, I had about I would say a dozen parking violations underneath
Jesus.
I-4 when I
Was that the homeless guy that would tell you how to use the machine?
That's
And then he
different.
pooped down a column.
when I used to do the damn Mako's gig every Saturday night for 17 months in a row.
Oh my god!
Every Wednesday, I did it for like 2 years at Big
you
Belly.
can park on Orange Avenue for free.
Then on Saturday night.
Yes.
You gotta drive
gotta
around a
get
bit.
there.
Yeah.
You gotta get there
I'm
early,
late,
though.
EJ.
I know, you're never on time. I'm sorry.
I'm late. I gotta
used to
go.
it.
I gotta get to the.
Yeah.
They gotta do my intro.
He can't be. He can't
with
be
the
like
napkins.
This is pre-Uber.
He's
yeah.
got to be there at a certain
CO2
time to
canisters
usher in the
everywhere.
fun.
So
This is, by the way, this is what sucked all the fun out of you because at this time you had to go in there and pretend to be having fun,
Oh,
and
how
you
many
could only
times did
do
you
that
go on
for so many
swing?
times.
not that swing very much, but I'd backflip off the main bar every single time
Oh
after
my
they
God.
intro me. At the very end, I was like, I'm just getting a step down.
And then the party boys, there'd be the party boys in their kilts up top, and they'd
Yeah.
be throwing the napkins, and then they'd have the CO2 going, and then you'd like descend, you'd do flip, and
No, I
you
just jump off the bar.
Yeah. Oh yeah, then you start handing out shots.
Tom, you were
everywhere.
more fun back in the day.
Here's a
Fake
trick. When you just keep a spare parking ticket that you just got, and
Oh, the
then
little
before,
green
the green envelope thing.
yeah.
Before you leave your car, just put it underneath your windshield wiper as if you already had a ticket, and then
That'll buy you about an hour.
they'll think like, oh, I already got
They'll
this.
change the hours too,
Yeah.
or the colors of the paper.
They'll give you an hour, and then they put a boot on it.
Eventually, they just put 2 tickets, and I got that. And I know I never paid them. They send those to collections. And,
Oh yeah, they do. Yeah, you got to pay them right across from the fire station.
Yeah, never paid them.
So you would say that we should check out these small.
They're interesting. If you like the boys, watch the cartoons.
I haven't watched
And
one episode of the boys.
Yeah,
so.
there's a bunch of them. There's like an anime one. There's different people doing it. Like Seth Rogen was doing one. They're interesting to watch, but they're really messed up. Don't watch them with kids.
Okay.
Yeah.
What else we got?
The next story I have. Oh, we got to talk about Muppet Mayhem. I love the Muppets. I'm still.
Me
Sam
too.
loves the
I still
Muppets
love it.
too.
Have you heard about the Muppet Mayhem, which is Electric Mayhem was the band with
Dr. Teeth and the Electric Mayhem, yeah.
They're having a new show on Disney Plus that they're going to do, and it's basically them going into the recording studio and trying to finally produce a platinum album. That's
Okay.
basically the story on Disney Plus.
All right, I bet you that'd be kind of funny,
Yeah.
and they're going to get some music guest stars.
And the only live person that's supposed to be on it is called Lily Singh. She's a YouTuber that was known by Superwoman. I've never even heard of her before that. If
We're
you've
at
ever
a
heard
point
of her,
where
yeah.
I have to stop watching all television because it's
Regular-
all influencers.
a YouTube star
and I don't know who
influencers, yeah.
anybody is.
Yeah, I don't know who she was. I had to look it up, and I was like, "That's what she's known by."
They don't wanna get
She's
like
going to
a-
be the producer for the album on the show.
They
She's
don't
the
want
only-
like a rock band or something. Like they don't want like Dave Grohl, or we're over Dave Grohl,
They'll
right?
probably have like
old man-ass.
cameos that they're not telling us about.
Or they'll have like a guest writer on the show. or
Yeah.
whatever.
Well, like
Yeah.
old what's his name's an influencer, and he did the Cove. Remember the whole thing? You like him inside his house. He filmed his whole special inside of his house.
Bo Burnham?
Oh,
Yeah,
Bo Burnham, yeah.
Bo Burnham. Put him on there because kids love Bo Burnham.
Yeah, you can bring Mr. Sacco.
Yeah, he can sing some dumb song about like
You
ordering
know Mr. Sacco,
Uber Eats.
like as in like Mankind from WWE, really?
Not the same Sacco.
Oh man,
Oh my God,
they're stealing.
it
stuff.
bothers me that the name's the same. But anyway,
Yeah,
what
right?
else you got?
Okay.
Hold on, back to puppets for 1 second.
Don't you hate on the Muppets? We'll fight for this. for
Tom
sure.
hates puppets.
Yeah,
I
what
do hate
happened to
my
He
your
doesn't
puppet?
even know where his puppet is.
Yeah,
It's on the floor in the playroom, in the kids' playroom. The kids are stomping on. I don't like the stick that controls the hands. That's
yeah.
it.
You don't like the-
you don't like the being able to.
I'm like, there's
the
the stick. I
marionette
see
it?
the stick.
What you got?
I think I like. It's
see
a
the
problem
stick.
for me.
Well, you know they're not real.
What would you
right?
prefer?
We have to move them with our hands.
Do you
What
want
would
a
you prefer to
marionette? Do you want a
use?
little wire hanging above it?
I don't see the hand inside the mouth. I see the stick. I can't.
So you're
get
saying
it.
don't even bother with the hands. Just
Yeah.
or figure out a different way to move the hands rather than the stupid stick.
Do
I
you
just
like
don't like.
Sweetums, the guy that's just dressed as a big monster?
I don't like his name.
Does they
I
have
love
stick?
Sweetums.
This is awesome.
I like
No, it's
Sweetums.
a human in a
That's
costume.
fun. I like that.
That's not quite a puppet.
I like his costume. I
Anything
just
but
don't
the
like
stick.
his name.
Yeah.
You don't like Sweetums when he pops out at MGM?
I don't understand what he is or why he's there or why
Throws
his
the
name
bucket.
is Sweetums.
Yeah, like full
don't
costumes
know.
don't bother me because the whole it's like just the stick.
Just the stick?
I'm like, I see
So,
it.
do you like corn dogs?
Well, I'm
No, he's talking
stupid
about
idiot.
stick for his
Get the hell out of here.
your bit has been canceled. I told you to never talk about
That's
corn
what.
dogs.
That's
I don't
what did
like
it.
this-
A corn dog.
Corn dog ruined it.
I don't
Oh.
like the stick controlling the hand because I'm like, I see the stick.
Yeah,
Anyway,
it's hard
that's
for
it.
you to. If I got my, I know I won't get my puppet.
Okay, the last story I have for Nerd is we're going to talk about the DC League of Super Pets. Have you seen that Keanu Reeves is actually going to be Batman? Yeah, the voice.
The DC League of Super Pets.
Yeah, this is the Kevin Hart, Dwayne the Rock Johnson vehicle that's animated.
Is
And
it
it's
going to be
basically-
serious or
No,
funny?
kind of funny because like it's Crypto, the Super Dog, Ace, the Bat Dog, and then you got like a pork belly pig that's Wonder Woman's pet. And then
Why does she got a? Why she got a silly one?
I don't know. And then there's like Merlin, the fast turtle, or Merlon, I guess his name is.
Merlon.
Yeah,
That's a Disney movie.
So Keanu Reeves is going
it's
to be
going
the
to be
voice.
Batman, the voice of Batman. So it's like all these pets are going to be like a team of superheroes.
Keanu Reeves, Dave
Yeah.
Grohl, too much of both of them.
Yeah,
Right now.
And John Krasinski is going to be the voice of Superman. So
Oh
it's like,
God,
yeah,
I can't watch this.
yeah.
Is this like is lucrative for him or is it just some
It's
project
animated.
that he wants to do?
Usually DC's pretty good with their animated stuff. Like their animated like network of movies they had, DC's usually pretty good. It's better than Marvel, I would say.
All of the DC Batman cartoons were great. The Superman cartoons were really good. Yeah, you're right. They've always
even
excelled.
the animated movies they came
Yeah.
out with like Doom and all that stuff.
And now it's not beneath an A-list actor to do.
No, this is huge.
voices.
Like look at the list. It's Kevin Hart,
Yeah,
Dwayne
yeah,
the Rock
yeah.
Johnson. Who else is it supposed to be? Kate McKinnon's is supposed to be Wonder Woman. There's lots of people in it.
I want to.
I would argue
I
the
don't want a funny Wonder Woman.
Keanu Reeves considered a bigger actor than The Rock, right? Or no? Like The Rock
I
is
think they're
worth
even
more.
now. I think they're even playing field now.
Oh, Mark Maron's Lex Luthor.
Oh, that was the one thing I
Mark
I,
Maron.
yeah,
Okay,
he's
so
gonna be
this
Lex
is
Luthor.
all
I almost-
comedy.
I
This
had
is
to-
Natasha Lyonne.
Yeah,
it's
this is
very-
all
Yeah.
comedy. But I'll give it a shot.
Yeah, it's going to come out, and it's Kevin Hart and The Rock. They've always done good jobs together.
They-
like, Jumanji's good with those two.
That is true. They
Yeah.
are good vehicles for sure.
But not considered like what I'm saying is like
You
a
can take your kids to
serious
this for sure.
actor beyond money.
Serious
and stuff.
actor Keanu, yeah.
Like Keanu is the serious, like The Rock, and even Kevin Hart is kind of goofy actors,
Silly. Yeah, comedy.
Comedic actor, yeah.
Like so.
Yeah, but
That's
The Rock
all I'm
can do
saying.
serious stuff. He did like Rampage and Doom. He's done
He
serious
also
roles
was
in
like the
past.
Tooth Fairy.
I think he would
Yeah.
like to think that he can do a serious role. And maybe as he ages, we'll get an older Rock playing, a live action Moana's father or something.
He's too cartoony though, like to ever be that.
He loves
serious,
his
right?
fitness. He
Yeah.
loves
Like,
his fitness.
He's too muscly, cartoony. He's too like much of a
Drink your Zoe and let's go. I follow.
I love
him.
his cheat days.
It's almost
Those
a
are always fun to
parody of
watch.
himself at this point. The
Well,
Rock.
he's
right?
huge.
Yeah.
He's
a big
ginormous.
guy, yeah.
Yeah, he's going for the action thing.
Yeah. And that's based, and, it's fine. And Keanu Reeves has done like huge
Well,
action
John Wick,
movies.
yeah.
And
But-
Bill and Ted. So, I mean, you
Yeah.
could make arguments that both have done their fair share of silly stuff. I mean, Point Break was no masterpiece.
They have good range.
That's true.
Both of them do, I think.
Point Break really, and also
I enjoyed Point Break as a kid. I
I
love
like
that
Anthony
movie.
Kiedis in Point Break.
but he
And Flea. Flea's in there
Yep,
too.
he is, yeah.
he is
They're
really
the mean surfers.
corny bad in Point Break.
Pretty bad
You know,
acting.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
like
He played a Ohio State quarterback in 2 movies. That and The
Johnny
Replacements.
Utah.
Johnny Utah, yep.
I forgot about The Replacements.
The Replacements is actually a pretty good movie.
There hasn't been a
John Favreau's in it.
besides from like on Any Given Sunday. Was that a movie? Or,
Yeah. Any Given Sunday with Al Pacino.
That was the
That
last.
was Al Pacino.
Yeah, and LL
The
Cool
program.
J and Jamie Foxx.
Has there been any other like football movie?
Rudy.
Yeah, lately there's We Are Legends.
Yeah.
That's more of a
Remember the Titans.
Remember the
Well,
Titans.
It's old as
Varsity
hell, though.
Blues.
The program.
The program.
Well, we're
was
talking about
based off
90s
Florida
now.
State, yeah.
What I'm saying is there been anything
Not recently, no.
There
past
has been
2000.
recently.
There's a movie called American Underdog, the Kurt
Oh, the
Warner
Kurt Warner
story that came
where,
out last year.
Where Anna Paquin plays his wife, and she has that really
Does she have
bad
the flat top haircut?
Yes, she does.
She has that gray flat top. My
It's
dad
really
and I
bad.
both were digging that.
I feel like
I dig the gray flat top.
that's going to be a lot of propaganda.
Concussion came out in 2015.
Oh, yeah, with Will Smith.
Yeah.
Well, that was when they're like, the
NFL's
NFL's
like,
done.
yep.
Nope.
We're going to suspend the guy for gambling. No.
But that other movie, what?
Game Plan with The Rock was in 2007.
Oh,
Yeah.
he's such a good actor. Oh, my God. Better than Keanu Reeves.
The Gridiron Gang. He was also, he did a lot of like football movies.
Well, he's a football player,
yeah,
right?
well, he used to play for Miami.
National
yeah.
Champions came out last year.
What was that
I
about?
don't
Like
remember
some college
that.
football?
Yeah.
I'm assuming so. Let's
Yeah.
see.
Gone are the days of new. Like
Yeah, College National Championship.
I have no idea what new releases or where you even go to find that.
Oh, Grandpa.
No, but where do you guys go to find
Fandango. You can go on there.
I gave up a long time ago.
Fandango?
Yeah.
2008 called.
Hey, I
Walter
still use Fandango.
Fandango.
I'm going to see Batman this weekend.
Well, you got to get on movie
You
phone.
got to pay attention to Chris Crespo on Cinema Crespediso.
Yeah.
No.
I just
Or
type
Eric
in-
Pabone's movie podcast.
I just type in new movies and it usually comes up,
Yeah.
like new releases, and I go, "Is that right? I don't know."
But the problem is, it comes
Your
out with all the
algorithm's
new
different.
movies, even low budget one. Like I can't tell what. Like I want the new blockbuster movies.
Oh,
that
so
are out.
you want somebody
Like,
to give a little bit of, like, curate it a little bit
yeah,
for you.
like if they're showing some new movie that came out or that's coming out tomorrow, whatever, that has a $200,000 budget
The
or whatever.
Batman.
They do. Oh,
Yeah.
well,
Just what you do
big-
is go to the box office and just see who's number one at the box office every week, and then you can
go
tell
to
who's
the
new
box
one.
office. What the
like,
hell
oh,
are you
no,
talking
Type
about?
in Google box office. There you go.
Yeah. Just say
Do I
box
want you to
office.
hold your hand the whole time?
yeah,
Yes.
there used to be a website. You could go to Box Office Mojo.
I feel bad for using
Remember that
that,
website?
Yeah.
You can go to
Yeah.
Box Office Mojo and it'll
Or
show you.
IMDb, either one.
And-
It's on the main page.
And then all the new
All the
movies
movies that are coming out,
all right.
yeah.
Just say
I don't-
IMDb then.
Is that breaking news or is that somebody in the chat room screwing around?
What?
Somebody.
Russell Wilson?
Yeah.
The Denver Broncos?
Oh, did they just sign? That always happens.
He's
when I do my
saying-
shit.
he's saying-
Today was the day that moves are
Yeah,
supposed to
all the
happen.
moves are
yeah.
supposed
Yeah,
today,
Frashino's
yeah.
saying breaking news.
4
Russell
o'clock
Wilson
today.
to Denver Broncos.
All right.
Good
Yeah.
for him. Except for he's
That'll
gonna
be
struggle
interesting.
there.
Okay, I like a little shakeup. I will have to call my buddy Dan Thompson, you know Dan, and give him a hug.
So who's going to start for Denver?
He is
for
a
Seattle now?
Seattleman.
Maybe Jimmy G goes there. Who knows? You know, there's
That's
some
a
there's
real
some
shakeup.
there's some
Ooh.
other quarterbacks floating
Or
around.
the Packers send love to him. That would be probably the best thing because they're not going to use him for another 4
I
years.
like what you did there, too.
Yeah.
I'm sending you love.
Well, they still need a backup. And they've been, they drafted him, been training him. He's been with the team.
Yeah,
so
but he was
it's like-
garbage that one game he played this year.
Yeah, so what value does he have for Seattle?
Horrible
Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
so Seattle's
But
like,
Seattle doesn't have
keep 'em.
anybody.
No, they don't.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, we'll see. It'll be
Yeah.
interesting for sure. Hey, good job today.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Plug
it's always
your,
better when I'm here.
Plug your wife's MyCon.
Yeah,
please.
MyCon's March 26th. I know you guys are doing like Pints and Paul's or something like that weekend, but anyone else is coming out, come out to there. It's $5 a person. We have a wheel. We have a wheel that's real, I guess.
We have a wheel. We have a wheel that's real.
You're horrible at promoting.
I am horrible at
God
that.
damn.
What does that even mean? That sounds
We
like
have
we're
a
crazy.
wheel.
We have a wheel. We have a real wheel. Come see our real wheel. $5 a pop.
Nobody will come out for that. In fact, people are mad at you.
I
and
don't.
not
I don't have
welcome.
a panel this year. More likely, I'm just in charge of the Smash Brothers tournament this year.
All right, so there's a Smash Brothers tournament.
Yeah.
There's also
And a real wheel.
Yeah.
Speaking of Eric Pabone, he's going to be out there
Yeah, he's
recording a
gonna be
live podcast.
There's
with his
Pabone,
friends,
yeah.
yeah.
EJ asked us to go there. I was like, we're not doing that.
it's beneath us.
How were you ranked in Mario Golf now? Did you drop some more or did you go
okay,
up?
it resets, right?
Yeah.
So I fell back down in the 9,000s, and I had to work yesterday after Maisie went to bed. I worked my way back up and in the thousands again. I'm
Good.
I'm like 1615. 1,615.
Is there still an open bet that you'll beat any of our listeners?
I can beat anybody,
All right.
especially business baby. That guy running,
coming for you.
running his mouth.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
It is your OG show of the week, show number 444.
Oh,
Tran-
444?
Yeah, 444. It's called Trans Fat Jenny John.
Jenny John?
I don't know what it means,
All right.
but apparently we talked about trans fats. No
Okay.
trans fat. Remember when that was a thing? No trans fats. I don't even know what trans fats are. Saturated fat,
Yeah, I have no idea either.
trans fat, saturated fat. I don't know what any of the fats mean. And I don't know who Jenny John is. Jimmy John's wife.
Were we talking about Jimmy John? For a while,
You
my
probably
wife...
misspoke and said Jenny John.
You
instead
probably
of Jimmy
did.
John.
Oh, yeah, that sounds like me.
We were obsessed with Jimmy John for a while because there was
The
a
hunting
picture
rhinos.
of a big fat naked Jimmy John laying on a shark, and he was tan and nude and had a big curly, lovable, smiling, moppy face and a head of hair. Do you know the picture I'm talking about?
Yeah.
And that was fake news. That was not Jimmy John. It was
No.
just a guy, just a fat tan guy that looks like Jimmy John.
Well, he's rich, obviously, and he was paying to go hunt like endangered species over in Africa or whatever, and people give him a lot of shit for it and to protest. I know my wife, for a while, she refused to eat at Jimmy John's.
See,
because
this
of
is
that.
the picture. I pulled it up for you. So there he is. He's tan and smiley. Like, you can tell he's an outdoorsman just based on his face, his tan. And then there's a picture of a gentleman that does. Man, I got to tell you, that guy, they couldn't have picked a better picture because it looks exactly like him laying nude on a shark.
Well, what does that matter?
Well, everybody was appalled. They were like, you're abusing this dead shark by laying your genitals on top of it. People were appalled at this photo. You don't remember this? And
Yeah.
Jimmy John's had to make a statement. They were like, our founder is not the naked guy in that famous shark photo.
Yeah, but he is the guy posing next to a rhino.
Right.
That
Here
we killed.
are
That is a
these.
Or an
portly
elephant.
gentleman.
Yeah, here are those photos. Like, here's him giving the double thumbs up after he blasted an elephant's face.
You know, it's,
There he is giving the thumbs up after blasting a rhino.
now I know the argument that from the people that do these type of things, they pay a shit ton of money to these preserves, and
Yeah.
they use the money to make the preserve bigger,
Better for
and
the
better
animals
for
that
the
they
other-
really like at the preserve.
Well,
They only shoot the ones they don't like.
they let them hunt like maybe the older animals or whatever.
That's true, yeah.
And all the shit. So like technically,
Diseased animals.
logic wise, you could make the argument he's actually helping the animal population more than he's hurting it, because this is all through a paid service and
a setup.
But how can you be so dumb not to realize the negative backlash from even just do it and don't take a picture of it? right?
But I'm only doing it for the picture, Tom.
Yeah, he's doing it for the picture.
I mean, what am I doing it for? I can't take the dead elephant home.
Which is like business-wise, why risk it?
You got to choose. Either you go all in on making the sandwiches, or you can kill all the elephants you want.
Or just don't take a picture and have evidence that people can share. I guess maybe you don't think that out that further or that far in advance, but he's a multi-million-dollar businessman that has a huge successful food franchise that he is the head, and the goddamn name of it, right, is Jimmy John's.
I think he's Jimmy John.
Yeah. So when you are that big and your company is fucking named after you, you have to at least be cognizant of the PR, the negative PR, that this will...
And this was years ago when this came out. I mean, we're talking about this like it's breaking news. This is like 20 years ago, I feel like, we talked about Jimmy John's.
Yeah, maybe it was earlier on in social media when they were, back when rich guys could do whatever and it didn't matter.
There are infamous people that have, like, hunting has, like, kind of taken them out. Like, there's been Jimmy John. There was that dentist that killed Cecil the lion. There was that one girl who was, like, a cute, like, cheerleader or something that had all these pictures of her like holding a leopard up, and then people started canceling her and she was like a cheerleader or something.
But it is ridiculous in the fact that like these people aren't going out to Africa and then hunting these endangered species in the fucking middle of
you're saying it's up on the up and up.
It
is.
And it actually helps the animals more than hurts them. Now, that one particular animal, it hurts them good. The ultimate hurt.
When you get shot, you're hurt.
But overall, the money that they paid is actually helping the preserves.
Well, that's what they say.
Yeah. Who knows? It's probably rotten with corruption and shit because all that.
That's what I always think. When people give me the argument, and look, I'm not saying your argument's not valid, but I've had plenty of hunting friends of mine. I'm not anti-hunting at all, but I've had friends that say, yeah, you do know that these hunting trips are very expensive, and with that expensive price tag, this money goes back to these particular places to hunt so they can actually care for these animals and feed them and fence them properly.
It's a revenue generator for them.
And okay, that's great, and I hear you say that, but I don't know, it doesn't sound like it would be easy for them to keep the money, control the area that it's in.
Yeah.
I don't know who's getting it.
And their argument is like, hey, I paid them, and they're supposed to help them.
Can I go and see the paper trail online at their website?
Yeah, but that's on the preserve more than it is on the people, the millionaires paying to hunt the animals. Regardless, they have to be cognizant that it's a bad look.
Yeah.
Like, you don't want to picture...
But if we're putting them in order, though, I would say that smiling nude laying on dead shark, not as bad as giving thumbs up dressed as Steve Irwin in front of elephant.
Yeah. Sharks are notoriously hated by a lot of people and feared.
People hate sharks.
And which has harmed the population of sharks tremendously.
Yeah.
And like no one cares about sharks, but they're a pivotal part of our fucking ecosystem. And what happened?
Oh no! I for a split second I stepped into AMT or ACT world, and I had to slap my cheeks back into AMT world, and I was like, no, he's good.
Anyway, old Jimmy John.
Yeah,
he stopped doing that after he's probably like, oh.
I think he just stopped with the photos, but I think he's still blasting them good. I think he took your advice though, and he just decided to stop. But they did solve the mystery. The man in the picture he's
a guy from New York, right?
A New York officer named Sean.
So he's a cop.
Yeah, he was an ex-NYPD cop, and he looks exactly like Jimmy John, but sadly is not Jimmy John.
Well, a lot of fat white dudes
kinda
look like Jimmy
like
John. Red-faced fat white dude.
With the floppy hair is the key. I like the floppy hair. I wish I had floppy hair.
If I gave him 50 pounds back, I'll look like that Jimmy John and had a mustache.
Ooh,
I'll look
you should
exactly
go for
like Jimmy
fat,
John.
floppy-haired Florida hunter.
I'll be there.
You think you'll get fat again?
Oh, yeah.
How fat are you going to get?
Well, if I stop getting that sweet Adderall and...
Give me some of that.
Yeah, I'll take it.
I mean, it's out there.
She didn't want me to say this, but I weigh less than Andrea now. Consistency. It was I was just eking into her territory. Now I'm there.
Well, that's not drinking. That'll lose the weight fast.
It's fast. She doesn't like it, though. And now it hurts when she gets on top of me. I'm like, get off of me. I'm kidding.
How skinny can you get?
It's not true. I don't know. How skinny do you want me? 115 pounds.
Oof.
The 115-pound challenge.
Could you? How?
That's so unhealthy.
I don't think I could. I think that would be really, really bad.
Because you're one. What do you?
I'm
know?
154 right now. 153, 154, right in there.
Get to 140.
Oh, that's gonna be hard.
That's 14 more pounds, and then you'll be skinny as fuck.
I think I'll be I'll be real skinny then.
Yeah. Then get that.
Somebody in the chat room asked, "How tall am I?" 5'2". I'm 5'2". This is funny because on this show number 444, Trans Fat Jenny John, I say tomorrow. Seriously, I'll have plenty of time, and then I put no notes. None. Not a lick. No, there's not one. I have no map to this. Nothing. I have no idea.
That's fine. It just needs to be a surprise.
It's been a while since we've had one of these.
Yeah. So, Sam, tell us about the cruise you're going on.
Going on the Flogging Molly cruise in a couple weeks.
Now, what happened with the band that pulled out that you really wanted to see?
The Distillers. They have not been a band for I don't know, probably over a decade by now.
I think it's 10
one of my
years or
favorite
so.
bands of all time. They got back together, started recording new music, and then they announced they were going to be on this cruise. The only reason I signed up for this cruise was because the Distillers were going to be on it, because it is a very expensive cruise.
Yeah, it is.
Because it's a punk rock festival on a boat, and it's unlimited drinks,
and
too.
it's the first one that ever started, and it's the premium one that everyone knows about.
Yeah. And then,
could you get
a week and a
refund?
half ago, they canceled.
If you wanted to, could you get a refund? Because they promoted a band was going to be on there.
They did, but it's always subject to change.
I hate subject to change.
And I think if it would have happened a couple weeks earlier, it wouldn't have been a big problem. But I think now if I tried to, because it is 2 weeks out, I think it'd be a lot harder to try and get a refund. And I'm just like, fuck it.
But
I'm
you
just going
are
to go on it.
You
and
are
make the
good
best
at
of it,
having
yeah.
fun, though. Like, you're good at making the best of stuff.
Yeah, and it's not like there's not any other bands I'd like to see. It's just like I would not have paid this amount of money to be on a boat to go see these bands.
I feel you.
Like Flogging Molly, I've seen a million times. You know, they're fun.
Yeah.
But it's just I wouldn't have spent this kind of money on it.
Damn it.
I can't wait till you get back because I want to ask you so many questions about
Dude, they're gonna have live skate ramps and shit. Like Steve Caballero's gonna be out there.
No shit.
Okay, now that's just hang around that stuff. You won't even need
hang out with the guys from The Attack. They're gonna be on there. They're on there every year.
Yeah.
Man,
They make
do
all the band's merch. Yeah.
I wonder
if I can get a discount on some merch.
If all the guys
hey, did you make any Distiller shirts before they backed out? Can I get one?
If Charlie and Jamie are going to give all those guys a big old hug.
They have
from us,
themed
man.
nights and shit. It'll be fun.
I'm curious to how much the bands themselves and the band members generally just hang out amongst the ship throughout the time.
From the people that I know that have been on the cruise that Samantha is booked on, obviously it's going to depend on band, but very much so it is very accessible.
I've heard
Very
everyone's just
accessible.
kind of hanging out.
And just on the
There
cruise.
was a whiskey tasting with Flogging Molly that we missed out on.
That's pretty cool.
It's $35.
Yeah, everything.
Well, that's
is
how they are able to pay
individual.
all of the bands that are punk bands, that normally
That's a
don't make
good ass deal, though. $35 for a whiskey tasting.
But if you get a bunch of people doing it,
True.
I mean,
that shit's sold out in an hour.
Quick.
I'm curious, and maybe this is a question for Enemy, and I don't know if they'd even know, but how they determine how much each band gets paid.
Right.
Because
well, bigger name. Also, I guess probably how many sets you're going to play, right?
But it's also, that's subjective because maybe a bigger name band, the smaller band has more of a
core that'll go.
A core, yeah, like more of an engaged.
Like we're a small band that can get a bunch of people on the boat, right? Like we are.
Yeah.
We're
do
like
our own.
We got more than Ryan Cabrera.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I'm fucking movie star.
Yeah, I mean,
or whatever the fucking.
I don't even know what he does, but we's better than
Pop
them.
singer.
Pop singer.
No
You're
one
becoming
remembers.
Baby Billy.
Meow meow.
Do you think you can go full Baby Billy?
I'm doing it. Me and Travis talk to each other like Baby Billy all day. It's fucking nuts.
Who wants to give an old man a
The
blowjob?
blowjob. Yeah, it's the best one.
Oh my God!
But
Cures COVID.
But it's I wonder if they all share what they got paid. Probably not, right?
I think a lot of it has to do.
Or what
with
if one band, what if
merch.
fucking Flogging Molly finds out?
Well, they're the big dog, right?
Yeah, well, it's their cruise.
Right. They're
Yeah.
the guys getting paid.
What's the smallest band on there? In your
me look it
opinion,
up.
There's a lot of little small bands.
Yeah, there's
that
some I've
probably-
never even heard
Probably
of.
did it for a cabin.
Right.
You know, back in
Do
my
the
day,
attack? Does the attack play? Or do
Yeah, they
just,
play.
Yeah, they play.
Okay, they play
and
on
they
there.
print live T-shirts, and they're working, and because they're always instrumental of the thing going off correctly. You know,
There's
like
going to be punk rock karaoke.
yeah, that's another thing is that some of the
Let's
guys in the
see.
attack might have to play in the, or other bands might be playing in the punk rock band that like is the backing band for punk rock karaoke.
Okay, yeah.
You know, there's other jobs that they do on these. It's very DIY from what I'm told, but it's a 6-man thing. And they know what they're doing. They've been doing cruises for decades.
I'm just curious of the business behind this. And like,
Norm
There's
said,
a couple DJs I'm not familiar with. DJ Leech Pit and DJ Fly.
they probably just get free cruises.
Norm says he would go in this order of big bands. Flogging Molly, number 2, Descendants, number 3, Agent Orange. That's I'd probably agree with that. And maybe
Frank Turner.
And maybe even flip the 1
Me
and
First
2.
and the Gimme Gimmes.
Wow.
Authority Zero.
Well, Authority Zero, they live in Paul's back room at the West End.
Yeah,
I mean,
they're
I
at the
love them,
hurricane
but-
party out
Yeah,
here.
they were at the hurricane party.
But like,
Then you got Steve Caballero, Matt Hensley, Christian Hosoi, Eddie Algaria,
That's
Dave
neat.
Duncan.
I'm curious to like, okay, Me First and the Gimme Gimmes, wonder what their deal is. Like, obviously you get the whole cruise, but then how much more? Like, is it
5K?
5K a person? Or the whole band? It's got to be a
I
decent
idea,
amount.
dude.
Okay, I'm gonna. Maybe this is gonna sound
Dude,
like
the 6-man cruises.
I wouldn't go for. I would only go for 5K. $1,000 is not worth my time.
for a whole cruise. Yeah.
It's 5 days, yeah.
Yeah.
It'd have to be 5K.
And
That's
now-
a low,
A thousand a day,
Yeah.
plus room and board.
That's a
and-
low ball.
Yeah. That
That's
makes
low
sense.
ball,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Because a lot of these guys, they could be doing other things, and 5K for 5 days is,
Yeah,
you know,
it's
like,
good.
It's
It's good
worth
money.
it. It's all fun.
Because it's going to be a lot of work, and that's what I know everybody's saying, oh, 5K, what the... No, you don't understand. If you're going to do it and do it right, you need to be accessible. That's the whole point of being on the cruise. You're not going on there to hide in your stateroom. You're going on there to depress the flesh.
But I'm sure some bands do. That's another thing, too.
Yeah,
It's
but
like,
they might not get asked back.
You're right.
You know, I mean...
So that plays into it. It's like, yeah, you can't just sit in your stateroom
Yeah.
and then come out and play
We
the
invited
shows.
AFI, and Davey Havoc doesn't want to be in the sun, and he's been in his room all day, and he only came out for a set, and then he...
Well, they do Q&As and stuff too
Yeah,
with
panels.
the bands.
Yeah. But it's. I mean, we've done these things before, and we're not in anywhere close to as famous as these people. But you have, like, if you're walking around the ship, you're in the buffet line and shit, and then like one of your listeners or like your fans in this case, like, wants to strike up a conversation with you, you can't be a dickhead. You gotta talk. And I want to, and we all want to talk to people, but these people may not. I mean, they're musicians. They may not be.
That's not their
super
love
outgoing.
language. Yeah, you're right.
A lot of these guys are artistic weirdos, right? And they're not outgoing, and they don't want to sit there and have a conversation with some guy from the Midwest that came all the way down here. You know what I'm saying?
Or you
Like-
might say something stupid, you know, like you walk up to Fat Mike and you're like, hey, man, I really like The Decline. I wonder how many times he's heard that. You know what I mean? And the next thing you know, you're standing there, and then I've always been, like, I find Fat Mike very intimidating to the fact that I don't want to talk to him because I don't want him to
Be a dickhead to you.
He's a punk rock dickhead.
because I think I'll have my radar on for, like, even if he's not being a dickhead. You know what I mean? Like, I've already built it up in my mind that I think he's going to be, so it's just better that we not talk.
Yeah. Maybe that's best for him because most people won't go up to him now. That's
Right.
what he wants. Where's the stop? Like Nassau?
Yeah, Nassau, and where's the other place?
It'd be cool if they went someplace really punk. Like, you got in the boat, and then they went right up the road, New York, right there, harbor. You get out, it's disgusting, it's cold. You know, you're walking
right.
around.
Nassau,
in
Bahamas.
Grand Bahama Island.
I
That's
love
the other.
it. I've always been fascinated. This one not as much as the Monsters of Rock cruise, where you get the most, like, pasty white, like, medley bands, and you pile them onto actually just a deck with no sun, and you bake them in the ocean.
This is going to be pale old punk rockers, dude. I'm in all the little Facebook groups, and I'm like, Trav, we might be the youngest people on this fucking
Oh,
group.
really?
Yeah.
Really?
Like, seriously.
Yeah. I mean, because all these
Well, the bands are older too. Like, Flogging Molly's not a young band.
You know what?
Descendants.
Akeem Woods is on a cruise right now.
Oh, he hated it.
He's hating it.
Yeah, he's not a cruise guy.
He hates it.
He said it's all 100-year-old white people.
Is he in town? We got to get him on the show to talk about him.
He's got one more
He's
day.
in Florida, but I don't know.
Well, he's on a boat right now. He's got one more day. I was
Why
watching
is he
him
on a cruise?
Watching him
Got
live
paid for it.
Yeah, he was.
Oh, for comedy?
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
He
He's gonna have a
was-
funny ass stories. From
He
that
was
shit.
live on Instagram this morning, and I was talking to him, and he was like live from the buffet line.
That's how, man. You have to be a good comic. Like the stereotype is like only shitty comics do cruises.
That's
but that's
not true.
You have to be a fucking well polished comic with a clean act, a dirty act, and the ability to go in between and to keep it like they don't fuck around.
Yeah,
like
he
it's a
said it was
giant,
hard.
a giant corporation paying you. They're not booking whoever they can get. So the fact that he even got that gig proves that he's a fucking talented comedian.
Oh yeah, he's super funny, and he's aligned himself with the right people, and he's doing all the things that everybody told him to do. Right, like he's taking all the direction. I just think maybe Cruz, you have to try it again in a few more years. You're not there yet. You're maybe you're too young and too good right now. Maybe you need to, just like you know what I mean. Like when you're coming in for a landing, maybe you want to get on the cruise ship.
Although he's gonna have a bunch of funny stories from this.
Yeah, he
that
said he
used.
burned one joke in his actual Facebook reply. Like he was like, I went there. There was a couple. I asked them how old they were. They said they were like in their like late 80s. He said, "This is absolutely your last cruise you'll ever go on." I'm like, that's funny. He's fucking with them. He said 30 people showed up. Wasn't a big turnout. He hated the fact that nobody shows up because they get to choose.
Yeah, it's a free show.
Right,
so
right.
you're just like, I'll go, I'll go eat hot dogs.
Yeah, exactly. Hot dogs are comedy.
Yeah. But good for him for getting that gig. Although he's not gonna enjoy the other cruise part of it because he's not a cruise guy.
No,
You know what I'm
he
saying?
doesn't strike me as a cruiseman.
He's not utilizing all the fun activities that a cruise has to offer. It's not his bag.
No, I mean he's probably on there just looking for hot dudes with big dicks. And, they're not on there.
Are you
They're
even-
not on that
No,
cruise.
not on that one.
Are you gonna bother to get out at the Bahamas?
No.
Okay.
No.
It's funny that people like they don't even fucking they
Andrea
have an
makes
cruise.
me.
They're like,
Andrea
I
makes
mean,
me get
maybe
off.
at the other island, just because I haven't been to the Grand Bahama Island or whatever.
Andrea
But
makes me
yeah,
get off.
exactly. I don't know.
We get
There's
up,
no difference.
We walk
I didn't
so
think so.
far. You stand in line so long. You wait so long that you get off. You walk down a giant piece of concrete in the sun to another piece of concrete. You stand. You look around. You walk all the way back.
with a bunch of poverty shacks selling stuff that they got from China. That is like they pass off as Bahamian hand carved trinkets. That it says China on the bottom.
It does.
And you do that up until there's some alcohol for sale and some people soliciting you to come on their tour.
Drugs,
The
jewelry,
shit-
some watches,
and that's it.
a couple of banks.
Like the
electronic stores that sell cameras that are like, I'm like, where did you get this? Like, how does that even?
Like the pure beauty of the Bahamas is far on the other side of the tourist trap area.
For sure.
Although
that's over where trans fat Jenny John lives.
they, I think the Bahamas dealt with the bad COVID problem for a while. Remember they were on like the list of like do not travel to here.
Oh, I don't know.
It wasn't that long ago.
Oh, great.
But
Well, I'm not getting off the boat.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I'm
Well,
sure
do you have to be vaccinated to be on that?
Yes.
Yeah, I
you have to
wondered.
be vaccinated, and you have to have take a test, I believe, 3 days before, and then at the port they're also testing you.
That might change the lineup too.
Yeah,
You
it
never
very
know.
Well
Like
could,
a lot
yeah.
of those things come down to the wire now.
Yep.
Well, people don't even know. You show up, they're like positive. You can't
Yeah,
come.
you're
You're like, fuck.
Yeah.
I'm flocking Molly Strummer.
I'm Molly.
yeah, but what do you do? That shit happens, and then
Yeah.
I'm sure that'll go away soon. They'll stop even fucking having any protocol, right? Because it's
I
for
mean,
business.
I don't know.
Now that I've
I
seen
don't
the
know what anything-
NFL do it and like other businesses, like Dr. Phillips Center just said, "Hey,
No
no
more
more masks." I'm
masks,
like,
yeah.
Dr. Phillips,
Yeah,
well, faster
that
than
kinda
Hard Rock.
surprised me.
All right, I mean,
It's bad for business because I will tell you when I was at Dr. Phillips for Jim Jeffries.
did you wear a mask the whole time?
Well, you had to.
Gay.
But I took it down.
I just wanted to say that makes no sense.
When I sat in my seat, I did take it off because I was drinking, and so I'm like, "Fuck!" I'm like pulling my mask, and then everybody was doing it. Everyone just took
Yeah.
their mask off and to drink.
Pretty
So
nice, huh?
It was kind of bullshit anyway. You're just like, all right, but like my, Crystal's wearing hers, And then I put mine on for a second. I'm like, this sucks watching a comedy show with a goddamn mask on. And then I took it off again.
We did that at Nikki Glazer.
Yeah. It does.
But then
it
the lady,
hinders experience.
we did it when it was a little more spicy. You know, we were still kind of deciding whether things were going. There were no. There was no take your mask off inside. Like when Sam and I were at Nikki Glazer, we're sitting there, and I kid you not, I think you remember this. We took our masks off, we're kind of looking at each other. This is nice, right? And then a lady behind us has a straight up fucking coughing fit, like she's died, like a hacky, gross one. And do I think that I'm gonna get COVID? Did I instantly think that? No, but I just started laughing. I'm like, what the fuck? Of course. Okay, you know, like the whole thing.
Yeah, well, there's a
dogging.
There's a difference.
Andrea made my booster appointment. I'm trying to get the most. I wish I could know to the day. I wish my doctor would tell me this is the now. Oh, now you could get it now. I'll be like, I'm good. Booster.
Well, it's all over the place. There's no way to know. But there's a difference between wearing a mask so you don't get COVID and wearing a mask because this protocol.
Well, the mask is not so you don't get COVID; it's so you don't spread COVID.
Yeah, or whatever. But it's like when there's like the whole shit, like this is, and then it like fades to the point of like, why am I doing this? And then people get frustrated anyway. So I'm curious to see when you get back how many of the actual band members you hung out with.
Everybody apparently, because when we used to do the Tom and Dan cruises, a lot of people would make their own swag to hand out to people.
Yeah.
You know, so a lot of people in the Facebook groups are like showing all the stuff they're bringing, and I'm like, should I just bring Semantics and Tom and Dan stuff? I don't know.
Well, it does. Are they?
It's
bringing
not like
stuff?
Cruise themed or anything.
Yeah. Are they?
What are they decorating their doors? Like
some of them are bringing like enamel pins. Some of them are bringing bracelets.
Bring some Semantics pins.
Yeah, I got a bunch left over from the event.
You should bring
stickers,
memorabilia from a band that's not playing.
Distillers.
Yes. Oh, how many different pictures with a Distillers? Like a piece of we got to find something like, and then you got to get it with other bands holding it. Like,
I have a picture with Brody that's like with the ticket and everything because it was like the only time I ever got to see them.
But you got to get all the other bands to hold it.
And
Wish you were here. Yeah.
And my mom's like, "Are you gonna bring that with you on the cruise?" And I'm like, "No. What am I, fucking 5?"
What was the reason they pulled out?
We don't know.
Don't know, but speculation is her legal dealings with old Josh Homie.
If you want to like put the nail in the coffin for even liking that guy, like I did, just read what Samantha and I were reading the same article.
Read the court documents.
I read like what he did to her, and I'm like, oh my god, this man is a horrible father. I'm like, yeah, I don't have to like this guy anymore. That's my choice.
Not a good person.
Yeah, he's pretty bad. He's like punching her in front of the kids and like smashing the car window and stuff. I'm like, yeah, with the kids in the car. I'm like, yeah, I don't need to see that.
No, man.
I don't need to
his
support
own kid has a restraining order against him.
I don't need to support your band. I don't
like
need
his 15-year-old or whatever.
What are you doing? Look at that. There, you failed.
Not good.
Your kid gets a restraining order against you?
The only reason she's in trouble legally is because she's court ordered to bring her kids to go see him, you know.
And they didn't want to go.
And they didn't want to go.
Right.
And so she was held in contempt because their kids were scared of their dad and they didn't want to go. But legally, you have to take them.
Oh, yeah. That's a whole thing.
Well, I'm glad I get along with my old lady.
Yeah. That's a
God
messy situation.
It is messy.
Oh, buddy.
But they should have done a better job as parents figuring that shit out. Because now you.
Well, what do you do, right? What do you do if your children are like, I don't want to go to dad's house?
Yeah, again, that it's complicated.
And one of your kids already has a restraining order, and you know as his former wife that he is violent. Be hard to drop your kid off with him, right?
Yeah. No, 100%. That's why I'm like, when I say parents, I'm like, I blame him first, and then her. Just the whole situation probably could have been handled better.
And the system. I feel like if there's a restraining order against the person, against their child, like from their child, like maybe you just have like
how does that work? You have a restraining order. If I was a kid, I'd be like, I have a restraining order.
Well, just the one though, and they got like 4.
Yeah, they have multiple kids.
The younger ones don't have a restraining order against them, but it's like, well, then at least like can the court order like have a mediator so it's not like. I don't know.
Dude, that would hurt my feet. I'm too sensitive for that. Even if I were the type of monster that could get to a point where my kid would have a restraining order against me.
You don't want anybody else watching you with your kid?
Can you imagine like how...
It's weird.
I mean, like when Maisie doesn't say hi to me, I want to cry. I can't wrap my brain around having I'm just not that guy, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just not.
It happens slowly. And then one day you get the paperwork and you're like, fuck, a restraining order. Oh, man.
From my kid and my wife.
I know, I mean, I'm sure it's not a surprise for him. It's just like over time, you're just like, this makes sense.
Oh, this is breaking news. Publix will no longer carry Chaoka coconut milk in stores due to the company using monkey slave labor.
What?
Investigators found young monkeys were chained and trained to pick coconuts at multiple farms in Thailand, and then they would, squeeze.
Is that true?
Don't tell your wife. She'll be mad.
They train them to climb the tree and
I
knock
think
the
that's
coconuts
smart.
off.
That's smart.
Seemed like way more opinions than
Why
getting
is
like
that?
a
Why is
long
that
stick.
slave labor? Like, we have had donkeys. We whip donkeys to cut a hole in the ground so we can put seeds.
Yeah.
What's the difference?
Because we look at monkeys more advanced
Yeah,
than
but the
donkeys.
monkeys, I don't think they're beating them to get the coconuts. They're probably, hey, go give me that coconut. I'll give you $5. I'll give you this treat. I'll give you a nudgy.
There's some neck chains involved. That's probably.
I gotta stop reading this story. This is
sad?
absolutely terrible.
Is this sad?
Yeah, it's bad.
Yeah,
it's real bad.
How good is the milk first? I got to try it first before I want to say is it not good. If I'm like, God damn, that's good coconut milk.
Also, I could have told the public, like, hey, you think they treat monkeys in Thailand well? I'm like, no.
What's your guess? My guess is no. I bubbled in no on my Scantron. What did you bubble in? I'm undecided.
I'll make a sizable bet. No. They are whipping them crazy.
Hey, how tall is John Bustecker again? What, like 6'5"? Yeah, how big's his ding dong? It's probably big. Circle big.
All right, enjoy your OG show of the week. We'll see you next time.